What's going on, party people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Today's going to be a King of the Hill showdown. So how that's going to work is we are going to play games up until the 3-hour mark of the stream. And then the person who is, if the king is clearly decided, and is still on the hill after 3 hours, they'll be the winner. Otherwise, if somebody's challenging the king's score right at the 3-hour mark, they can keep trying, keep going until they lose, basically. So that's going to be the jam. What's cooking? All right, let me tell people I am streaming, let the players know, and then we'll be good to go from there. We're streaming King of the Hill today. You'll need total tavern map pack on. All are welcome. All right, so about ready to go. How you guys doing? Hope you're all doing well. Perfect. And let's do a little bit of this. All right, awesome. So we haven't done a King of the Hill stream in freaking ages. Oh, maybe we're gonna get the Dreadlord Professor Pone in here. That'd be pretty terrifying. Nobody would be able to stand up to his might. Factions, by the way, are going to be selected at random, so that's going to be another element that should be quite a bit of fun. All righty, awesome sauce. Hey, X-Pol, thank you so much for resubscribing. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the crew. Welcome back, I should say. You've been here the whole time. And now we just need to wait for some players to show up. Shouldn't take too long. I just made the announcement, and then we will see who's going to be making their stand here. If you guys want to participate, you obviously just need Total War and to have the Total Tavern Tournament map pack turned on, because we are going to be using maps from the map pack. So the first map can be the Altar of the Champion. That'll be a good one. What's cracking? Yes, yes. Welcome to the stream. Miss these old tourney formats. Yeah, it was fun. King of the Hill's fun. It's like a little bit more casual than a tournament, obviously. You know, there's not too many massive stakes or anything, but it makes for a good time. Hey, what's going on, Dragon? Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me make sure that's all good there, and I think we are all set. Perfect. All right, the call to arms has been put out. We will see. People might need to turn on their map packs and whatnot. Worst case scenario, I, of course, can play in the first game if we need to against a challenger. Who's your favorite character in King of the Hill? Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Hang on a sec here. Let me put the lobby code out here and lobby code for first game. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. I like most of the characters. If I had to rank the main characters, let's see. Ooh. That's really, I like Bill a lot. I think Bill and Hank are probably my favorite characters, followed by Dale, and then Boomhauer. I like Boomhauer, but he's a little bit harder to relate to as a character. Not even relate to, but just like, I really like Bill. Like Bill's like whole the whole episode with Bill, like where he like is reliving his like glory days of playing high school football and then like going to Vietnam and just like having a downfall after that. It's like, yeah. You get to watch Sharon while painting minis. What are you painting, Lucy? Got something cool on the table? Hopefully so. Pocket Sand. The Pocket Sand episode is one of the best episodes, hands down. All right, so we have the first challenger. It's going to be Opal Black Bear, and we will find out what their opponent is going to, or who their opponent's going to be in a second. And once that's done, we can go ahead and get the random factions going. So I will be assigning factions to the players every single match. Also, there will be no repeats. So if you guys don't want to see the same faction over and over, I will eliminate them from the pool once they've already been played on the stream. So that's going to kind of encourage more faction diversity and force people who are, very good to play outside of their comfort zone, which I think should be pretty awesome sauce. So yeah, it should be all right. Will you play? I might jump in and play. We'll see. If we don't get any takers here in the first round, because it's, we're just getting started. People are, just getting aware of what's going on. Yeah, I'll jump in and play. I tried to join, but yeah, so you need to have the map pack. Oh, wait. Was there an update to the map pack? Oh, that might have been the case. Let me check real quick. Hold on. Opal Yo-Yo. I think map pack got updated. Sure. Send them in. Yeah, there was an update to the map pack. I know. Do we have the new maps is the question. It was the Imperial. Yeah, I think we're on the wrong version of the map pack. Oh, that would explain it. Yeah, I think we're on old one. Okay, so we need to restart the stream real quick. I'll make sure to get Opal back in here. Let's restart our packs and get you back in. This isn't a tournament. Yeah, we're on an old version because there was a... Okay, that explains it. All right, just give me 1 second. This won't take long. I just got to restart everything real quick. Okay, so we're going to go to the workshop and we're going to do it. We just added a new map. Yeah, there was an update like 2 days ago. Yeah, correct. It's good though. I mean, it's awesome. Shout out to Wacka Wacka for keeping it up to date. It's been good. I know, the big scandals, guys. You heard it here first. The big drama. This is the big drama in the Total War community. All right, so let's get rid of this. It's kind of lagging a little bit, which is funky. I know, big scandals, man. Big scandals. Okay. Yes. And then we will go update it to the newer version. Yeah, we're pretty frequently getting new maps. I need to do another map making contest. I think that'd be really fun. All right, so let's go to the workshop and Total Tavern. There we go, and there it is. And let's get the most up-to-date version. Yeah, that's funny. David, I've been there as well, man. I've scheduled many a stream on the eve of an update or like a down server or something, and yeah, it's a classic play. The power play right there. How's the stream quality look? Obviously, I'm on a holding screen right now, but is it lagging? Is everything good? Experimenting with some bitrate stuff today, so let me know. Oh, dude, praise be to the map makers is an understatement. If we didn't have the domination map making community, oh my god, we'd be in the dregs of hell, man. It'd be rough. We'd still be playing Black Ark and Itza every single game. That would basically be it. When will they add Winds of Magic? I've actually reached out to CA about that. I've said, can we get some better spectator tools for domination mode? And I don't know. It's possible. Never say never. But yeah, we'll see. It's beautiful. Hey, what's going on, Nexo? Welcome. All right, loading back in now. We should have the correct version of the game. And you're doing King of the Hill the one day your family visits. It's okay. The VOD will be here for you later if you need to jam. Don't worry. And of course, the VODs are always up on YouTube after the facts. Oh, there we go. All right, turn King of the Hill. Let's do this. And we're going to invite the Opal Black Bear in here now. All right. Cool. So now we're all set. We're going to switch back here. Let me make sure everything appears. And by the way, here's our little format screen. So we're going to have the current King of the Hill, whoever is the king, on the top side with their score, and then the score to beat. So that's going to be the individual who is the King of the Hill. And then we have the format is random factions. Okay, so we got our 2 players out of the gates here. It is going to be Opal Black Bear versus Hobo Honkers, which is great. All right, so stand by for the faction rolling. So now we're going to do this. I found this random wheel online, so we're going to try it out. I don't know anything about this. Apparently it's an app or something where you can just design this. So all right, so let's jump over here and do this. All right, and we're going to spin. So this is going to be for player 1. So it's going to be Grand Cathay versus the forces of the Vampire Coast. It's kind of fun. All right, let's go ahead and get it. So Opal is going to be Cathay for you, And then we have the Vampire Coast for Hobo. Hobo, I don't know your name on Discord. I know we talked for the tournament we had the other day, but you had a different name. It didn't match. So Hobo, you're going to be playing Vampire Coast if you're listening. It's rigged. Yes, the wheel is rigged. Oh, Opal's like, I've been practicing Grand Cathay. I love it. Okay, so Hobo, if you're listening to the stream, oh, perfect. He's listening. All right. So, yeah, we'll keep them on the Haunted Vale. Map is set. They can do their thing here. So, yeah, every one of these matches today is going to be, it's going to be randomly rolled on the Wheel of Fortune. So, and there's no repeats. So you're not going to see Cathay again today, and you're not going to see Vampire Coast again today. You're in the midst of a report. I must procrastinate. That's what I'm here for, man. I got you. What kind of a report? Work, college, business? What do you got cooking over there? You pray for big crustaceans? Against Cathay, it's a little risky. Cathay does have very good quality shooting. Now, are we going to be seeing the Forbidden Anticity style of Grand Cathay, which looks really brutal to play against? Which, of course, is mass mobility. So Jade Lancers with Crowmen backed up by, like, Crane Gunners. That's a really, really dirty style, man. Oh, my God. He might make an appearance today. I don't know if he's streaming. Is Anticity streaming today? I know he usually streams a little bit earlier, but you could probably remove factions from the wheel. Yeah, I'm going to go do that right now, Rod. That's a great call. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to remove these guys, and then... Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I can actually just straight up remove factions from the wheel. That's pretty easy. Thank you for the shout there, boss. Thank you for that. Greatly appreciate it. Hey, I'm doing good, Justin. Thank you. Thank you for asking. But, yeah, we'll see. So this will take not as long as usual tournaments where we need to get people, you know, going bananas with the pick and ban system. Should be relatively quick. This was one of the formats we used to do back in the day in Warhammer 2 so much. You guys remember that? We used to have, like, Felcon coming in and winning, like, 11 games in a row. Shit was crazy, man. Granted, you know, land battle games, especially when it's a mismatch of skill, can be over so incredibly quick. Like in Warhammer 2 land battle, if you had like a really high level player playing a rush build against like an intermediate or newer player, the game would be over in like 3 minutes. Hey, SoCal Papa, thank you so much for subscribing. Are you in Southern California also? I'm a Southern California enjoyer myself. So howdy to you, neighbor, if that's the case. You just watched Anticity's video on that build last night. He's really good at this game. I mean, he's the #1 player right now, you know. He's currently won the last major tournament. And on top of that, guys, we are going to be having our the end of season. So season 10 of Total Tavern is going to be taking place. Yeah, well, it's going to be ending next Friday at midnight. So the current leaderboards for tournaments and everything are going to be reset. And from there, we're going to have the season 10 grand final shortly after. So that's another chance for Anticity to go back to back. I mean, you know what they say in like MMA and martial arts, getting to the championship is difficult, but defending your belt is even harder, right? So I'm really curious to see if he's going to come in and just crush everybody again. I think he only dropped 1 game in the entire grand finals last time. Pretty freaking nuts, man. Did you ask Grubby about playing Warhammer? I haven't like asked directly. I did ask him if he'd be interested to hit me up, and he said sounds good. So I haven't heard from him, but I may reach out to him again at some point. We'll see. I'm still battling a bit of a cold, so just waiting for myself to feel better before we organize like big events. All right. I love his demeanor on stream too. So. Oh, that's funny, Justin. The hobos have honked for the last time. SoCal saying, used to live in Antelope Valley area, now I live in the Midwest. Right on. Cool. I know the regions. And it looks like the Vampire Coast is ready to go. So we're about ready to fire it off. All right. Perfect. Let me just roll this over here, and we have that there too. Awesome. Tim the Wilder has won a major event, actually, Frederick. He's won 1. So the Total Tavern, if you guys are coming from like other communities, we have 2 events that are considered to be like major events, like professional level, hardcore, you know, sweaty events. And those are the Total Tavern Grand Finals and the Creative Assembly official events, which happen like 3 or 4 times a year. So Tim has won 1 of those. He won a Creative Assembly official, if I'm not mistaken. Anticity, that was actually his first major event win. He's gotten pretty far in a couple of them, but that was his first major event win. Yeah. Dude, I got blessed by Nurgle back-to-back, man. So back in March, I got a really bad cold, and then I was starting to feel better, and then I went to Europe. And then I got another plague from the EU as well. So then I came back with that. So it's just been pure suffering these past couple months. I will do Age of Empires FFAs when I'm feeling fully better, because you have to cast for like 2 hours sometimes in a single game. I don't know if my voice could handle that right now. So this is fine. It's only like 10, 15 minutes, but yeah, man, it was a great tournament. All right, so let's get cooking. And I want to sincerely thank you guys all for joining. It's going to be a fun one. And let's get cooking. All right, here we go. Loading into our first map. Did I see bloats? I looked away from the monitor for like 1 second. Did I miss the mighty bloated corpses? Are they coming to deliver justice? All right, well, we'll find out. Take a look at the map here. The Haunted Vale, I believe, is what it's called. So it's very much like an Itza style map. You have the objectives in a line, right? So this is a big part of the meta in Total War Competitive, is like you need to build based on the map. Because sometimes you'll have one objective in the middle, and then there'll be one defensive and one defensive. So each player has like a safe home objective in this like line like this. But this is what I like to call an Itza style map, where all the objectives are contested in the middle, and it really changes the way that you're going to be playing, right? So taking a look here, guys, at the old forces of the Vampire Coast. This is going to be the Dark Lord Hobo Hunkers, a true terror, to say the least. Hey, Justin Keeler, thank you for becoming a channel member on YouTube. I greatly appreciate that, boss. But he's got a front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, and oh my god, the forbidden bloat. So he does indeed have a bloated corpse. So basically, all the commentary and knowledge I would normally provide you guys in a casted game is going to go out the window, because we want to see what this thick boy is going to be doing. For anybody who doesn't know, he basically runs in and blows up and does a bunch of damage if he's able to connect with like an infantry unit. So, yep, bloated corpse, and the rest of the army here is going to be zombie pirate deckhand mobs backed up by rotting Prometheans. These things are pretty good against Cathay. They have high armor, so archers won't like punish them too badly. Very good against armored infantry, armored cavalry, weak against cannons, and weak against Iron Hill gunners. That's basically what you don't want to be dealing with there. Yeah, so it's going to be a crab rush build. Celastra is incredibly good for rush builds, and the reason why is because she can summon knights in your opponent's back line. So basically, you're going to be summoning the ghosts of the past and using them to dive into your opponent's backfield and cause tons of havoc. And she does have the Tide Call and Vangeist Revenge, which, if it's not dodged, can do some of the most brutal damage in the entire game. On the far side of the map, it is going to be, oh my god, a second forbidden bloated corpse! The Spec Ops. This is, we often joke about the Eshin Maneater being Steven Seagal, but I think this thing is a more accurate representation of Steven Seagal here. So we do have the bloated corpses on the outside as well. All right, so looking at the armies here of Opal Blackbear, he's coming into the very meta build. It's going to be Mass Spearmen, because against Vampire Coast, you don't really need a good quality front line. Just throw trash at them. And the archers are going to be doing the heavy lifting. So we do see just waves and waves of archers. Oh, this is badass, though. Come on. Who doesn't like this? We got Fire Rain rockets in the back. So Grand Cathay going to be wielding 2 Fire Rain rockets, which, of course, are really good at wrecking deckhand mobs, but won't be so good against the crabs. On the backside, we do have the Bandits of the Silver Road. These are the ROR archers that, of course, cause flammable and do fire damage. So pretty good here. I don't hate it. Crowmen up in the sky, and it is also going to be Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, and now the 2 players are going to be descending out on the battlefield. And basically, the Vampire Coast needs to hope and pray that the Iron Dragon isn't able to find the bloated corpses, because he could basically just one-shot them. And bloaties, unfortunately, that would actually be kind of a cool buff if anybody from CA is listening, which I doubt. But you never know. I think that maybe if bloated corpses did good damage against single entities too, that would make them more viable. So the more effective way to counter them would be with ranged. Because now, as it currently stands, the big single entities can just dive in and wreck them. Fire Rain Rocket's going to be unleashing a salvo on the far side of the battlefield. Some scurvy dogs trying to sneak around, you old sneaky git. But they're going to be getting blasted by the rockets of Grand Cathay and immediately lose about 40% of their health, if not 50%. So very, very brutal as well. And on the outside, we do see the doggies creeping, but Grand Cathay can easily just call in some peasant horsemen to intercept those guys if they want to. So not going to be too powerful of a gambit, I dare say. Other bloated corpse still hiding in the tree, so the forbidden bloaty is still back there. He's going to wait till the late game probably to pop out. So where's the bloat? Where's the bloat in the rider? Okay, so the bloated corpse, I think, got killed by the Iron Dragon. Yeah, he killed the bloated corpse. Sorry, guys. You can see he was able to deal some damage. So 1 bloaty boy is down to the trash can. And the scurvy dogs do attempt to make it back to the artillery, but just like I talked about, the peasant horsemen are able to run a very, very quick intercept right there, and they're able to punish pretty bad. Now, Fire Rain Rocket's doing some nasty work, and the Vampire Coast is going to be descending forward, so they do shamble and rot. I know, rest in peace. Let's say, what's the, fare thee well, old bloat. But zombies moving forward. On the backside, we do see some doggies looking for some opportunities with some fell bats. But honestly, Opal Blackbear is doing a pretty good job of defending. You see, every time like a bat or some sort of a disruption unit jumps on these pieces, there's like a couple of horseman units there to intercept, which is very, very tough. So overall, it does look like the forces of Grand Cathay are trading very well. But now the frontline engagement has begun. We do see the zombies and the rotting Prometheans saturating in. But unfortunately for them, they are going to be getting into spearmen. Now, of course, they will beat these spearmen, but, The Spearmen are still pretty cost-effective at holding them at bay. But Solastra going to be summoning the Ghosts of the Past. Here we go. So these are the Damned Knights Errant. Really good for penetrating into the archer line, so they are going to be diving into the secondary. We are going to be seeing a beautiful charge get in there as those old filthy peasants do get run down. So the bread hath been buttered, but it's only a peasant archer unit. They're going to need to get like 3 of those to really pay for themselves. So we're going to see if they can sweep across. But the Vampire Coast does manage to wrestle Objective 2 from Grand Cathay. Objective 1 also, 3 over there on the far side, also in the clutches of the Vampire Coast. But the Vampire Coast is definitely behind. Van Geist Revenge going to be activated. Oh, the broadside cannon shots. Let's frickin' go. The ghost ship. Dude, look at the flattening of those units. Oh, that's so good. I love that so much. So, now, that wasn't really like a big expensive kill, but still, in terms of like style points, Hobo Honkers is just off the charts right now. He's doing all the stylish plays. So, Peasant Archer line partially compromised, and now the Damned Knights Errant going to be diving into the backfield, trying to shut down a Fire Rain rocket. And uh-oh, the Spec Ops Bloated Corpse is on its way, guys. Here it is. Mourngull's also called out, but the Mourngulls aren't going to be super good against the Peasant Long Spearmen. The Peasant Long Spearmen should be able to fend them off, but not with the Bloated Corpse support, actually. Okay, hold on. Are we? No, the archers are shooting at the bloat. Okay, sorry, guys. No commentary on anything else. We just have to watch this. There he goes, dude. We need some Foo Fighters. There goes my hero. I would sing it, but my voice is pretty shot right now. So, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get in there. Oh, yeah, he's going. He's thick. Oh, yeah, let's go. All right, so he gets in there, and he does manage to nuke the Peasant Spearmen, and will be breaking their leadership, probably. So the Vampire Coast using the forbidden Bloated Corpse tactics to steal the side objective. All right, so the side objective has been taken by the Vampire Coast, and now Grand Cathay suddenly looks to be in the backfield, and Hobo Honkers, the Lord of the Bloat, is running away with the game. Look at that. He pulled the value lead, having broken that flank right there. Oh, my God. So those guys are going to be able to move up and keep pressuring, and Grand Cathay's Perpetual Harass, using all of these Fellbats, they've been able to shut down the Fire Rain rockets as well. So look at that. The artillery's offline. The Peasant Archers are tied up here. We do have the Rotting Prometheans, and Slaughter is causing a lot of trouble. The Goated Corpse. Oh, that's totally great. All right, so Collins for the Vampire Coast are going to be Sirens. Sirens are pretty good if there's no magic damage on the field, which the only magic damage really comes from Zhao Ming, so if you can avoid him, you might be okay. But yeah, looking really, really good for Vampire Coast right now. Like, Grand Cathay's army is very pinned back here. It seems like the bats, and I think one of the big catalysts for why the battle maybe started to flip a little bit was because of the Damned Knights Errant. When Solastra was able to summon those Undead Knights, ride in and shut down the Archer line, that was really, really good. All right, so on the backside, Rotting Promethean's going to be coming across, going after the Iron Dragon. A couple spears coming in to help him out as well. They're not going to last too long. You know, there are Deckhand mobs here. Nice breath attack, but they need to be using that breath attack on the Sirens. If the Sirens are able to get in and start prison shanking, they can definitely cut through the Cathay infantry. Now, this isn't unusual, excuse me, for Grand Cathay. I need some water real quick. Jeez Louise. One sec, guys. All right. I think I'm all right. A little H2O will be good. Battling like a forbidden throat cold right now, but I think we'll be okay. We'll stabilize at some point here during the stream. All right, so objective number 1 is going to be held by the Vampire Coast right here. And looking around, we do see them holding all the objectives, with the middle one being contested. The Bandits of the Silver Road, which of course are the Arwar Peasant Archers. Those bad boys are able to grab that point. But I would imagine that the Vampire Coast is going to call out some Hounds. And right as we say that, I look on the screen, we see some Hound units. So, you know, Hound units are a good counter against Archers. They're going to be screaming on there. Oh, forget everything else. Oh, the Van Geist Revenge! Oh my God, it flattened another unit. It just KO'd them. Look, the unit doesn't even have a tooltip anymore. They lost every unit to that Van Geist Revenge. Oh, dude, I love it. It can only be so hard, man. This is one of the best battles we've had in a while. This is so good. All right, guys, so the Night Terrors are going to be cutting through these units here, and the Mourngulls, as well as the Scurvy Doggos, going to be nibbling into the Peasant Horsemen, and it's looking pretty good for the old Hobo Honkers here. He's up 9.2 against 7.1. Does Cathay have any momentum on the battlefield? In the middle, there's a little bit of momentum. We do see Crowmen. Oh, you know what? Sirens might not actually be good in this matchup because Crowmen deal magic damage. I didn't think of that. I mean, they're holding their own, I guess, but that would make me probably not bring Sirens, now that I think about that. On the backside, we do see Grand Cathay going for a little bit of a desperation catch, but holy shit, he's going for the triple bloated corpse. Oh my God, is it going to get in there? Dude, look at this. This is the early 2000s World of Warcraft gamer build right here. He's moving for it. All right, is he going to make it across? Okay, the Peasant Horseman wisely ran away from the bloat. Grand Cathay might be able to wrestle some momentum here. So here's the thing, guys. If you guys, anybody can join. Yeah, whoever first come, first serve, attack speed. You just can only play once on the stream. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, I can only be so wrecked. There's so many good plays going down. Oh, and the Van Geist Revenge is going to obliterate. Look at the Cathay battle line. Sent to the freaking Shadow Realm. Oh, dear God. Dude, it just nuked all those units. Oh, man. All right, guys. So I think this might just be game over. I mean, 10.7k value from the bloats and also the Vangeist Revenge. You gotta love to see it, man. This is so freaking good. Now, right here, we do, of course, see Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, going to be attacking into Celestia Deerfawn, and normally it'd be pretty good there, but we do see the animated Hulks, which, of course, have very good mass. If you're going to be chasing something in this game, you have to have better mass. If somebody's like trying to block you, if you have better mass, you can push through them, but if you don't, you're going to kind of get caught here. So you can see the animated Hulks, they do, of course, have, I think, a 1,500 mass apiece, whereas Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, is going to be rocking 3,500. So, like, it's hard for him to push through these units because each of those individual animated Hulks has, 1,500 mass. So, like, 3 of them is the same weight as the Iron Dragon. So it's very, very hard for him to push through there. But Deckhand Mob's going to be saturating on the objective. Grand Cathay actually getting a little bit of ground. They were able to wrestle over here. And will the Vampire Coast be able to endure here? Find out on today's episode. We got 2 Mournguls sitting on the outside objective. Vampire Coast getting a bit of momentum back. Now, you guys might be wondering, how the hell... is it a little bit loud, Decay? If it is, I can turn down the volume. Let me know in chat. How's the volume, guys? Is it a little bit loud? Do I sound like the audio levels are breaking? If that's the case, I can lower it a tiny bit. I don't think it'd be a problem. But yeah, essentially what I'm saying is that a lot of the value that the Vampire Coast has gotten is tied up in the Iron Dragon, right? So when you attack the Iron Dragon here, this is value that you've done maybe like 2,000-3,000 gold value against Iron Dragon, but he's still very much functional in the battlefield. So Hobo Honkers could still lose this game. Simply because he has a lot of like sunken value into something he hasn't actually been able to kill, right? So that's very tough. We do see some deck gunners in the back. Volume is fine. Okay, most of you guys are saying it's good. Sounded good. Sounds great. But yeah, deck gunners will put some decent firepower down in the dragon. Granted, I think at this point, if you're the Vampire Coast, you need to be spamming capture weight. Do we have enough mana for another Vangeist Revenge? That would just be it. Like, if we get one more Vangeist Revenge down the line, killing all these Cathay infantry, that would probably just be game over, to be completely honest. So, on the backside, whoa, Iron Dragon diving in here, guys, getting really, really low. All right, look at that. So we do see the Iron Dragon diving into the backfield, and Vampire Coast is going to be responding by calling out bombers. And, this isn't even a bad play for the Vampire Coast. Like, having the enemy Lord tied up back there and not contributing to the mainline fight in some ways is a bit of a win. And will Celestia be able to do her thing? Does she have any more magic left? The Vangeist Revenge is an expensive spell. It costs 20 wins magic a pop. So over the course of a game, you can usually get like 3 or 4 of them. We do see the Song of Enthrallment activated, so that's going to be debuffing all these Cathay troops. And basically, to win this game, the Vampire Coast just needs to hold on to these 2 objectives a little bit longer. Although on the outside, we do see a sneaky attempt here. Some doggies trying to get the point, but the Jade Lancer is able to wrestle them off. And now you're going to see a really, really cool choice here of the old... yeah, I mean, the wounded characters, it does matter, but it's really like still a very impactful character, right? So these guys are literally zombies being carried by bats throwing hand grenades, which is pretty great. So they're going to be dropping fat stinking payloads here, and you can immediately see the leadership of all the Cathay units running because they're fighting terror-causing units too. So the Night Terrors were here, if I'm not mistaken, and Celestia herself, she also causes terror. So if you get really low health near Celestia and your unit isn't unbreakable, you can definitely go running for the hills. Now, the Deck Gunners, oh my god, did they finish the job? No way, they killed the Iron Dragon? He's so hard to kill. I look away for 1 frickin' second. Okay, so it does look like the Iron Dragon did die. Yep, no, he fled off the battlefield. Okay, that's even better. Wow. Because he's so hard to kill, but if you can rout his leadership and break him off the battlefield, that's a huge game-changing play, right? So it looks like Hobo Honkers is maybe barely going to stabilize this because the leadership penalty that Grand Cathay is going to be suffering now is really bad. And now, on top of that, there's going to be some really good Overwatch fire. So the Deck Gunners of the Vampire Coast, they're going to be able to shoot from downtown and really, really just rout a bunch of these units off as they put perpetual firepower down. On the outside objective, we do see the forces of Cathay fighting for this point pretty hard. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. The Spec Ops bloated corpse is coming, guys. Oh, dude, he's coming. And he taps out the blue ball. But, man, Hobo Honkers with a wild bloated corpse victory. Dude, the bloated corpse and the Vangeist Revenge. Oh my god, it was so good. I love that game so much. Holy shit. All right, that was really fun. GG well played to both players. It was a very, very fun match. And it looks like we are going to be updating our scorecard here. So let's head on over here to the King of the Hill. All right, so that is going to be, score to beat is going to be 1. And then we are going to have... He just wanted me to have to type his name on stream. Okay, so we're going to fix this right now. His name's kind of long here. There we have it. Hobo Honkers. There you go. Okay. That's what he wanted. All right. So, guys, now let's get our next game set up. And GG well played to Opal Black Bear and to Hobo. So, Opal Black Bear, now you will need to jump out of the lobby. Oh, we have a new map, the Brave Valley. Oh, that's sick. Oh, we have a new map by the Space Pope. Let's check that out. That's fun. You love how haggard it is. Everything in terms of production quality on my channel, in case you guys are new, is usually terrible. Yeah, I'm just not, I don't have any artistic abilities. Oh, Sepa. So this is a very good land battle player who's been coming over to Domination and doing very well too, which is very fun to see. All right, so now it's time to assign factions. So let me roll the dice. So we're going to get the dice roll going here. Thank you guys so much for joining today. And here we go. All right, so player one is going to be playing, let's see, player one is going to be on the Ogre Kingdoms, all right, and player two is going to be on the Greenskins. That's a fun matchup. I think it's probably, I don't know who's favored nowadays. It depends if you know the factions, right? Yeah, it depends if you do. All right, so Sepa, you're going to be on the Ogre Kingdoms. Ogre Kingdoms, and then we're going to get Hobo. Hobo, you're going to be playing Greenskins, if you don't mind switching. Yeah, I don't know your name in Discord. If you could shoot me a message, that'd be great. Sepa gets Ogres. He does. He does. Yes, yes. But I don't know. That first game is going to be pretty hard to beat. So we're on a new map, which is going to be the Brave Valley here. Should be super fun. I've never played it before, so it looks like there's some like cool nighttime like lights going on and some ambush points. Very Beastmen, yeah. The Brave Valley is cursed. How is it cursed? Oh, it's very steep. Oh, that's going to be interesting though. It'll be fun. So the thing about these like casual King of the Hill streams is we can experiment with things and people can try off meta builds without feeling punished, right? Which I think is cool. Hey, Master Boyan, thank you for the donation. He said, thanks for bringing the stream, Turin. Love the community. Hey, right back at you, man. Thank you. Greatly appreciate the support. The bloats, I don't know if their value was very good, but the bloats are more about psychological warfare. It's like if somebody rolls up on you with a bloat and does well, you're going to be in a rough spot. What's the meme unit for Greenskins? Rogue Idol. Yeah, Rogue Idol would 100% be the meme unit. You should make the last one max funds, no unit caps. Oh my god, no. That would be like a separate stream. Let him stand on the hill with his coast build. No, I think the random factions is fun because then we get really good diversity and you guys get to see a lot of different stuff. Trees in the middle point. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is going to be curious. Yeah, it's a new map. Let's see what it looks like. That's what we're here for. Let's cook. Let's get it, man. Let's have some fun. Okay, I'm gonna have some water real quick. I need to get some like tea or something, man. I'm like croaking over here. Magic nukes are OP. It's impossible to win. It's wiping entire groups. Oh, it's not true at all, Jam. Yeah, no, those, especially that one. You can dodge Vangeist Revenge. Like magical nukes are really good, but they're not even the most popular thing. The most popular are direct damage spells. So like Spirit Leech, Flock of Doom, things that are going to do guaranteed damage no matter if they dodge or not, like Final Transmutation. Big vortexes and nukes are more of a high risk, high reward type thing because if you're playing somebody who's really paying attention, they can dodge it. The in-game sound mutes when your mic mutes. Don't know if that's intentional. I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. I'll keep tabs on this, but we are in the Brave Valley here. Yeah, you can't dodge Fate of Buna, right? It's just point and click guaranteed value. Yo. That was a really fun match we had from Hobo Honkers, that first one. I don't know if he can match that because how does he meme? Like, Rogue Idols are so trash against the Ogre Kingdoms. I don't think you want to try that. Oh, and he brings a Rogue Idol, of course. And Sepa comes in with the most degenerate build. Oh, but Scrag is a little bit off meta. Okay. Oh, this is so foul. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, God. This is going to be a freaking massacre, probably. Oh, man. I don't know how the Greenskins are going to win against that. That's like pure Ogre filth. Especially if those hunters are mounted on big monsters, which they must be. Yeah. It's a Thunder Tusk, yes. I forgot to ban Thunder Tusk. Normally I would, but yeah, I'm like, it's not a tournament, so I wasn't like thinking about it. But we won't need to after this game, but let's see. Yeet, I'm not sure. A couple years maybe. Who knows? Hopefully a year or two. We'll see. All right, guys. Scrag with no Gorgers. Okay, this is a pure evil Ogre Kingdoms. Oh, this map is kind of sick. I don't know about like in a tournament, but it's maybe. This is nice. It has like this, it's like this little valley with this elevation. Yeah, this is probably going to be really bad for the Ogre Kingdoms. Or excuse me, for the Greenskins. Now, oh my god, the Greenskins with the Goblin Great Shaman. And then also the Arachnoid Queen and the Biggin. Okay, so it's basically going to be a big monster fight. We do have goblins into the sunset, and on the low ground, it's going to be a couple skirmishers just to grab the objectives. Looking at the Ogre Kingdoms here, it is going to be Scrag the Slaughter. So he's just there basically to heal the boys. He just has troll guts. So he's just going to be trying to drop some fat heals. We do also have the Thunder Tusk, the Hunter, and 2 units of Pigback Riders. Actually, one is going to be a basic Nobbler, so. Yeah, this is a very, very evil Ogre build. Like, this is just pure, like, degenerate ladder Ogre cheese, which, of course, is very strong. Very, very strong. It takes a lot of efficient micro to beat this, and your build needs to be pretty well contoured. On the bright side for the Greenskins, though, they do, of course, have 2 anti-large monsters, so it's not like they're helpless here. They do have the 2 spiders. Typically, the Ogres will outtrade you in that, though, because they have access to a ton of healing. And the Rogue Idol is basically going to be a big albatross around the neck of Hobo Honkers here. It's just going to be so weak and terrible. I mean, I hope to be proven wrong, but the Biggin is just so freaking haggard. Is it going to start throwing boulders right now? I don't know. The spiders definitely need to rotate over. So grab the 2 spiders and head over here and go fight the big monster fight. And you just got to, like, see how this goes, you know? On the other side, we are going to be seeing the Greenskins grabbing objective number 2 with their mobility. You honestly could Benny Hill the Ogres a little bit as well if you want to. Oh, the boulder throw! Is it a hit? Oh, direct hit on the Thunder Tusk. The MLG throw coming in from the Biggin here. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right. Yeah, whoever said single entities aren't good in domination mode, I've like often heard a critique of domination mode being like, oh, it's just infantry spam. It's definitely not true at all. Like you see like Anticity winning with like mass cav and air units and mobility and like just long range weaponry. I mean, infantry spam is good and it has been the meta in the past, but I think as people have gotten more proficient in this game mode, they've discovered quite a bit. Now, this is a really, really good tactic. What the Ogre Kingdoms are doing, he's kind of kiting a little bit and then using his shooting to punish while he does his thing, right? So in the back, we do, of course, have the Lead Belchers. Now, if the Greenskins had some sort of, like, range shooting, maybe, I don't know what they could possibly bring. Doom Diver Catapults, they could maybe punish it. But this kiting is very, very good play. There's going to be Poison and Vindictive Glare going down on the Hunter and some Broken Tusk Mob. And also some Spider Hatchlings from the Arachnoid Queen going to be rushing the high ground. Probably that wouldn't be a bad play to do a consolidated rush and try and shut down that shooting. It's a little bit hard to say. But the Rogue Idol is having a really bad time. And this monster is so terrible just because it's so slow. 28 movement speed. In a straight fight, it would probably beat this Hunter, but it's not going to be able to catch it, right? So Spider Hatchlings do get up to the high ground. That's a really, really good play by the Greenskin player. Hobo Honkers using the Arachnoid Queen here to drop it like it's hot and chase down the Lead Belchers. On top of that, he does get some good damage on the Hunter as well. We do see the Hunter being forced back by the 2 spiders. So while the shooting is shut down for the Ogre Kingdoms, that's when you're really able to feast here. So a couple of Goblin Wolf Riders circling around the back. And the longer you can keep that shooting offline, certainly the better. The Greenskins do have the objective advantage, and it looks like there's going to be a big Godzilla fight down here. So we do have the Goblins with Spears. And the Arachnoid Queen and the Goblin Great Shaman going to be battling it out versus the Thunder Tusk. But the big advantage the Ogres have is they have healing, right? The Greenskins have 2 very good fighting anti-large monsters with no healing, and then 1 really shitty monster that literally is doing nothing. The Rogue Idol's just waddling around the map, just killing chaff units. And at the end of the day, probably going to be GG here. I mean, I don't see how this goes better for the Greenskins. They're just outmatched here. If they had a 3rd monster, like a giant fighting with them, or maybe another spider, I don't know, they might be able to win this trade, but as it currently stands, it's just too dodgy. Simply because of the healing, and then there's also Overwatch shooting. So this is an insane map for powder shooting because of the line of sight, right? So Lead Belcher is going to be able to get good line of sight and put some good firepower downtown as well. All right, so pulling back, are the Greenskins going to be able to hold? Sneaky Stabbing activated. We do see some Broken Tusk Mob boys in there, so those, of course, are the Greenskin Anti-Large Cavalry. But the problem also is that there's Pigback Riders, right? I think in Ogre Bulls down here, there were some Pigback Riders. Okay. So Spiders are putting up a really good fight considering the circumstances. And in the middle, the Rogue Idol is doing a decent job. I mean, it is hammering some of these trash units, but this is like the worst case scenario. The Rogue Idol's gotten like 300 value so far, which is very, very tough. But looking back at the fight, 2 Spiders doing a lot. I mean, I would imagine the Arachnoid Queen's probably over 1,000 value. Yeah, about 1,000 value here. And the Goblin Great Shaman's still very healthy, sitting at about 2,000 value as well. So man, beautiful performance by the Greenskin monsters here. I mean, they're doing really good. If they had just like a little bit more support, I don't know how you would do that though. They're just so outgunned. Doom Diver Catapults are also a very, very good answer against monsters. If you have like 2 Doom Diver Catapults, we've been seeing high-level players like Tim the Wilder use them to blast and get a lot of value. You can easily kill like big monsters. Not easily, but you'll get the job done. So the Orc Boar Boys are on their way out. One of them is going to be attacking into the Hunter right here, and the other one's going to be charging up the hill. Certainly doesn't feel good charging uphill, and there's going to be an intercept as the Saber Tusks of the Ogre Kingdom is going to be running point, while the Leadbelchers basically just cackle on the high ground with full erection. So yeah, that's really, really bad for the Greenskin Cavalry. I mean, they will probably beat the Saber Tusks, maybe. I don't know. That didn't go too hot for them. And now the Boar Boy Biggin's going to be going in here and trying to assist in the monster fight. The Goblin Great Shaman going after the Thunder Tusk, and the Arachnaut Queen still sitting at about 2,000 HP in the fight. So the battle does rage on, ladies and gentlemen. Objective 2 belongs to the Greenskins. Objective... wait, did they all say Objective 2? Objective 2? Is there 2 Objective 2s here? Okay, it's just a UI bug, I think. But yeah, the middle objective is actually owned by the Ogres. But the Greenskins do have the objective edge for now. But I don't know. We'll see. The value trading is really close, but that's not good because the Ogres have healing, right? So they're able to heal through some of that value, which is tough. But looking around here, we do see the old Goblin Great Shaman moving in and continuing to hunt down the Hunters. So the Hunter becomes the hunted. Could this be the game where the Forbidden Rogue Idol actually gets the W in the middle? I mean, is he going to be the bastion, the rock upon which the forces of the Greenskins are going to be leaning? Find out in today's episode, guys. So there he goes. And is he going to be able to get these little gremlins off the point? We do see the Greenskins having very rough fights with their cavalry. Every time they try and bum rush the hill, they're met by heavy intercepting forces from the Ogre Kingdoms. Sipa playing a very good game, for sure. I mean, you can tell he's a very, very serious player here. And the Arachnaut Queen's going to be forced back. So now it's the Goblin Great Shaman who's going to be fighting a 3v1 fight versus the Hunters. So we do have the Thunder Tusk. We have the Hunter over here. And yeah, we still have another Hunter over here who's pretty healthy. So that's really just the crux of it. Is it was 3 big monsters against 2 big monsters, and one of the sides had healing and the other one didn't. And the Greenskins didn't really have the tools to shut down the shooting on the high ground. Very, very brutal. The line of sight from the Leadbelchers is incredibly punishing here, but very fun to see. I mean, this would be a map I'd be curious to incorporate. I think on a with a proper pick and ban system in place, and both players have access to factions that they think are viable on this map, it could be pretty cool. Yeah, but the Spiders did really good. I mean, they fought an uphill battle for a long time. This game's over now, though. You know, and again, domination mode isn't usually decided by the objectives. I mean, not often, but it can be, of course. But more or less, it's decided by value trading on the battlefield. So we do see the objective here is going to be going to the Ogre Kingdoms. And I mean, the Rogue Idol's still around. We do see the reinforcing. So what's going on over here is that Hobo is going to be trying to defend his outside point and just hope that his Rogue Idol can cackle here. But the Rogue Idol is getting absolutely blasted. He's having a terrible time. The Leadbelchers up on the high ground are just doing it. Yeah, putting a lot of pain down here. So yeah, it looks like the Hobo, he had a short-lived reign as the king, but I have to say it was a very good reign. I mean, he played 2 heavy meme builds against 2 really, really good players and was actually able to win one of them and put up a very good fight here as well. But yeah, the old Leadbelcher's not long for this, not Leadbelcher, excuse me, the Rogue Idol not long for this world. He's like, help me, I'm too weak. And it looks like he was going to body slam, but nope, he crumbles and falls apart. And down goes the Rogue Idol. One of the worst units in the entire game, by the way. Rogue Idols are such trash. They're so freaking terrible. But yeah, that's good. I think this map has some of the best atmosphere I've ever seen. It's really, really cool. It looks like an actual battle you'd run into and like some, you know, uneven. Like, I like when terrain can be different and dynamic instead of just being like a flat field. That was always one of my big gripes with old land battle, was that like, oh, if the map's not flat, people are going to abuse terrain, and in land battle that's a problem. But yeah, I think it's really cool. GG, well played. So Sipa is going to be the new king of the hill, and let's look at the value. 3,200 on the Great Shaman, and the Rogue Idol 700, 1,300 here. Scrag didn't do so hot, of course, but the old Hunters did well. They didn't quite pay for themselves, and the Thunder Tusk only got 2,100, so it's not even like the Ogre monsters really performed egregiously. They seemed fine. It was really just that Sipa was able to do some really good kiting and had access to healing, which was incredibly good, and the line of sight was very, very brutal. Yeah, uphill charges. Yeah, charging up the hill is very rough, Pizu. Very, very rough. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. And the current king is going to be Sipa. Bit of a shorter name, easier to type here. All right. So let's get out of here and go back there. Okay, wait, Sipa, where'd Sipa go? What are you doing, dude? Yeah. Oh, the Sipa said I have to go. What the hell, dude? You joined a King of the Hill game and with knowing you can only play one game? Come on, dog. We're gonna see, guys. We're gonna see. Hopefully he comes back. I don't know if he can. Did you join a King of the Hill? All right, let me see if he's going to come back. If not, we'll replace him here, and go from there. And we'll probably just bring Hobo Honkers back if that's the case. Let me check here. Although he was defeated, so maybe we just move on to a new set of players. What are the tips for somebody who's never played domination mode before? Ooh, so yeah, when you're building your army, if you're familiar with the game, like you want your starting army to be your initial strategy and your reserve army to either further accentuate that strategy to like a very all-in type strategy, or like have it address the weaknesses of your starting army, which is very big as well. In the future. Okay. Perfect. So, yeah, now, let's see. Let me see if he's still around here. Where did Solosaur go? He's taking a bit of a break from the game. Yeah, he won like 2 or 3 major events. Okay, so we're going to bring back the Hobo Honkers. Yeah. So he's on his way back. And we're going to go ahead and update the King of the Hill. And we're going to give that last game as a victory to the Hobo Honkers. So that's going to count towards his wins. Because it was a pretty Chad one. Plus, I forgot to ban the Thunder Tusk anyway, so I feel bad about that. Okay, and there we are, and perfection. Okay. So he's back, and now we're going to spin the wheel again. And the map is going to be we'll do an It's a map. We'll do it Fast and Furious battle. It's always fun. Okay, so Hobo Honkers is still the king. And we're going to go back here, spin the wheel a little bit, and do it. Do it. Okay, so I need to remove the Ogre Kingdoms, and we're going to remove the Greenskins also. Okay, so desktop capture. There we go. And spin the wheel. So it's going to be Lizardman for player 1, it looks like. Almost Kislev. So Lizardman versus... What's it going to be? Versus Vampire Counts? Ooh, versus Tzeentch. Okay, Lizardman versus Tzeentch. Okay. So, Soy Bacta, you're Lizardman, and Hobo, you're going to be on Tzeentch. Yeah, it's going to be perfect. Thunder Tusk is pretty overpowered, Susie. Yeah, it's a little unfair. Definitely a bit of a cheesy unit. I usually ban Thunder Tusk in most tournaments nowadays. CA nerfed it, but I don't know if they nerfed it well enough. Still to see. Don't worry. Sam, you're probably going to be getting corn today. Because we're eliminating factions as we go. So every match is going to be eliminating 2 factions from the 24 faction pool. And we're just getting started. We're not even an hour in. So this is going to be a good one. Are Greenskins top tier in PvP? So Greenskins are a very good faction in PvP, but they're extremely difficult to play at a high level. Analogy for Warcraft 3 would be like Happy, for example, right? Like Happy makes undead look easy, but when the average player tries to learn them, it's very difficult. And Greenskins are the same way. If you just like are new and you just pick them up, they can be challenging because they're low leadership. It's a lot of units to micro, but they have a really good combined forces roster, and yeah, they can be menacing for sure. Perfect. Are we gonna? I mean, Hobo is gonna bring some wild stuff. Yeah, he's gonna bring some wild stuff. You'll probably get a Scarbrand game. Yeah. But Lizardman versus Tzeentch, fun matchup, honestly. Tzeentch does have very cost-effective halberds. I wonder what they're going to bring, guys. So, yeah, for anybody just joining, we are on King of the Hill. And today, the current king is Hobo Honkers, and he is sitting with a score of 2. So he does have 2 games under his belt. And, yeah, so basically, if he were to lose this, then the score to beat section would be updated to his name with his score, and then the current king would need to beat that score to win the event. So we're going to go for 3 hours, and then at the 3-hour mark, whoever is playing will be able to keep playing until they defeat the king or lose. So it could go as long as like 5 hours, right? Maybe 6 hours if things got really crazy. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is like an old format we used to do. Any chance for a fun map? Yeah, we'll do Pit of the Everchosen. We can do some weird maps today. Because, yeah, we have a lot of really neat maps that are a little bit funky for tournaments, but for this would be fine, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna go Maybe microwave some tea water here, guys. Here in a minute after this game. I become a haggard barbarian when my wife isn't here. She's in Europe visiting family, so I'm just becoming a creature. Can Hobo confirm if the username is meant to be okay? Yeah, I'm not sure, Susie. That's a good question. I mean, Hobo has been hanging out in chat, Susie. So maybe after the match, you can ask. I don't know what their name would be in chat, but they're listening to the stream, so maybe they can answer that question for you. Microwave tea water. Dan, be careful that the Brits don't shiv you. They are. Dude, here's what I want to do. Okay? I want to grab some of you European homies in chat. I'm gonna use a kettle to heat up water, and then I'm gonna microwave like 3 and 3. We're gonna do a taste test, and I want to see if you guys could actually taste the difference between microwave tea water and regular, or microwave tea and regular tea. I'd be really curious, actually. You know, that's right, Susie. Put the water on the stove, you madman. Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you guys think you could tell the difference? So, you know, some of you might be thinking that like, oh, I can tell the difference because the cup that you microwave the tea water in is going to be hotter, right? But no, I would transfer the water to like neutral cup, so you wouldn't be able to tell which cup had been microwaved. How many of you guys think you could actually tell? Yeah. There's no difference. You're probably American, aren't you? Yeah. Because I've been lambasted for this over the years, for sure. But of course, since we're marrying my lovely wife, she's brought culture. My wife is Polish. So she's brought some civilized culture to the house. Yeah, so now we have a kettle. We use the kettle most of the time. The microwaving only happens under very desperate circumstances. Okay, we had a disconnect, a desync of the gods here. So, yeah, so we just need to remake the lobby. So let's do this. Turn King of the Hill and remake it. Perfect. So basically, they just need to rejoin. And then, yeah, so it's... That's the great part about like a small Total War community is I literally know all the players, so I can find them in Discord quickly when there's a tech problem. Usually the desyncs won't happen twice in a row. It just is one thing. How simple are the dinners are everything's kind of depressing, Grizz. Not gonna lie. Any Warcraft today? Lego, maybe at the very end of the stream. I like to do like a stream encore with Warcraft 3, like play a game or two at the end. It's not the taste that's the problem with the microwaved water. It's the fact that it's heresy. Okay, fair play. It's an American thing, yeah. It does taste different. Whether the difference is notable will vary from taste buds to taste buds. All right, I respect that. I think we'll do that someday. When I have some friends visiting from Europe, we'll get my lovely wife Anna, and we'll get our two friends, and we'll do a taste test, and we'll see if they can actually tell. Of course, you can't taste, but I have had a mic. Okay. Until the internet exposes you to Americans. Resist the heresy. All right. Hopefully they can rejoin. One sec here. We're waiting for them. All right. So what's it going to be? Are they coming back? Desync. Had to remake. Come on back. You on the way back? Just checking. I think their game's fully crashed. Yeah, so... Okay, they're back. Cool. So just... They can do their armies again, and we should be able to fire it off here in a minute. No problemo. And I'm ready to go. Yeah, it's just... you know, that was another thing, too. Like... I grew up in a relatively barbaric household. You know, it was kind of wild, right? So I was, you know, my parents divorced when I was like 6 or 7. You know, I was raised by a single mother who was like super busy, like, you know, keeping, you know, providing for us and just working super hard. So our house was like absolute anarchy. It was basically like, we had friends coming over constantly. Like it was the hangout spot for all the homies. And that was something like, keeping shoes on in the house, like that didn't even really occur to me when I was young until I was like older, especially when I traveled to Europe as well. But like in America, that's not as much of a thing, you know, like, I mean, somehow some folks will be like, oh, could you take your shoes off when you go in the house? But that's also was a big cultural thing too. In America, it's more like people just, you know, not like your dirty work boots or whatever, but I totally get it as well. Yeah. All right, so we're loading in. Let's get it. Let's have some fun. No one can taste the difference. People can. Well, we would do a taste test though. So if they would have to. There would be like 4 or 5 cups, and they would have to test them all and like write down if they thought they were microwaved or not. Yeah, I'm from Serbia, and a lot of folks have flip flops here for guests. Yeah, that's kind of normal now. Like that's what we do too. Like Anna and I, we have like flip flops we wear in the house, and then we take off our like outside shoes when we come in. Ban me from buying microwaves. Oh my god. How would you survive in America without a microwave? How would we survive in America without a microwave and our daily injections of high fructose corn syrup into our veins? Without that, I think it'd be pretty rough here, All right, guys. Taking a look at the build here. So this is the 3rd match, and for anybody just joining, we are currently on the King of the Hill. We do have Hobo Honkers currently with 2 wins. He is the current king and has two games under his belt here. So, here's what we got. So it is going to be Soy Bacta coming in with a Monster Mash build. So going to be using a Dinosaur Monster Mash. He is going to be using Lord Mazdamundi on Zlak, and he does have Apotheosis, so that's for healing the big dinosaurs. We do also have a Bastillodon with the Solar Engine, with the Laser Beams, and the Shredder of Lustria. So, yeah, just a pure Monster Mash build, with a little bit of Air Force support as well. Hey, boy, thank you for becoming a channel member on YouTube. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. All right. But it is going to be Pterodon Riders. Now, Pterodon Riders can contest the guys a little bit, do a little bit of poke, but Furies and Screamers do annihilate them in combat. Whereas Tzeentch has also gone for an Air Force build. Oh, we got the Surfin' USA build. Let's go. Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch. There's going to be 2 of them. So these guys are anti-large specialists. Now, they're very good, but if they go, head-to-head with like a Dread Saurian on a ground fight, they can absolutely lose that. So 2 Tzeentch anti-large fighters. We do also see the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch for Hobo Honkers, and he is going to be using Pink Fire as well as he sort of changed to summon some Chaos Spawn. We have Chaos Warrior Halberds, Marauders, and some more Marauders on the outside, and that's going to be it. So my only concern is this enough anti-large to deal with like a Dread Saurian, a Shredder, the Shredder of Lustria, Dread Saurian, as well as Lord Mazdamundi? I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. What's my favorite kind of tea? I really like Earl Grey is really good, but I also like mint and chamomile tea and like all those kind of things. Yeah, like herbal teas are my favorite. I don't care for the caffeinated ones as much. All right, guys, the battle is on, and it looks like the dinosaurs are going to be grabbing the outside objective here, so that's going to get them on the board. But the forces of Tzeentch, of course, will have the advantage with the 2-to-1 objective situation. And are the dinosaurs going to move in? Oh, no, Hobo! He gets lured to the ground, so he sends his Screamers in to attack, but then his opponent lands on the ground, which is going to be luring them to the ground. So it's a bit of a micro-tax right there. But at the end of the day, he is going to be retreating those back, while we do see the Shredder of Lustria getting ready to advance on the middle. Halberds are being targeted. This is a really, really good play. So basically using the Bastillodon to take down the counter to the big monsters is brilliant. So here we do see Soy Bacta shooting into the Chaos Warriors here, who are taking a bit of damage. Oh, Mazdamundi with a fat Ruination of Cities. Huge damage. Doing about 20% HP damage to that unit. But now Dad is home, and the big monsters of Lustria have arrived. So what better way to annihilate heretics than with giant dinosaurs, right? It's great. But the dinos have gotten a proper smash in here, and the Marauders are not going to last super long. They'll last maybe another 10-15 seconds before they start to break, most likely. But now this is an excellent counter. If Tzeentch is able to maintain air control, guys, they're going to be able to probably win the game using the Changebringers. So the Changebringers are here, and they're going to be using their flamethrower attacks to go after Lord Mazdamundi, and he's going to have a really bad time. So somehow, some way, the Pterodon Riders need to get over here and deal with these Changebringers, or else Hobo Honkers is just going to run away with it. Oh my god, Mazdamundi's getting freaking cooked! So there's a couple ways that you can do this. One of the more meta ways that Soy Bacta would want to deal with this is to use the Tempest. So you would bring a high magic slant and you would use Tempest on them, and then you would use a couple of solar engines to shoot them out of the sky. There's also other ways to do it. You could use skanks, skink cohorts, whatever. But this is really, really bad, and honestly maybe a game-losing play. We do see Hobo Honkers getting in there with the Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch as well, so they're going to be surfing in with their anti-large attacks and doing a lot of damage right there. And sitting at 1600 HP, Mazdamundi is broken, and yeah, it looks like the Lizardmen can't really present much of a fight here in the sky. Having Salamanders would also be very good too. Salamanders would be excellent. Just having them shoot downtown and rip apart the Changebringers from the ground would be a great play. But Lord Mazdamundi is going to be fleeing the scene. He's running for his life. Sitting at 1200 HP right here. He is broken and stirred. And sitting at 1200, will he get any heals? No, he's not going to rally, and he might potentially die here. Changebringer is going to hunt them down, and I think that's going to be too much. Yep, we see another Changebringer coming in as well. Lizardmen do have a lot of counters against Changebringers. Not a lot, but a couple between Tempest and their ground shooting, as well as like double Solar Engine kind of play. But we're not seeing it presented here in this build. Most of the build was spent on the big monster, which is now going to pay the troll toll. So Mazdamundi running off the back of the battlefield here, and the other Changebringer is going to come in. And honestly, I think that old Hobo Honker's probably going to be winning this game. Yeah, I don't see too many avenues of a comeback for the Lizardmen. And that's one of the risky parts about doing like a monster mash build, is it can be a little, not all in per se, but you're putting all your marbles in one basket, that's for sure. So currently being roasted by 2 Changebringers right there. Very, very nasty. Sitting at 7,700 HP. Going to be dropping below that here in just a moment. Tzeentch currently has the high ground objective. One sec, guys. I need some damn water. I'm falling apart. I'm too weak. All right. But yes, we do see the big dinosaurs getting cooked, and finally we do see a bit of a soft counter called in. It is going to be the Umbral Tide. So these guys would have been great against the Changebringers earlier. They have a similar range. I believe Changebringers only have, yeah, they have the exact same range actually. So yeah, the Umbral Tide might be able to counter them, but I think it's a little too late. Seeing the big dinosaurs getting roasted by the Changebringers, and I believe Maz the Chungus, yeah, he's about to be escorted off the battlefield as well. So yeah, the Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch, very good hunters, and he's going to be going back to his toilet seat throne to contemplate things in his Star Chamber. And the Exalted Hero getting the job done. So he's certainly going to be ascending to Demonhood after that mighty kill. Mazdamundi, of course, is the Scourge of Chaos. So Lizardmen, they have the Umbral Tide here on the ground. The Tzeentch Air Force completely dominant. And that's one thing, like, when you play against Tzeentch in multiplayer, you need to make sure you have some anti-Air Force tech. Like, you really need it. If you don't, like, you can just straight up lose games against Changebringers. They've gotten about 1,500 value, so they've about paid for themselves. Is there any way the Dinos could come back in this game? I don't think so. We see Objective 3 going to Tzeentch. Objective 2 does belong to the Lizardmen. High ground comfortably in the clutches of the Changer. And I think it's only a matter of time, because now the Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch are going to be able to hunt down. Oh, look at the play from Hobo. Using the Sword of Change to summon Chaos Spawn on top of the Salamanders is so freaking good. So now it's going to force the Salamanders to run away. It's going to buy time for the Changebringers and other units in the battlefield to do damage. And a bit of a waste here using the Changebringers to roast these skanks. You should definitely use them to probably chase the Salamanders right now, but it's not the end of the world, honestly. And we do see the Chaos Sorcerer Lord battling against the Solar Engine. A bit of a wet noodle contest. The Sorcerer Lord isn't like an armor-piercing fighter, so he'll really struggle against the 140 armor of the Giant Beast here, but he's trying his best. You know, he's at the very least tying it down so it's not shooting, which is quite good. And looks like the Shredder of Lustria is back. I mean, could he put this game on his back and get back in the match? I don't think so. I think that the Changebringers, if Hobo's paying attention, will want to use the targeting onto the Shredder of Lustria. That'd be very, very nice. So sitting at 17 leadership right here. And how are we looking? Objective 2, owned by Lizards. Tzeentch is ahead on points, 535 against 405 at the moment. But with the Shredder of Lustria being taken out here, I suspect that the Lizardmen player probably going to be tapping out of this game. I don't think it's going to be very good. That is so much flamethrower damage. And the Shredder of Lustria is down for the count. Not something you see super often, but it has fallen. And the Changer's Eye opens on the battlefield, signaling and heralding doom for the Lizardmen and victory for the Changer. GG, well played. That was a really fun match. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Damn, dude, the games today have been so freaking good. Been so good. Well played, Soy Bacta. You were a Chad as always. You know, just lacked a little bit of anti-air. That was all that got you there. All right. So, Changebringer value. That's what you guys are here for. The Tzeentch Heroes, 1,500, 1,200. Really good value on the Heroes, actually. And the Changebringers, 24, 24. So that's a really meta way to play Tzeentch, is basically you build your entire build is designed around winning the skies. And when you win the skies, you call in Changebringers and just like roast your opponent. It's very, very good. All right, so Hobo sitting on the dreaded 3 right now. All right, guys, he's getting a lead, which is not going to be easy to beat. You know, it's not going to be easy to beat. Okay, so anybody's welcome to join unless you played. Let's see. So if we don't, I want to make sure everyone gets a chance. All right. So we got Attack Speed Enjoyer, very, very scary player here, guys. And now we're going to go see what's cooking with the old leaderboard here. So removing Lizardmen and removing Tzeentch from the wheel. So let's go to this and roll. So player 1 is going to be playing... Ooh, the Skaven. Okay, a little rat people. I like it. And player 2 is going to be playing... Oh, no, the Skaven Dwarfs? Yeah, we have the grudge match. That's so Skaven favored, I think. I mean, in domination, it's a little bit less bad for the dwarves. We'll see. So it's going to be Skaven versus dwarves. Okay, so let me go back to the game here. So Attack Speed Enjoyer is on Skaven. Let me check here. All right, so just talking to these players here, and we have you. And where are you at? Okay, so that's going to be... Yeah, they were listening. Okay, I didn't even need to message them. Cool. Absolute heroes. Yeah, we're kind of getting through the factions, right? Yeah, we're getting through them a little bit, I think. Which is great. The Ancient Grudge, that's right. Did someone say Thunderbarge against Skaven? It's very risky. So the map is going to be the... not this one. We're going to do the Imperial... The Imperial Ambush is a new map we have, by the way. Yeah, this is a new take on Imperial Road by Hitman Hippo and Sleepy Lion. It looks like a collaborative effort between two of our map makers. So we're going to do this one and see how it goes. Am I going to watch the new King of the Hill? Yes. The King of the Hill was one of my favorite shows of all time, so I will 100% give it a try. You know, I'll give it a fair shake. We'll see how it goes. Can't wait to see Avalanche Mortars blow up some lords. That sounds like a good time. King of the Hill is so freaking good. It's a goated show, 100%. Yeah, it's like wholesome too, you know. I mean, it's comedic and you know, but there's also like a wholesome, comforting element about King of the Hill. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just how wholesome like Hank Hill is, and like you know his like naivety towards like modern culture and things. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Yeah, a grown-up Bobby Hill will be interesting because there's a lot of directions his character could go as a person. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Have they announced like the characters are going to be there on the new King of the Hill? Let me check here. Okay, new King of the Hill show. Okay, it's coming back in May of 20... Wait, what? Oh shit, it's coming out this month? When? Many of the original cast will return, including Hank, Peggy, Bobby, Bill, Min, Connie. Bobby will be older and pursuing a career as a chef. Oh, no shit. The project was picked up in 2023 after 6 years of development. Oh, okay. That's pretty hype. Awesome. It's going to be fun, man. Yeah, good times, man. Good times. Oh, are you talking about the self-defense episode, boy? That's my purse. I don't know you. It's so good, man. It's amazing. Okay, so Hobo is definitely on the back foot here. Dwarves, I think, let me look in the tournament stats, actually. Because this is not a matchup you would like probably want to walk into as the Dwarves. Let's look at the stats here real quick and see. So Dwarves are currently sitting at a 50% win rate. Pretty balanced, it looks like. But they have a really bad win rate against Skaven. Yeah, 8 wins with 15 losses. That's tough. I mean, a lot of it probably depends on the map. So Skaven clearly are probably a little bit favored here, I would say. But, you know, we'll find out. And again, King of the Hill, currently Hobo Honkers is the king, and he's got 3 wins. So we will see if he's going to be usurped here. And, you know, this is the nature of the Zinchi and FFA, right? Like, you could be doing good, and then Zinch can curse you with a bad matchup. It's just how it goes, man. It's just how it goes. Doctor who plays Khan apparently didn't want to do the character. Ah, that's too bad. Yeah, it was a great show, man. OG King of the Hill. It's good stuff. Yeah, I would assume there will be some recasting. Is it going to have his original friends? Is it going to have like the whole crew? I sure hope so. All right, let's load in. All right, we're back. The jail voice actor passed away. Yeah, it's a shame. Nothing good ever lasts, eh? All right, so we got the old Skaven versus the Dwarves here. Skaven going to be using basically just war crimes. They have literally... what is with these weird desyncs? Yeah, we've been getting them today. Yeah, it'll put a little bit of a delay on the game, but it is what it is. Oh, shit. Okay, Turin, King of the Hill, so I got to remake that. It could just be one of the players. Sometimes that can happen. Okay, let's remake the game. And who did we have there? We had Attack Speed Enjoyer versus... Okay. And where are we? So we have you. Rejoin, please. And then we have his opponent was going to be Attack Speed Enjoyer. Great. So we'll get those guys back in, and we're going to do the ambush. And hopefully it won't desync again. We'll find out. Oh, they cast someone new for Dale. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the voices of the characters from the original King of the Hill are pretty iconic. I feel like professional actors could impersonate them reasonably well. You know, I feel like it's in the purview. It wouldn't be King of the Hill without Dale. I really like Dale. When Dale goes like off the radar and goes like nuts and becomes like he's in the woods and the whole pocket sand bit. That's probably one of my favorite episodes. Cotton is really funny too, but he's probably going to be. There's no way that Cotton is going to be Hank's dad is going to be alive, right? Because he was like 1,000,000 years old. Did he die in the original show? I can't remember. It's like I watched it like when it was coming out. I don't remember any of it. Yeah, the Bobby Hill episodes are always really funny, especially when he was like getting into new music and Hank just doesn't understand what's happening. Bill Dowtry, I love Bill as a character is just probably my favorite. Cotton died, yeah. Hank's dad died, okay. He was a really funny character. Yeah, he was great. You could probably do a flashback episode with Cotton if you wanted to. Like an episode where Hank is like telling a story about his dad and he has like flashbacks. That could be something if they want to like bring the character back as like an Easter egg. That could be a lot of fun, I think. Bill is going to be there. Hell yeah, dude. The Billdozer. That episode is like really funny, but also really sad. The one where Bill is like telling his past, you know? Like in high school, he was like this handsome stud with like full head of hair and just like an all-star football player. And then like, you know, it shows him going to Vietnam and they like inject him with something. He's like, what's this? And it's obviously some experimental drug or something that like messes him up. And it's like, then he goes through the war and comes back and it's just like a downward spiral after that. That episode is so sad, but it's so funny too. It's just like, oh man. Yeah, poor Bill. But like it reveals he was just a shepherd. I can't remember, Susie. Yeah, I can't remember the details, but it's more of the fact that regardless of his like combat experience, it's just like, you know, he was like just had this downward spiral. It's like a comedic downward spiral, but it's still very sad. Yeah. Oh, King of the Hill was so good. All right. So what's cooking here? I can't remember which war Cotton fought in. Yeah. Like what? Do any King of the Hill enjoyers remember like what Cotton's been? Was it the Korean War? Oh, he got the placebo? Is that what it was? Oh, that's so funny. You guys remember when Hank was it World War II? Yeah, it's World War II. He fought in the Pacific Theater. No, in the Pacific Theater, right? Like against the the Pacific Front, yeah. Yeah. You remember when like this is actually kind of a thing too, because my grandma's side of the family's from Texas, so I have like a lot of family from New York City and New York State, Massachusetts, and then also from Texas. So the bit when like Hank is like grilling steaks for people and they like I can't remember what episode it is, but there's like some line like, what do you do if somebody orders like their steak like well done? He's like, you ask them firmly but politely to leave. You know, like it's just so ridiculous. Oh man. Yeah. That bit's really funny. And personally, I like my steak medium well. I like when I have steak, I don't like it to be super like. I like my food to be cooked, you know. Like medium well for me is the way to do it. But yeah, I would probably be asked to leave by Hank, you know. All right, guys, let's break it down. Thank you for joining. So, taking a look here at the forces of the Skaven. The Skaven are going to be led by Attack Speed Enjoyer. We have, Deathmaster Snicketch. I love it. So, Deathmaster against Dwarves is probably not the most meta choice. You would normally see Ikit Claw. Probably on like a Flare or probably not the Doom Whale. But, yeah, I think that Deathmaster here is not bad. He can definitely assassinate Dwarf Lords, and his little spin to win attack can do a lot of damage against Dwarvish Infantry. We have a mass horde of Skaven slaves, and they're going to be backed up by the... Oh, you guys ready for the Dwarf deleting unit? Yeah, I like medium stakes as well. I'll do medium too. Like medium or medium well is usually the direction I lean to. But here's the thing. Like I usually like to lean towards medium well because a lot of restaurants like won't nail it perfectly. So if you lean on the side of safety, I don't know. For me, that's the way we do it. But we got a Warlock Engineer. He's going to be using Howling Warp Gale and Warp Lightning. Very meta spells. Howling Warp Gale is designed to lock down gyrocopters, and Warp Lightning just nukes a Dwarvish infantry position, which is good. And, all right, aside from that, we got the Skaven Slaves, the Avalanche Mortars in the back. Avalanche Mortars are just the deleter of units, and if they're not addressed by artillery or gyrocopters, they can basically just end the game for you. So On top of that, we got the Vixtrin's Death Squad here. These guys are really nasty. Obviously, they want to avoid blasting charges and or arrow fire, but if they can sneak around and get on a sensitive target in the opponent's army, they'll kill them extremely quickly. So, gotta watch out for those little rats. They are a problem. So we have 2 assassins there as well. All right, so I'm pretty sure in the Skaven army I saw more weapons teams, more Globadiers. Natty Boo with sharpshooters. Oh, so the dwarves with a mass vanguard on the outside, guys. Look at that. We got the Doomseekers and the Brotherhood of Grimnir. The rest of the dwarf army is going to be Slayer Pirates, Garagrim Iron Fist, Felix Jaeger, and Ungrim for the healing. So we got the father and son duo here. So it's like a full Dwarven Slayer kind of Vanguard rush build. So one Dwarven Miner here is getting pounded, and now we're going to be seeing one of the most lopsided fights in the game. It's going to be a Skaven Slave versus probably one of the strongest infantry units in the entire game. So yep, those Skaven Slaves are going to get folded up pretty fast. You can see immediately massive casualties are on the way in, and the Avalanche Mortars probably want to switch targets onto the Doomseekers if they can. But the Dwarven Doomseeker rush from Hobo Honker is pretty forbidden, but they're going to need to get into the backfield to do more damage. So yeah, this is a big misplay by Attack Speed Enjoyer. Shooting into the miners is not a bad play per se, but definitely shooting into the Doomseekers I think would be better. All right, so they've gotten in, and this is the Forbidden Pencil formation. So when you have a really shitty unit fighting a good unit, you can put them in a pencil formation. It reduces the frontage and means that you're not going to be getting hit by as many of their models, which is kind of a clever tactic. But one miner is taken down here, and the rest of the Slayer Pirates and the Dwarvish entourage is on its way in. Up in the sky, we do get the Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns. So there they are. They're going to be heading up for a little bit of roasting, and currently we do have Objective 1 owned by the Dwarves, Objective 2 is owned by the Skaven, and Objective 3, the home objective of the Skaven, is obviously owned by them. Drazael's going to be shooting into Garagrim, so Garagrim is the hero unit for the Dwarves. He's like a 1980s action hero running through the fires and flames, but he is getting targeted by the Skaven snipers, and it does look like he's going to be attempting to juke now. Now, how are the Doomseekers doing? Ooh, that's not good for the Doomseekers. They're actually being attacked by the Vixtrins, but I don't know, maybe the Doomseekers can win it. They're both anti-infantry units, and I guess these guys are just more raid boss. So we're going to see if the Doomseekers can take on the Death Runners. That's actually a very, very epic fight here, but these Death Runners are no freaking joke. They hit very, very hard. The other Doomseekers are making their way through the battle lines, but now engaged by Plague Monks, so they will start taking some attrition, but yeah, they're getting some work done, and the home objective of the Skaven right here has been captured by the Dwarves. So now the Dwarves do have the 2 objective advantage, and on the outside, they're going to be calling in some Rangers as well. Could Hobo pull off another weird win with some forbidden off-meta build? I don't know. We're going to find out here today. So Doomseekers are chewing through, and it looks like the Vixtrin's Death Squad got pretty much annihilated. Now they're about half health. Looks like they're going to be fleeing. And the Dwarven Hero Corps is going deep. Look at this. We have the hero fight. So Garagrim, his son, and Felix Jaeger are fighting against the 2 Skaven assassins. So one Skaven assassin is almost dead. They're on the hunt right there. And now, I mean, man, Deathmaster better watch out. He will get his bread buttered so freaking bad by these 3 characters if Hobo's paying attention. But it looks like he's going to be moving into the Vixtrins, and Deathmaster is going to be using the Deathmaster Sigil to freeze Ungrim in place, which isn't going to be super strong. He's very, very tough to kill, and I don't know why the Dwarf player isn't grabbing all 3 of these units and just going after Deathmaster. That would be a very, very nice play. Doomseeker is still going pretty balls deep, though, guys. They're causing a lot of havoc, and the Dwarves, in the meantime, have stolen the outside objective, which is pretty MLG. We do see some Death Runners on their way in, Dwarves with blasting charges. And uh-oh, Deathmaster might be in the wrong neighborhood. Let's zoom in and look. The heroes of the old world, the Dwarves and men standing together, even though these Dwarves are literally taller than the humans. It's pretty funny. It's just total war scaling, obviously. But I think that the rat is potentially going to die here. He's at 2,000 HP, and if the Dwarf player is able to triple attack him, he's definitely going to lose that fight. But we do see Attack Speed Enjoyer realize this, and then he starts to retreat immediately. So triple cap for the Dwarves, ladies and gentlemen. And the Doomseekers are still causing quite a bit of havoc in the backfield. The Brotherhood of Grimnir, as a matter of fact, is still at freaking 60% here. So these guys are just going hard in the paint. The other Doomseekers are, on their way out. They're getting very damaged. Now there is a Doom Flare in there, which is a very, very good answer against them. The Doom Flare versus the Doomseeker. We have Doom and Dread all over the place in this game. We do see the chemical warfare being used by the Skaven, so they are going to be using their avalanche mortars in the back, shooting into what appears to be the Doomseekers here, so a little bit of friendly fire damage. And I don't know, the Dwarves are looking a little bit wrecked this game, which is weird because they're so massively behind in value, but they seem to have such a good position on the battlefield. Remember, the Dwarves also have a ton of healing here, so Felix is going to be healing Ungrim and Garagrim. As long as he's fighting near them, that's his character's special ability. He's going to be providing a lot of healing and chasing back the ninja rats there. So will these Death Runners run? They're shaken and soon to be stirred. On the back objective, we do see some Death Runners heading back here. And, ooh, the Dwarves do not see them, so they're actually going to get in, but they only have 900 HP, so they probably would lose that. Yep, weapons teams are shooting. I mean, dwarves have taken a lot of casualties, by the way. The Doomseekers are very expensive units, and of course they are dying, but I don't know what kind of value they've gotten back. So this one Doomseeker has literally killed 400 rats with only 32 models, but they've only got 900 value back, right? So that's the classic Skaven experience right there. Wow, man, look at this 900 HP Death Runner unit almost defeating this Dwarven Miner. The Dwarven Miners will probably win it just due to sheer attrition. Avalanche Mortars coming in. Big bombardment. Oh my god. Maybe the Death Runners win this fight now. No, they actually got caught in the collateral damage. Okay, but the Miners do get nuked pretty hard by those weapons teams there. Now, the Skaven are starting to get a little bit of momentum. The Doomseekers are being diminished a little, and the Skaven are getting some pressure up on Objective 3. They do have the capture weight advantage, but the Dwarven heroes are not going to let that one go easily. On the far side, we do have a bit of a skirmish, but a nice flank by the Skaven player, calling in some Rat Ogres, which are a very good counter against Dwarf infantry in general, with the exception of Slayers. So dwarves do look like maybe they're going to get knocked off this outside objective here. We do see some miners with blasting charges fighting, but they're going to be ripped apart by the Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres are just such a hard counter against this type of a unit. And there's also some Wolf Rats in here, so the Wolf Rats with armor piercing can surround and chase them down and do some really nice work. Slayers are here. Slayers are a great hard counter against Rat Ogres. They'll be very, very nice against them. More of a medium counter, I do dare say. The Dwarven Hero Corps is trying their best to fight for this objective, but the Skaven do have the capture weight advantage right now. They're going to cut through these Skaven slaves, and then they'll need to find a way to get through the heroes over here if they can. We do see the miners charging into the Death Runners, a very brave unit, but certainly not going to go well for them. Currently has the points 732 for the Dwarves and 240 for the Skaven, but Skaven are starting to get a lot of momentum on the battlefield, and I do feel as if the value lead that we have seen for the Hobo is starting to really, really show. 10,000 damage value done for the Skaven against 5,000. But with healing taken into account, it's probably more like 3,500 to 4,000 value difference, but that's still incredibly heavy duty. So basically what the dwarves need to do to win this game is get to the point where they can win on one objective, pull their heroes back, and maybe make a last stand on objective 1, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Zooming over here towards objective 2, Slayer's going to be heading onto the point, and we do see the Wolf Rats being taken care of, a couple archers down here, the Rangers, putting some good arrow fire into the Ogres, but they're unsupported. They're going to need some Slayers to be called in right now to come over here and defend them. Otherwise, these Rat Ogres are just going to take them to Pound Town. So that's going to be tough. Slayers trying to fight on the point, but Plague Monks are a really good counter against Slayers. So beautiful decision-making by Attack Speed Enjoyer. Plague Monks rip apart Slayers. It's not a cost-effective a trade at all for the Slayers. I mean, they can fight back, but it's really, from a cost perspective, quite terrible. So all these fights are basically disasters for the Dwarves over here on this side, and that means that the Skaven are going to be taking that. Oh god, a dad sneeze is coming. I'm giving you guys a warning. I'm trying to control it, but there could be a fat dad sneeze here in a minute, so my apologies. I think it's probably got to be GG for the Dwarves, right? The Skaven have just really been farming them on value. These Doomseekers, despite killing like 1 million rats, probably have not even paid for themselves yet. These Doomseekers have 308 kills. But honestly, this was a lot closer than you often see this matchup. Normally, the Skaven dominate the Dwarves a little bit harder than this in terms of the meta and whatnot, right? But yeah, this side is really not looking good. Plague Monks are chasing down the Slayers here. Good play, though, trying to use some of the blasting charges to soften up the Plague Monks and then switching the targets, so sending Slayers after Ogres and Miners after Plague Monks. Really good micro there. Archers do get chased back, and on the high ground, the Slayers are going to be chasing down the Rat Ogres here, but Skaven are going to be stealing the home objective, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that is probably going to be all she wrote. Yep, triple cap for the Skaven. So you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, points do matter in domination mode, but more often than not, it's the state of the battle. The objectives were mainly put in to make players fight, you know, because in the olden days, you know, before we had this game mode, we had to put in a lot of like rules just to make sure the players fought each other. Otherwise, they would just be situations where, you know, you could just run around and draw kite for like, you know, 20 minutes or whatever to like build your Winds of Magic back up, etc., etc. All right, so we do see the Rat Ogres charging up the hill. Slayers are going to be looping back to try and defend. The one thing the Dwarves do have going for them is they still have the heroes, but I think the heroes are slowly being cut down. Yeah, because Death Runners are a hard counter against these type of units. Death Runners have a really cool ability called Weeping Blades. So when they hit you, it lowers your armor by like half. It's freaking brutal. So you can see the armor of Felix is lowered by 35, and also he's exhausted, so that's going to be making him less effective with his armor as well. So he's down to only 26 armor right now. This map is really good, man. I'm going to incorporate this in like all my tournaments. It's so freaking good. It's a new take on the old map Imperial Road, which is super badass. Yeah, love it. The Dwarves actually do get the capture weight advantage here, just a testament to their tenacity. I mean, they are well ahead on points. I mean, could they start pulling victories elsewhere on the battlefield? It kind of looks like the Dwarves are in Struggle City on most of the points here. The home objective, the Dwarves don't even have anything contesting this right now. It looks like Deathmaster Snickich was able to get there and cut him to pieces, so that bread has been buttered. And here, I mean, the Skaven have a pretty easy win condition. You basically just keep calling in Plague Monks and Death Runners over here, and those units are going to be able to eventually just solo all the Dwarven heroes. Not solo, but take them down over time. Yeah, great map. Shout out to our map makers, man. They do such a good job for the community. It's huge. All right, little rat people, keep fighting. The dwarves, there's a couple of them left, but it's not going to be enough. And on the outside here, we do see the Plague Claw Catapult shooting in. Warp Lightning activated. So now the Skaven are feeling really comfortable, because normally calling in artillery in a contested game is not a good idea. Usually you either start with artillery, call it in very early, or just like, it's because the problem is in a late contested game, you're calling in a ranged artillery piece, which takes a lot of time to generate value. And when there's not a lot of time left in the game, that can be a big problem. And it also doesn't provide you any capture weight, right? Like a Plague Claw Catapult costs as much as like 3 Clan Rats, which is 15 capture weight on the objective. So if you were fighting up on the points, you would probably want to get the Clan Rats. But if you get the artillery early, it's going to have, time to generate use all of its ammunition and really, really, get that value that can win you games. That's just my opinion. I'm sure some other people might disagree, but that's just been my experience. Yep, Dwarves making a last stand here, but this is very lore accurate. Like a million just hordes of ravenous rats just swarming the races of man and dwarf. Definitely super lore accurate. And the Dwarves making an epic last stand. They're going to be meeting their end at the hands of the Skaven, which I suppose for them, I mean, it's a weird conundrum, right? Because these guys are part of a death cult, these Slayers. They want to die, but like, do you really want to die to Skaven? Like maybe against like a giant troll or ogre or something. I don't know, but against Skaven, it would feel a little shameful, I would imagine, little rats. All right, Gyrocopters called in. Pretty good. I mean, Gyrocopters should be disgusting here with their flamethrowers. Let's see. Or you could do a bombardment run as well. So what's it going to be? Oh, give it to me. Oh, he blue balled us. No, he didn't. Oh, yeah, the Apocalypse Now Dwarves. Look at the damage that did. Literally the entire Skaven army runs. Oh, that's so flavorful. Holy shit, could we see a dwarf come back? No freaking way. Dude, Hobo Honkers does not want to relinquish his crown easily. So he routes the entire Skaven slave army here and does start to get the capture weight on the objective, and also is going to be recapturing his home objective. The Dwarven heroes, I think, are one of the reasons they're occupying a lot of the Skaven attention. The Skaven have had to allocate most of their army to take down these heroes. But Objective 1 is going to be taken back by the Dwarves. So the Dwarves are going to be getting that one right there. And over here, we do see the Dwarves have the capture weight here. But I think the Ogres will probably be able to deal with it. The artillery also doing really good damage, I would imagine, as well. But, yeah, it's fun times, man. Gyrocopters, definitely want to use the flamethrowers on the Rat Ogres, try and rout them off. And yeah, the Skaven still have the capture weight. So I think at this point, the Skaven are probably just too far ahead on objectives. We do see it coming in at 12-11. They'll definitely win on just one objective. So if the Skaven, even if they lost the entire battlefield, which they won't, they could probably just win on one objective, I would guess. Good morning, Astalia. Yes, absolutely. All right, so the battle rages on. The Everpeak Air Corps has arrived. Yeah, you gotta love it, man. This game is so freaking cool. So Doomseekers trying to fight on the low ground objective, holding the point. Look at the Dwarf Giga Chad heroes. They didn't hear no bell. Felix Jaeger and Ungrim Ironfist. Ungrim, of course, fighting with the loss of his son. So his Garagrim was slain in battle, which not fun for him, I would imagine. And yeah, maybe they can knock this Skaven off the point. We're going to have to see. That would be a wild-ass comeback. But I just don't think the Dwarves have enough on the field. And they're so down on value. The Skaven have just done so much more damage to this game. But Dwarves are a faction that can fight from the pits pretty well. There's some factions in the game that if you fall behind, you basically just lose. But Dwarves are not one of them. Dwarves are like super tough to remove from the game. Like, I can't tell you how many games I've just been blasting the Dwarves only for them to just like dwarf tide me with like armor and unbreakable leadership. And you still find a way to lose. No, you haven't missed Khorne yet, Sam. Felix always finding his way into the worst possible situations. Yes. And by the way, if you guys want to learn about this universe and Warhammer Fantasy and all that, read the Gotrek and Felix books. Those are so good. They're really fun and they're simplistic reads. It's like the kind of stuff you read when you're like 13, 14, 15. It's like, it's simple vocabulary, but really, really fun. Classic fantasy with a lot of D&D elements and a great Warhammer flavor as well. Holy shit, the Dwarves actually take the home objective of the Skaven. Okay. Are they going to be able to get their objective here? The Gyrocopters, maybe if they had come out earlier, but with the Jezzails on the field, they were probably too dangerous. But yeah, the Flamethrower Gyrocopters are very good against Skaven. Blasting charges on their way out here, and do the Dwarves have any tools over here as well? I don't think so. I do think that this objective here is going to remain in the clutches of the Skaven. And the Skaven were able to bring their sharpshooters back, so that's really, really good. Yeah, so these guys, they're snipers, and they're really good against dwarves, because none of the dwarven shooting outside of artillery can really range them. So they are extremely punishing here. Extremely punishing. But yep, they're going to keep wasting shots. Not wasting them, but wasting the dwarves down here. And the Doomseekers are basically being sniped. Deathmaster's still alive, you know. He had some dodgy moments where he could have been killed, but the little rat assassin, he's going to be claiming victory for the Horned Rat here today. Such a cool character, by the way. And yep, there he goes. He's going to be running on in, doing his anime moves as he does it. And oh, he even goes invisible. Oh, no, he just does the whirl for the effect for us. All right, GG, well played. So that's going to be, the king has been dethroned, but he still has three W's under his belt. So players need to pass him to win the King of the Hill. Hobo Honkers, I know he's been a fan favorite. He's been great. He took a very cool approach to an extremely hard matchup, because that matchup is not easy. Yeah, very, very rough for the dwarves. But Attack Speed Enjoyer showing why it is hard. Although he went off meta too, which is very fun. I love the Death Runners and all the weapons teams and stuff. Very, very good times. All right, so where are we at? We are going to get this and go to the King of the Hill now. So we need to update the Haggard graphic here. So Hobo. Okay, just let me fix the graphic here because it's incredibly ugly. There we go. You guys like my graphic design skill, by the way? Hopefully you're enjoying this high quality entertainment. Okay. So the current king is going to be attack speed. Attack speed enjoyer. I'm just going to put attack speed for short. It's easier. All right. Yeah, high quality graphic design skills. MS Paint all day, baby. All right, so the current king is going to be attack speed enjoyer, and Hobo Honkers has got the score with 3. So that's what the players need to be if they want to take over and win the stream. Graphic design, yes, it's glorious. So, cool game. Fun stuff. And, oh, the OG Reginald Puggington. So he's been a top player, a really, really strong player since Warhammer 2 days. He's definitely an OG. Okay, so let's go back to this, and we're going to roll their factions, and let's do it. Okay, so we need to take out, who did we play that game? We took out Skaman versus Dwarves, which we already did. Okay. Awesome, awesome. And there we go. Okay, so let's spin the wheel. And we have, somebody's going to get Slanesh. It was only a matter of time. I'm going to make sure Seekers are banned, though. And on the other side, so Reginald is on Slanesh, and then we have versus, oh no, the Dark Elves. Oh, that's so lopsided, I feel. Okay, yeah. So player 1 is Slanesh, and player 2 is the Dark Elves. Hey, you know, Slanesh had to come eventually, guys. Sure, all good. GG. And let me tell these players. So, Reginald, you're on Slanesh, and Attack Speed Enjoyer, you're going to be on the Dark Elves. And we're going to do the Arachnarok lair. Hey, we got a big donation coming in on old YouTube from Modest. Here's what I think of your high quality. Hey, thank you, man. That's a very generous donation. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $10. Thank you, thank you. All right, Slanesh versus Slanesh, yeah, no. No mirror matches. I would ban mirror matches out, by the way, too. We're not doing that shit. Nobody likes mirror matches in this game. Mirror matches and like other RTS can be fun. Hey, Crestfallen, thank you for subscribing with your Twitch Prime. By the way, if you guys have an extra Twitch Prime laying around, we do stream on Twitch now as well. So we do YouTube and Twitch. Made a lot of new friends on both sides, which has been great. All right, so are they listening to the stream? They are. So Reginald, let me tell you what's up. So Reginald, Seekers / Heart Seekers are banned. Go have fun. I'm just messaging Reginald about the restrictions because I don't want him to roll up with like 5 Seekers and just steamroll the Dark Elves here. So this would be, I would assume this is massively Slanesh favored, but Attack Speed Enjoyer is really good at the elf factions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how in tune with the meta Reginald is also. Yeah, we'll find out. Okay, so the only thing we need to ban on Slanesh are Seekers and Heart Seekers because they didn't get fixed. Yeah, they got like Creative Assembly changed the cost of them, which was good, but they didn't fix the core mechanic of why they do so much damage, which is their hitboxes being a little bit clunky. Or unfair, I dare say, not clunky. They work well, but they're just, they're unfair. Can you use Sigvald as a Lord with Slanesh? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. He's good. He's good in a couple matchups. He's not the most meta. Typically, you just see like a Slanesh Sorcerer or like Inkari or the Greater Demons nowadays. Like the Greater Demons are... against Dark Elves, you probably wouldn't want a Greater Demon. This, if anything, this would be a Sigvald matchup. You could do Sigvald here, a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Slanesh. Did they have that? Did they have that? Shit, I can't remember. I think... I can't remember. You can do a Herald as well if you want. I don't know. Yeah, man. Dude, Slaanesh is already the strongest faction of the game, and when they frickin' get a DLC, I am nervous. I'm nervous there's going to be some big problems. That's right, Sam. That's what he does. That's his game plan there. All right. Seeker. Oh, the Slaanesh chariots are so trash. They're so bad. It's the fact that they have no armor. Like they just get killed by basic like clan rat spears will just body them. It's not. Inkari's really good. Inkari's quite good, and so is Inkari's like a high micro sniping character. If you like to play RTS games like a scalpel, you know, okay, here's a good example. If you're a Warcraft 3 player and you like to use Coil Nova and just like insta snipe people's lords and that's your undead playstyle, then you will love Slaanesh because you could just like rampage them, use all the items, and just karate chop. Hey, Berserker! I love your name, Berserker. You remind me, your reminder on YouTube brought me here. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. How can we make chariots are good? They just need to be more durable. The Slaaneshi chariots are like good on paper, but you probably need to give them more mass and then also give them a little bit more durability. So maybe more physical resist. I don't know. Yeah. Perfect. Seeker chariots now have 70 armor. Yeah. No, I know. They still feel really squishy. I mean, maybe there's an unexplored meta. That's one of the really fun parts about this game is like, despite it being out for a long time, people are still discovering a lot, which is great. Melee chariots, some are good. Like the Kislev chariots are brutal. War wagons are really good, but you'll notice there's a recurring trope is that hybrid chariots that have shooting are good and the ones that don't are more mediocre, right? Like Scourge Runners are pretty decent because of the hybrid shooting. Yeah. I'm really curious to see what the Dark Elf player is going to try and do here against the Pug. So if you went back to my YouTube channel like 6 years, you would see Reginald Puggington playing in King of the Hill matches on stream. You would see him. Yeah, he's really an OG. Life goes by so freaking fast, man. It's wild. And when you have like a documented your past is like documented in video archives, it's so weird. Hey, Archon, thank you for becoming a channel member on YouTube. Hell yeah. Let's freaking go. I went back to a stream from 6 years ago and I was like just listening to what we were all talking about. And it's like a whole different life, you know? Yeah. Like just the attitude, like everything. It sucks, you know? Like I want to see Star Trek shit, you know. I want to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just the human conundrum, you know. Puggington, you're fine. You're good, dude. Just mute the stream. You don't have to hop off. I mean, whatever you want to do. Zinchi and Centaurs, they're still good, David. They're still decent. Yeah, but maybe I don't know. I think they still find their use. People use them all the time. Yeah, a lot was different before the Rona, and a lot of like cultural attitudes as well. It's not even just the aspects of the epidemic, but like a lot of people just changed after that, and it's going to have a significant cultural impact on society too, right? You have generations of kids who were being schooled from home and experiencing gaps in social education that they would normally get by being around other people. It's interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of actually intelligent people, unlike myself, who've studied this whole situation. Bob, you've been a member for 46 months. Jesus, dude. Level undefined. All those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. So that is one of my favorite movie quotes of all time. I love Blade Runner. The end of the movie when Harrison Ford and the android are like, and the android actually ends up saving him, and he's like, they're sitting in there in the rain. That is one of the best movie lines of all time. Like, the significance to the human experience in tandem with like just the culminating of the story of Blade Runner. Oh, just chef's kiss, dude. That's one of my favorite movie quotes of all time. It's so good. Yeah. Now there was another movie that was kind of touches upon this a little bit. Like the movie was good. It wasn't like, but the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Yeah, that was an interesting like look on the human experience as well. Yeah, with like the aging in reverse and like. Yeah, it was wild. You guys want to play some Dow 3? I'm not sure, Carrot. I know there was some weird lore about that. Spoiling this 45-year-old movie on me. Yeah. The Blade Runner franchise is great. The original was a masterpiece, and then of course the one with Ryan Gosling was quite good too. I actually liked it. The original I liked a little bit more, but this one was good. Like the dystopian, I love future dystopian aesthetics. Like when you have like a future setting, whether it be like, you know, Alien or Blade Runner or Warhammer 40,000, when you have like these futuristic worlds that are obviously more advanced, but they're also dystopian in the sense that the technology has kind of had a big, you know, downside towards society, and there's, you know, scarcity of resources and all that. I love that genre. It's like, just inject it. It's so freaking good. Yeah, Dave Bautista was an MVP in the new Blade Runner movie. He was so freaking good, man. All right, anyways, enough ranting about movies. My old boomer ranting. You best start believing that would be a really fun video to discuss. Like, what is our future? Oh, we'll put up a poll after this. So hang tight. Remind me after this game to put up a poll. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our next match. It is going to be Reginald Puggington facing off against Attack Speed Enjoyer. Attack Speed Enjoyer is the current king of the hill. And for the forces of Slaanesh, it is going to be a Vanguard Skirmish Corps, Marauder Horseman here. Very good at skirmishing Dark Riders. And the rest of the army is going to be a very old domination meta, which is mostly infantry. So we got Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh, Prince Sigvald the Magnificent. So he's going to be moving up, and he basically just doesn't die. He sits on the middle objective, he grinds value, and he's like, come at me, dude. Try and kill me. Good luck. On top of that, on the outside, we do have more Marauders. So basically just a Zerg build. So this is like a stuffing build. He's going to try and push the Dark Elves back, triple cap him, and win on points. Now, looking at the Druchii build of Attack Speed Enjoyer, he is going to be using Bleak Swords in the front with Shades and Dark Shards. I love this build already. So Dark Shards do really good damage against armor. Granted, these Slaaneshi heretics do have shields, so it won't be like insta-kill, but there are going to be a lot of Dark Shards there with the Sorceress of Beast with Flock of Doom, Corsairs in the back line. So really just like a very consolidated formation right here, guys. Yeah, I love it. A couple of Khanate Assassins as well. The Assassins are, you know, decent fighters, good at sniping wizards too. Or if there had been a greater Demon of Slaanesh, if we had seen like Inkari, or if we had seen an Exalted Keeper of Secrets, their crossbows would do a lot of damage against the lightly armored hides of those big monsters here. All right, so they're moving on up, and the Shades are going to be unleashing their first salvo. So we do see one Chaos Warrior eating some fire. They do have the shields, but when they turn their backs and run, they don't get the benefit of the shields. So that could, you know, be a lot of damage as they try and retreat here. Sigvald is coming for that booty. He wants it, you know. Oh, Sigvald's going for it. He's got his assless chaps going, and oh, looks like one of the assassins does answer the call of Slaanesh. The Pavane of Slaanesh is an ability that you can use, and what it does is it makes that unit lose control. Granted, I don't think that was worth it for Puggington as much. You know, he said he's a little bit out of practice with the meta and hasn't been playing too much. The correct play would have been to use Pavane on the Shades, because then the Shades would come into melee here and you could potentially kill them. But, I mean, if you are able to kill one of the Khanate Assassins outright, that could be quite nice. But the Dark Elf Missile Line doing a lot of damage here, and we do see the Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh getting battered pretty freaking hard. Yeah, Dawn of War 3 was, what, like 8 years ago? It's freaking insane. Like 8 or 9 years? Yeah. Time flies. All right, guys. So Sigvald able to get the Khanate Assassin kind of low, but that's the problem, right? Excuse me. I'm dying over here. You spend all that Winds of Magic to try and get the Khanate Assassin down, and it's still living. Now, we do see a Bloodwrack Medusa. These things are really good against infantry spam. They do also have anti-large fighting, but if you use them to laser Chaos Warriors, that's really, really what you want to be doing. So the Dark Elves do have objective 2, but they realize, you know, the thing about domination is you can't just win the game by sitting on one place. You're going to have to move a little bit to at least contest 2 objectives. You can basically still have one big formation, but now we do see the Medusa shooting in, doing good damage against the Chaos Warriors, but Sigvald's coming in with his Mad Max chaps on, and he is going to be hunting down the Medusa, which will retreat through the ranks, and the Bleak Swords are like, oh, this sucks, we have to fight Sigvald now. So we will see how that goes. Now, as far as the low ground fighting, Dark Shards are in position, shooting at some of the Druchii skirmishers on the outside. Definitely need to be given a switch, because if you keep the target on the Horsemen, they're going to try and chase the Horsemen down. Really good Flock of Doom right here, by the way. Going to be nailing both Chaos Warriors. And Pavane of Slaanesh, that's a great cast there. See, that's a much better cast by Reginald Puggington, because now that's going to be pulling them into melee, where they're going to take a lot of damage against these Giga Chad, you know, Chaos Warriors, right? So not going to be super fun for them. Looking around the battlefield, Dark Elves do own objective number 2. Objective 3 is currently being contested, but it does look like the Dark Gods are holding on to it. And now we see the Air Force pressure coming out, so it is going to be the Chaos Furies. Now, the answer against Chaos Furies would be to call in Dark Riders and or Cavalry. So just use your Cavalry to intercept and hammer them. and you're going to be in good shape. A little bit of sloppy positioning from attack speed enjoyers missiles. The Shades definitely, unless they got Pavaned, they shouldn't be in melee like this. These guys, of course, make complete sense. They got hit with a spell, but Slaanesh is going to be swarming into the backfield a little bit right now, while the Coldwood Knights of Velociraptor Cavalry able to swarm in there and get a nice charge, and that is going to be a lot of the Chaos Furies getting killed by the Velociraptor people. Dark Elves have a very cool aesthetic. I really like these guys, man. They look freaking awesome. But yeah, good fight. Really, really nice match between these players. Currently, we do see the Druchii up in value a little bit, and there is going to be a Flock of Doom. Dude, the Flock of Dooms have been really, really good by attack speed enjoyer. That's going to be hitting all those units there. So really, really getting his bread buttered there. But the Dark Elf formations are still active, which is very rare against Slaanesh. Now, why are we not seeing Hellstriders? I told Puggington that Seekers and Heartseekers are banned, but you're still allowed to use Hellstriders, and Hellstriders are an S tier unit, but maybe he's just trying something different. I'm not sure. Normally you would see Hellstriders trying to compromise the flanks, but Puggington going to be using Fiends of Slaanesh instead. So we do see the Fiends of Slaanesh going after the Coldwood Knights, which is a pretty good answer or tool or engagement for the Fiends, especially if there's some infantry support on the ground. We're going to have to see how this fight goes. But the Velociraptors duking it out, realizing they're going to lose that fight. This objective here does belong to Slaanesh. And on the middle, the fight's contested. You know, the Slaaneshi infantry are getting a little bit worn down. Puggington blundering his caster, that's really rough. It looks like the caster was sent into melee and got attacked by some of these Velociraptor cav right here, if you guys really zoom in. So that's a bit of a problematic fight. On the other side, Objective 1 is owned by the Dark Elves, and a little bit of a contest here, but Sigvald able to get in there. He's going for that booty. He tries to get the Sorceress, and the Sorceress is shaken, barely survives the attack from Sigvald there, and Sigvald is blocked up by some Dark Riders. So the Dark Elves called in their cavalry to block Sigvald and keep him from getting the kill on the Supreme Sorcerers, right? Yeah, Fiends are a really good unit. All right, so a bit of a macro look at the battlefield. We do see Objective 2 owned by the Dark Elves and Objective 1 down here owned by Slaanesh. Not really being contested by anybody. Value trading is very even, 36 against 5. I mean, it's about 1,400, but with healing and, you know, Sigvald healing, it's hard to say what it truly is like. Sigvald has gotten into the Archer line. Slaanesh is going to be calling in Devoted Marauders, and the middle objective, like I said, was owned by Dark Elves, but it does look like Reginald is getting some momentum here as he's calling in waves and waves of infantry here, guys. It shouldn't be lagging. It's probably on your end, Decay, unless somebody else is having the same experience. Hopefully that resolves for you. In the future, I'm going to tell them to use different banners too, because the purple and like the Slaanesh purple and the Dark Elf purple looks really similar. It's kind of hard to tell what's what, to be completely honest. Down here, Dark Elves hanging in there. Crows of Cain able to be used to save these Dread Spears from their inevitable doom. And Dark Elves actually do have a lot of units still. They have a lot of Blackheart Corsairs. Their Shades are still very much online. So Archer position, they have 2 Canadian Assassins who are going to be running up to the high ground. And yeah, these guys are so freaking cool. If I played Dark Elves in Tabletop, I would run as many of these guys as possible. I think they're just so badass looking. And Slaanesh does have some momentum in the middle. We got some Fiends, some Devoted Marauders, and Slaanesh does maintain the double cap. So when the Dark Elves had to rotate a lot of their army down here to save that objective, the Slaanesh forces use their mobility and their speed, and just even their infantry are fast. You know, like Devoted Marauders to Slaanesh have 40 movement speed. The standard movement speed for infantry in this game is actually 32. So it's a pretty big difference. And the Dark Elves will get outground when it comes to just pure fighting by Slaanesh, simply because of, you know, just the nature of chaos. But their missiles and their cavalry are what can potentially make up for it. I'm really perplexed why we're not seeing Hellstriders. He must have misinterpreted my rules with this, because yeah, like Hellstriders would just be so god tier right now. No, okay, he knows. Okay, so there are going to be some Hellstriders and Slaanesh coming in, so these bad boys are on the back. And yeah, they'll clean up these Dark Riders and then maybe potentially threaten the objective here, although they don't really need to. Probably just reinforcing the middle. Dark Elves are just swarming here, and it does look like Slaanesh is actually just outnumbered very heavily. And you have to remember too, the Medusa is also going to be pounding a lot of damage in. Currently it is obstructed, so it's blocked by a friendly unit, which is why it's not shooting. It doesn't want to kill its own Coldwood Knights. But if you were to move this thing around the flank and shoot down the side, it wouldn't have any problems there. Coldwood Knights are also pretty beast mode units. Even though they're designed to kill big targets, Coldwood Knights are good against armor. Like, they can fight against Chaos Warriors because they have high armor themselves and good armor piercing value. So yeah, Witch Elves could also be a very good inclusion, as could the Sisters of Slaughter potentially. Not as much, maybe just Witch Elves are going to be your business. So the Medusa using its frickin' laser beam to shoot the Marauder Horsemen as they try and come back. On the low ground, we do see an attempt from the Dark Elves, so he does actually send some Corsairs down there. But this is going to be a disaster for those Corsairs, and I'll explain why. Because Furies of Slaanesh have insanely high armor piercing value, so if you attack them with Furies and then hammer them from the front, oh dude, the perfect Slaaneshi sandwich, guys. Look at that. Yeah, so those guys are just dead. That's going to be game blasted. Look how quickly they're... Oh my god, look at their HP just getting deleted. Slanesh is a faction you don't want to, you know, take isolated fights with. They're so fast and so alpha strikey. You need to kind of keep your elements together, which is tough. Turin, Imrik, Eltharion are... Eltharion and Imrik are both really good right now. I've been seeing more Eltharion, actually, but I think they're pretty equal, would be my answer. Yeah. They both played it very differently. All right, so Objective 3 owned by the Dark Elves, and now the Dark Elves have taken the middle objective as well. Dude, I mean, there's so many variables that could have sent the game spiraling for Slanesh. Like the Supreme Sorceress has 800 HP right here. Sigvald, of course, is trapped in a fight, so he's not able to get out and get her. Over here, objective number 1 owned by Slanesh. Slanesh is up on points. Puggington does have almost 900 points, but he would lose on just 1 point. He needs to get an objective back in order to have a chance here. But Hellstriders are pretty disgusting. They could potentially pull this game back. Like, if he's able to isolate a lot of the Dark Elf units with Hellstriders and then steal the side objectives, that's probably his win condition. So Dreadspears are on the way out, but again, Dreadspears get wrecked by Furies because Dreadspears, I mean, they do have the Murderous Prowess active for a couple more seconds, so the Dark Elves get a big army-wide buff for a period of time and when enough things die, but it wears off. So now you only have 26 melee attack here, right? And if they're not fighting something that's large and they don't have their bonus versus large, they kind of struggle. So down here, there's a lot of Dreadspears, and Slanesh looks like they're going for a big old surround, and the Dark Elves, you know, excuse me, who the hell wants to be surrounded? You know, that shit sucks. So currently sitting at 8 leadership right there, and the Dark Elves are going to be routed off objective 1 once again. So what you want to do if you're Reginald Puggington is like skirmish and fight over here. And then when the Dark Elves come for the Alpha Strike, you save up like 1,200 supplies. So you bank your supplies in the top right and then call in 2 really fast cavalry or maybe like 3 or 4 infantry units to come down here and steal this objective, you know. I think that would be a really, really good play right there for sure. But it does look like the Dark Elves are currently in the commanding position. They are in the position to win. The status quo favors them. The forces of Slanesh, they do have some loose mobility on the battlefield. This is a really good play, by the way. Parking spears down here because Slanesh players in the late game typically are going to be spamming out cavalry units to try and get you. But yeah, the spears are going to be really tough to uproot for the Hellstriders. A couple of Hellstriders here getting hunted down by the Velociraptor cavalry, and this will favor the Dark Elf cav. Coldwood Knights, they really do hit quite hard, and they're riding freaking Velociraptors, so way cooler than those lame demon anteaters, right? But yeah, Hellstrider's going to get pushed off the battlefield, and looking very, very good for the Druchii, like I said, but this is going to be a long fight. Puggington is a scrapper, and he does have a lot of staying power here with Sigvald. Prince Sigvald. Could you choose a Lord for CA to buff? Who would it be? Grimgor, probably. Yeah, French. Thank you for the donation. But I think Grimgor, he's such a cool, iconic character in Warhammer Fantasy, and he sucks so freaking bad. I would probably want to give him like a really impactful ability to make him viable. That'd be super fun. If Grimgor had an ability where he could like challenge you and you have to fight him like a rampage, like Grimgor can challenge enemy lords and heroes to like, you know, who's the baddest, and then he clicks on the lord or hero and like they have to come fight him, that would be the coolest shit ever. Like, you know, I'm the baddest, and then he like pulls you into fight. That would be so sick. Because if he can stand and fight you, Grimgor's actually okay, but like he's so easy to kite, you just ignore him basically. Alright, so down here we do see the Slaneshi objective being held by the Dark Prince, and the middle objective still owned by the Druchii. The Blackheart Corsairs are really, really cool. But Chaos Warriors obviously will beat them in a fight. But yeah, they have good staying power as far as Dark Elves go. Dreadspears on the way in, more Coldwood Knights. Coldwood Knights trying to harry and chase back the Hellstriders. The Medusa getting a nice laser beam. I don't know if you guys just saw that. Onto the Hellstriders right here. And yeah, Prince Sigvald the Magnificent going to be battling against the Bloodrack Medusa. Using the army ability of Slanesh, which is Fascination. Now, Medusas are designed to kill big targets and shoot small targets at range. So when they get forced to fight an infantry-sized character like Sigvald, Sigvald will definitely win this fight against this Medusa. Currently, it's sitting at 3,100 HP. Sigvald's not even really taking damage, so yeah, that's some big damage going down right there. Beautiful Flock of Doom, going to be activated, going to be hitting a lot of the Slanesh army, but Slanesh is getting a kind of a second wind, as we do see their Chaos Warriors holding really firm, right? So suddenly, are we seeing a comeback for the Dark Prince? Reginald does have his Chaos Warriors, and the Fiends are going to start grinding this, and also Sigvald he's a character that just over a long game just gets value. He's just slow. He's like, what is that like stock market investment when like you put in, you get like a dividend. It's like a dividend stock, yeah. He's like slowly paying out those dividends over time, you know? And the Bloodrack Medusa here going to be chopped up by old Prince Sigvald, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that we do see the middle objective held by the Druchii, but there is a little bit of Slanesh momentum coming back. Does Slanesh have any? Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. So the Dark Elves are pulling all their reserves from Objective 3, which means Slanesh, if they want to do a fast cap strategy, can do that. And immediately, I think Attack Speed Enjoyer realizes this and pulls back the Dreadspear. Good idea. You know, good idea right there. All right, guys. So down here on the grounds, we do see a lot of Dark Elf infantry. Chaos Warriors trying to get through them all. Sigvald battling, and we do have Fiends as well. But it is getting to the point. Look, currently, Attack Speed Enjoyer actually is going to be passing Slaanesh for the first time in the game, so we have a little bit of time. On the backside, Bleak Sword's being called in, and Bleak Sword's here as well. Nothing really going down to the low ground, just being kind of loosely contested. It does look like it's going to be hanging in the clutches of Slaanesh. But can the Fiends get through this Dark Elf army? Dark Elves are not known for their staying power, but that's a really common strategy for Slaanesh, is to get the Chaos Furies, fly them behind, and then like use something else to hit in the front with Furies in the back. It's a brutal tactic, because the amount of armor piercing and DPS the Furies have is pretty insane. Objective capture weight still belongs to the Dark Elves. The Dreadsphere reserves have come up, abandoning the low ground objective, but he's covering his bases. So whenever you have an objective abandoned like this, it's a good idea to call in your next reserve unit to reinforce that point, which is exactly what he's doing. So it's very, very good. Dark Elves are also threatening the low ground here. Slaanesh is a little bit down on value, right? No, Puggington's actually pulled up on value. Okay. So, you know, the game's getting a little bit dodgy now. Dark Elves are having to spread their forces thin to hold on to the points, and that's allowing Slaanesh to kind of grind their way back. And, you know, the Slaaneshi infantry are just so much better in combat here. But the Medusa's back online. We do get the Medusa in the back. Huge laser beams. It's probably done very, very well this game for sure. So let's see what it's going to be. Come on, give us a shot. Give it to us, Precious. There she goes. And boom, shooting a huge laser beam and actually breaking the Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh. So they get broken, and the Dark Elves charging victorious over the ranks of the Chaos Warriors. But the Slaaneshi Riders do charge in the back. Bit of a desperation play. These guys are pretty mediocre in melee. And yeah, looks like the low ground is going to be taken by the Dark Elves as well. Some Dark Riders were able to get down there and grab that. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is probably going to be game blouses here. I don't see any comeback option, especially with the triple cap coming into play. It's going to be very, very tough. So probably GG, well to the plate there. Very cool to see a Dark Elf victory over Slaanesh. Granted, Puggington, of course, hasn't been playing too much. He doesn't know the meta, but even still, a very, very solid feat to see Dark Elves defeat Slaanesh. It's a hard matchup, honestly, I feel. Yeah. All right, guys. GG, well played. Fun game. Canadian Assassins, decent value on them. The Dark Shards did okay. Look at that. 1,000 value on one of them, at least. And the Shades got about 1,200 as well. Golden Knights, big MVPs, though. Look at the value on them. Yeah, we got 1,500, 1,600. Medusa got 1,400 value, too. Great game, man. More Hellstriders were needed, probably. Although, yeah, you had 3 of them, or 4 of them. Okay, never mind. That's enough Hellstriders. You don't need more than that. I think the Pavanes needed to be a little bit more effective. Like, each Pavane, as a Slaanesh player, should equal, like, a kill on a good unit, or at least, like, a really good shutdown. Yeah, reminder to post the poll. Okay, that'll be good. So, GG. It's first come, first serve. Join when slot opens. Okay. So now let's update the King of the Hill board. So we're going to go over there. Well played to Reginald. A very, very fun match. And that is going to be, the current king is going to be the Attack Speed Enjoyer still. And he's going to have 2 wins now. Great. So Hobo is sitting at 3 at the moment. So that's the score to beat. Hey, good night, Ilarian. Take care, man. Thank you for joining. You did well, Puggington, for not knowing how to play Slaanesh. You did very, very well. Clearly your skill shows through. But that's kind of the fun part, forcing people out of their comfort zones here. And awesome. So first come, first serve. Whoever just joins gets to be the next challenger. And it's going to be Apostate Prostate. All right. I love the name. So we're going to do the Edge of the Darkwood. Oh, yeah. Edge of the Darkwood's good. Apostate was waiting so he would have a higher chance to play the Chaos Dwarves. That's what he wanted. He was waiting. Okay, Dark Elves and Slaanesh are off the table. Let's go to the desktop capture and roll. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, so Apostate gets Wood Elves versus... Oh, for the lady or for the Bray Herd? Okay, Wood Elves versus Beastmen. Another very iconic fight. Very fun. It's also a very meta matchup. This is like in the finals of a tournament. You'd see this one a lot. 100%. Okay, so Apostate, your Wood Elves, and Attack Speed Enjoyer, you're going to be Beastmen. So let me message them. Wood Elves for you. And then we have Attack Speed Enjoyer is going to be Beastmen. Cool. I haven't played the new Doom game yet. Yeah, it looks cool, but yeah, a little bit too grindy for me to spam clicking against AI. Doesn't tickle my pickle too much. Yeah, it's a very fun thematic matchup. It really is. All right, I'm getting tagged somewhere. Let me make sure nobody has any questions. Nope, it's just Discord saying we're live. So welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining on YouTube and Twitch. The family grows. And yeah. Wood Elves vs. Beastmen, incredibly fast, lots of alpha strikes, a lot of KG positioning. It's a sweaty matchup. This is one of the sweatiest matchups, in my opinion, in the entire game. Yeah. It's very, very sweaty. It's very thematic, too. Yeah, truly is. Turin prefers Hunting Man to AI. Yeah, I mean, I like some single-player games. I actually had a lot of fun with Darfall. Darfall, it's the game that we covered on the channel recently. We had a stream and then also a video we did. I enjoyed it a lot. My only issue with it was the difficulty. It was just too easy. But apparently, the developers are already patching in harder game modes and harder settings. So that's really good. Because like I felt like I could just always like A-move towards things, but those like survival games are fun. I used to play those. Like Warcraft 3 custom games were like 70% of gaming in my childhood. Like I love Warcraft 3 custom games. Yeah, really good stuff. No shot attack speed loses this. Got to be nothing but Zangor and Centaur summons. Well, Max, you should join too, man. Anybody's welcome, you know. No guarantees you'll get vampire counts, but they still are on the table, actually. If we take a look at the remaining factions, we can look and see who's still here. Hold on, and we're going to go to this. Yeah, so we're going to take the Beastmen off, and we're going to take the Wood Elves off. So these are the remaining factions to choose from. Still a pretty good range. Yeah, vampire counts are chilling down here, you could see. And then we got Nurgle and Demons of Chaos and some other fun factions that are nearby as well. Alpha Strikes, and yeah, it is kind of 40k a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You love the thumbnail? Yeah, it's perfect, man. Nobody beats Hank Hill, man. He's just the GOAT. All right. It's freaking dying over here, man. Be right back. I need to go refill my water anyways. We'll be back in like 30 seconds, and then we'll... don't hold me to it. Maybe 45 seconds, all right? And then we'll be good. Did you ever play They Are Billions? I never played it, actually. This was kind of my first look. The reason why I like Darfall, though, is because there's heroes. It reminds me of Warcraft 3 custom games and Warcraft 3 campaign. Like, you remember how in Warcraft 3 and StarCraft there's like survival missions? My favorite mission of all time in the old StarCraft, in StarCraft Brood War, is when you have to survive like 30 minutes against Zerg attacks as the Terran, and then eventually your base gets overwhelmed and you're like holding out at the last second. That shit was so cool back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, so freaking good. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Back in business, baby. Waiting for the next match to start. Shouldn't be too much longer. Looks like Attack Speed Enjoyer is ready, and we just need to wait for a Prostate. Prostate, great name. Ah, yes, good, Anakin, good. You ever played? I never played RimWorld. No, I never played that game. You know, how fun would it be? Okay, I do remember the poll, by the way, but one question before we set up the poll. Is Stellaris multiplayer fun to watch, or is it like watching paint dry? Like, is it fun for the person playing, but like watching paint dry for everybody else? That because I've like thought about it, getting into it. Like, I like those kind of grand strategy multiplayer PvP things, but okay. I'm putting up the poll on YouTube right now, and then Frost, if you could put it up on Twitch, that'd be great. So, okay. What are some other... Perfect. You like watching Slayers? Too slow to watch? Okay, we're seeing some mixed opinions. It's like watching paint dry? Okay. Yeah, maybe if you like edited it together. Yeah, that could be good. Okay. So the poll I just put up on YouTube is, what do you think our future is going to be? What do you think our future is going to be? Is it going to be 40K? Is it going to be Star Trek? Is it going to be Blade Runner, or is it going to be Terminator? Very diverse options there, right? So let me kind of explain the circumstances here. And if we could add this on Twitch as well, I'd be curious to see what both audiences will say here. But the idea is it going to be 40K? Is it going to be a brutal theocratic dictatorship with, like, you know, or is it going to be Star Trek, where it's, you know, everything's positive and humanity goes through its hard times, but eventually, you know, we all come together, we explore the stars. It's a more optimistic ending to things, right? Blade Runner, probably more the practical approach, you know, like scarcity of resources with technological advancement, a little bit more constrained. Or is it going to be Terminator, where the AI takes over and wipes us out? Or the Matrix. Matrix would have been great too. Yeah, I think that's so like depressing that like 40K and Blade Runner are like the two. Like, yeah, she's like, I do agree with you though. I think the most realistic option probably is Blade Runner. Oh man. No, Neil, I don't do that. No. Yeah. I don't even know what a VPN, like, yeah. I get those emails all the time about like, oh, do you want to do work with this VPN? But I don't use one, so I wouldn't want to like, yeah, market it to people, you know? Yeah. I want Star Trek. Give me, Judge Dredd is also pretty probable too, yeah, like nuclear warfare into like dystopian police state, yeah, for sure. All right, it could happen. It could happen for sure. Mad Max is another one. Dude, I'm down for some Mad Max, dude. Give me some sweet leather outfits and like a war rig and everything. I'm good to go, dude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in our next match in today's King of the Hill. It is going to be the Glade Riders, Hawkeyes of Drakira, as well as the Wardens of Sithril on the far side. So Wardens of Sithril are kind of an anti-large specialist unit. You could use them maybe to flank the back objective or deal with some Minotaurs. Archers, very good against light armor. Spearmen to fight monsters and hold the ground. And then Sisters of Twilight. Very cool pick here by Apostate Prostate. I love seeing the Sisters of Twilight in action. And I feel like Attack Speed Enjoyer may have gotten one of his main factions. I'm a little bit nervous for his opponent here. We're going to have to see. So we got Centaurs here. We do have the Gore Herds as well as Centaurs here. But look at the damage out of the gates. Really nice. So the Hawkeyes of Drakira are able to put a lot of hurt down to the Centaurs. But what's probably going to happen now is we're going to see a flank. They're going to dive in like this. But the Wood Elves should just call out some light cavalry to screen them for sure. Out of the gates there, not too bad, guys. Not too bad. We do see the Centaurs being pushed back, but the objectives, of course, going to be going to the Beastmen. Zangors are S tier in this matchup because they do magic damage, which circumvents the physical resistance of Dryads, and they themselves have silver shields and pretty good damage output. So very, very good unit. And, yep, mostly a bunch of sneaky cows. So will the Wood Elves be able to get their back objective, guys? I don't know. We'll see. Dragon going to be landing. Terror Route activated. Ungors will be running for the bushes now as they get shot by arrows in the back. Dragon certainly very, very cool. And the objective is going to start flipping to the Wood Elves as they take a very conservative approach out here, guys. You know the time period before Star Trek was dystopian. Yes, I do. I even mentioned it in my comment. I was saying that, are we going to go through some hard times as humanity and then unite? Because that's what happens in Star Trek, basically. There's this whole like Dark Age. Like that's the whole thing. If you've ever seen the interactions between Q and Picard and Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine is like, there's like those flashback scenes where Q is like going back to the Dark Ages of humanity where they like put people on trial for like nonsense and yeah, anyways, but there was a Dark Age in Star Trek and then it eventually comes to a bit of a utopia, right, is the idea. Anyways, we're already in the hard times. There you go. Yeah. So objective number 3 is going to get taken by the Wood Elves, and they have a bit of a defensive position here, right? They have their light cavalry screening flanks with 2 archers on standby. The Beastmen are all up in the trees, man. Look at this shit. We have the Centaurs right here. We have Ungor Spearmen and Gore Herds waiting in ambush. This is a very Beastmen style game, but you know the Wood Elves can also do some great ambushes as well. On the backside, Dryads pop out of the trees, and they do start to steal the objective. Now, what you would want to do in this situation is move to the edge of the objective and then fight them there so they can't get their bodies on the point for the capture weight, you know? And I love this too. Like, you have the Dryads. Now, what counters Dryads? Minotaurs and Centaurs. But if you have the Wardens of Sithril pop out with their anti-large, potentially they're going to be able to do some work there. So, yeah, it's very fun. We'll see how that battle goes. Wood Elves are poking away. Apostate Prostate playing a very, very nice game here. And so too is Attack Speed Enjoyer. KG play all around. But, like, none of the Wood Elf Archer positions have been karate chopped yet. I'd vote for the Matrix, but yeah, Matrix could happen. Yeah, the poll has ended. Okay, we're getting going. Good. Wood Elves advancing towards Objective 2 very slowly, very ponderously, but the reason why they're able to get away with doing it so slowly is because of how cagey they've been with stealing their opponent's back objective. It is going to be the Wardens of Sithril popping out, and now it's a 2v2. A 2v2 which the Wood Elves would theoretically win, especially if they pull a dragon over, and it does look like the Sisters of Twilight are going to be coming over, getting ready for some breath attacks. And the Wood Elves also are stealing the middle point during all this. Really, really nice. You know, I thought that... I don't know about Apostate Prostate's experience with the Wood Elves. I know they're a Chaos Dwarf main and really good with the Chorfs. But the Chorfs are a drastically different style than the Wood Elves. So I guess he's good at Wood Elves too, because he's keeping this game pretty close against the top tier player as well. They're both top leaderboard players, both these guys. But yeah, dude, the Judge Dredd movie with Carl Urban is so freaking good. It's so good. I was so sad we didn't get a sequel. He's like the perfect Judge Dredd. That, like, the perpetual frown he has on his face is just perfection. That's great. All right, so Wood Elves hanging on the back objective. This is a really nice play. And now the Beastmen are going to be preparing their ambush. All right, they're sneaking around the outside. And then the Gors are going to be running out of the trees to attack the Wood Elf defenders. The counterplay here would be some Wild Riders to intercept them. Oh, no, is he paying attention? The Centaurs might be able to just bowling pin these archers. We're going to have to see. All right, we do get the Great Stag Knights called out, but they're called out on the far side. These guys against the Zangors might not be the best trade, since Zangors do magic damage, but they'll still steamroll them. But, you know, a little bit of a dodgy one. On the backside, though, the archers do get in there, and they compromise one of the Glade Riders, or excuse me, the Glade Guard. Centaur's getting some work in. The Wood Elves trying to provide some cover fire, but now the Beastmen are going full tilt, man. They're moving in from every direction. One unit of Centaurs does get taken down by the archers, but the Bray Herd is angry, and they are pissed. And they're going to be moving on in. So Centaur's getting a little sandwich there, and looks like they maybe will be stealing the back objective because the Eternal Guard will lose the Gore Herds in combat. And let's take a look at what the Great Stag Knights are doing. So Great Stag Knights are absolute linebackers, but the problem with using Lost Sylvan Knights against Zangors is Zangors do magic damage, and these guys have no armor whatsoever. They rely very heavily on their physical resist, which magic damage is going to be surpassing that, right? So that's tough. But even still, they're able to fold them up, right? Like having that huge shock damage with the dragon, it's still kind of overkill. On the back point, it looks like the Beastmen and the Wood Elves are kind of fighting over this. I think that the Dryads should win this fight, although those are Gors. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like Gors will maybe edge that one out. So probably a good idea to keep the Wardens back here to hold on to that point. We'll have to see. So the Wood Elves do break open this point here in the middle and do win that particular fight, but over here it's a little bit more chaotic. We do have a Wargore coming out, which is, of course, a Beastman character on a chariot. Zangor's there. Zangor's here. And the Wood Elves still managing to hold on to the back objective. Really, really good scrap, guys. Really nice scrap here. So the Eternal Guard going to be hanging, and the Centaurs will definitely defeat the Glade Riders in combat as they're trapped up on spears. You can see a lot of the unit is actually like trapped amongst the spear unit, so Centaur should win that one. Despite that big onslaught from the Beastmen, we still do have a lot of the Glade Guard with the Hagbane tips nearby. A little bit of Archer Fire putting it down here, but we do see the Lost Sylvan Knights kind of get folded up. Malagor the Dark Omen with Flock of Doom is a really good answer against them. Does he himself do magic damage? He does not, which is weird since he's a wizard, but it is what it is. And yeah, Sisters of Twilight, a little bit trapped up, honestly. Centaurs with throwing axes will do good damage, and we have the Sons of Goros, too. These are ROR Centaurs, and what a beautiful play by Attack Speed Enjoyer, because Sons of Goros are a regiment of renown for Beastmen, and they have magic damage. So a hard counter, basically, against Lost Sylvan Knights. Like a hard-hitting, fast unit that can just wreck ethereal, ghostly units. Sign me up. And Sisters of Twilight are very trapped up now, and I think the Beastmen are going to start winning this game, right? It's just like in tabletop, if you've ever played 40k. When you lose your big centerpiece, it can really, really cause huge problems for the rest of your army, right? Hey, Mercy the Mad, thank you for the raid, man. It's been a long time since I've heard from you, man. Hope you're doing well. He's another great Total War lad, and it's good to see you're still getting it done, dude. So negative 30 leadership here, and the Sisters of Twilight do have a healing ability. So it is going to be proccing. You see that aura that just went on them? They're broken, but within 27 seconds, they're going to get a huge heal. But I think that the Wood Elf player knows the game is in trouble. The Beastmen pretty much won all the objectives here, and that's going to be it. GG, well played. Fun match. Fun match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. That's a really sweaty one. But yeah, getting your big expensive lord trapped and killed is going to definitely cost you the game. Because that dragon was the carry piece for the Wood Elves. There was 2 variables where the Wood Elves lost all their momentum. The first one was when the Sylvan Knights just got crushed, because they're a 2,000 gold unit. And the second one was when the Sisters of the Twilight just got pounded and surrounded there. It was not good for them. Really good build. Zangors are S tier in this matchup, and it was honestly very clean. Very clean. All right. So attack speed enjoyer is cackling on the kill, guys. On the hill. Hill kill. Let's go ahead and set this up here. So now we're going to get this, and we're going to do attack speed enjoyer. Currently has 3, so he has tied the current king of the hill. You need to beat them, of course. So we might have a 3-way or a tie here. If attack speed loses this game, then they would just be tied for the win, basically. And if Hobo's still around, we could have like a battle at the end to, decide it or something. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's that. So now we need to see who else will rise. Anybody's welcome to join. It's first come, first serve in this old lobby here. And let's head back to the game there. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Mercy plays a lot of the old world mod. Hell yeah, a man of good taste. The old world Warhammer mod is so freaking good. It like has taken Mountain Blade to another level for me. All right, let's see here. So what does our poll say on YouTube? Okay, so you guys think we're gonna have 40K as our future? Nice, hell yeah. I'm a pretty optimistic person in general. Like I sincerely hope we don't get like 40K in Blade Runner. Like I'm hoping we get Star Trek, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's a fun discussion to have, What roles would Hank, Dale, Boomhauer, and Bill play in the Warhammer world? Ooh, man. So I feel like if we had to just assign them to like a different faction, like Dale would probably be like a Skaven, right? With all of the scheming and conspiracy theories and that sort of thing. Boomhauer would be like the... Man, Boomhauer would probably be like... I don't even know what... Like, who is like a chaotic good faction that Boomhauer could be? Because he's just like unintelligible and... That's hard. Bill is a Slayer? Okay, I respect that. Yeah, Bill's got some dwarf energy for sure. Hank would be a man of the Empire for sure. And that's hard. The last one is really tough. Dale is a chaos cultist? Okay, that makes sense too. Bill would be an Ogren. Well, that's 40K. Hank, 100% the Empire, yeah. Dale is an Inquisitor. He sees guilt in everybody, so like a witch hunter. Boomhauer is a witch hunter since he's a Texas Ranger. Oh, is he really? Yeah, I didn't know that. It's a fun discussion, though. I love those kind of topics. Cottonwood. No, because Cotton Hill is incredibly racist, right? And greenskins are not like... Maybe Cotton has some dwarf energy, actually, right? Like Cotton Hill. Like, the dwarves are pretty racist, and they, well, I don't know. They also like and work with humans, but their hatred of elves is definitely, Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's afraid to fight attack speed enjoyer. Anybody's welcome to join, guys. Anybody's welcome to join. Nobody wants any of this smoke. I'm surprised because there was people messaging me to get in, and I told them first come first serve. So, we will see. We will see. Attack speed enjoyer may just be the king of the hill today. I don't know. We'll find out. The show only reveals Boomhauer as a Texas Ranger in the original series finale. I didn't know that actually. Yeah, that's just so funny. So I'm more of a dwarf enjoyer. If I had to choose between dwarves and elves, I'm definitely more of a dwarf enjoyer. Okay. Hobo, let's see here. So let me message Hobo. Yo. So let's give it another 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah. Maybe 5 minutes. Then... Okay, let's see here. How are we going to do this? Perfect. So we're going to give it another couple minutes. I know. Well, I saw the Hobo come back. We're going to give it another like 5 minutes, and if nobody else joins that hasn't already played, then we can have Hobo come back, and that will just be the final battle for the King of the Hill. Because they both have 3, so it would be fine. And then from there, we could just play some ladder games or something else. Yeah, Marco, well, I just got back from Europe, so I'm on a bit of a different sleep schedule. I've been trying to go to bed earlier. Hey, Pizu's here. All right, so we do have a challenger here, which is good. All right, outstanding. And let's go ahead and pick their factions now. So we got Pizu, and we're going to go ahead and do King of the Hill. So let's go here. Spin the old wheel of doom, and let's see what they get. So it's going to be the vampire counts for Pizu versus... Give me Nurgle. Give me Nurgle. We want it. Oh, High Elves is also fun. Okay. Ooh, that was close. That was almost Warriors of Chaos. Wow. Okay, so it's going to be High Elves or vampire counts versus High Elves. So... We're going to get, Pizu is on, is he player 1? For you. And then player 2, Attack Speed Enjoyer, is going to be playing High Elves. For you. All right, should be fun. So we got Vampire Counts versus High Elves here today. Now, understandably, guys, don't judge the players too harshly because they're being forced to play factions they often don't know how to play. And sometimes one player might get like their main and another player is going to get wrecked, right? Yeah, Templar Knight. That'll probably be tomorrow. We'll probably do a Warcraft stream tomorrow. We'll see. Oh yeah. What faction would Peggy be? Ooh, I don't know. Bretonia? The lady? I don't know. Hard to say. Okay. I wonder if Pizu knows how to play this. He has Khorne as his picture. You know, in previous King of the Hills, I've given players one reroll. So if they don't like the faction they get, they can reroll once, but then they're forever set to play that next faction. So maybe we'll bring that back. I think the reroll system could be good. Like if you get a really bad matchup, like at least you can reroll out of it, you know? It's an idea. Who's more evil, Dark Elves or Drukhari? Probably the Drukhari. The Dark Eldar are pretty sadistic. I mean, Dark Elves are also, but I think that 40k kind of takes everything to another level. Yeah, Drukhari is like a formal name for the Dark Eldar. Yeah, Dark Eldar, the experiments they do and the like, all their that stuff's pretty foul. Peggy is an Iron Hill gunner. Yeah. Whatever's the most arrogant of the Order factions? That'd be the High Elves probably. Yeah, the High Elves definitely have a superiority complex. It's like ingrained in their lore. Yeah. So, I think we're good. More rerolls in Warhammer. Oh, yeah, we were going to do a different map. That's right. I forgot to change it. So, we'll do the Crystal Lake. Or we could do the... Let's do the classic Imperial Road. We'll do Imperial Road here. So, that's going to be the map. Dark Eldar are definitely worse than Dark Elves. Yeah, I think so. Drukhari are somewhat... But out of necessity. Okay, interesting. Hank would probably... Oh, Bright Wizard, yeah, because he cooks things. Yeah, that's right. Maybe... But Hank doesn't really have the personality of like a wizard type. That's the only thing. So if we're like assigning them all Empire characters, Hank would probably be, he's kind of the leader of the crew, right? Hank would be like the general of the Empire. Yeah, Dale would probably be a witch hunter. Bill would be like the loyal, I don't know what Bill would be if we were, maybe a warrior priest, right? Yeah, he's bald and he's like kind of like husky. Yeah, he'd be like a warrior priest. And then Boomhauer in the Empire could be a mage. You know, he's got the incantations. When he's talking, you don't know what he's saying. It could be wizard speak. Hank would be Theodore Bruckner. Hell yeah, such a cool character. Are there barbers? Yeah, are there barbers in the Empire Army? I'm sure there is. Have you seen the mustaches on the Empire troopers? Of course, you know they have some barbers in the Empire. Those are like some fancy haircuts. And facial trimmings as well. Mordheim, I have not played it, but I've seen it being played. I really want to get into Mordheim. If I had somebody near me who was interested, I'd be super down. Hank is a steam tank, but it looks like a lawnmower. Yeah. Bill would be the barber. Yes. Oh, Caiaphas Cain from 40k. Yeah. I haven't read those books. I haven't honestly read a lot of 40k books. The ones I've read, though, the Black Legion series is really good. That one's really fun. Like the Rise of the Black Legion and all those kind of, when Abaddon fights the Clone of Horus and stuff. There's a lot of neat stuff. The Thousand Sons books, I read those, the ones that show the fall of Prospero from from the perspective of the Thousand Sons. Yeah, but the Black Legion series is so good because you get the perspective is told by like a Thousand Sun sorcerer who's joined the Black Legion, and it's really fun. Yeah. Yeah, Mordheim is on the computer too, right? Yeah, I've seen Mordheim being played. There's a couple guys down in LA at the store I play at that they go pretty hard. They have like a full table, like that's just a giant city full of like high quality terrain. But yeah, it's not like super popular. I don't see a ton of people playing it, but Mordheim's pretty sick. I played the more balanced competitive fan remakes of it, but they lose something compared to the original. Yeah, I can see that. I wanted to make a Chaos Dwarf warband because the fan made version of Mordheim actually has a Chaos Dwarf warband, which is pretty fun. Bobby and Joseph would be Gotrek and Felix. Is Bobby Gotrek? Yeah, Mordheim doesn't seem like a competitive game. I mean, I'm sure any game can be taken to the competitive, right? But yeah. What's the consensus for the Skulls event? I mean, I would be super stoked for Dawn of War 4. Like, I was so hyped for Dawn of War 3, and then when they just abandoned it, I was so sad. I mean, understandably, probably not a lot of people were playing it, so it didn't make sense financially, but I was really excited to get, like, Chaos and frickin' Necrons and stuff in Dawn of War 3 back in the day. Yeah, I will give the JP, I will give that a chance at some point, the Trench Crusade game. My buddy and I were planning on printing out some of the armies and giving it a whirl. I just like painting minis too, so having an excuse to do a new like force or army would be fun. Wartime tabletop, the rules were a little bit rough, you're saying? Yeah, the flavor of it looks great though. The Warhammer Fantasy Universe is so fun. I love it so much. It just takes like all the tropes from it takes all the good tropes from most fantasy universes and mixes them together in tandem with like real life stuff, like cultural influence and I just love that. Like, the Empire is like the Holy Roman Empire, and, it's great. It's fun. Necrons are fun and pretty easy to paint, too. Yeah, they're a great faction for beginners, the Necrons, in terms of, like, beginner hobbyists. But also, there's a lot of skill expression on painting them as well. Like, if you're more advanced, like, you can do a lot of shine and light reflection and glowing effects from the green weaponry. It's awesome. Biggest problem with DAO 3 is we got no chaos. Yeah, I think it's a big mistake to launch you got to launch with chaos. Chaos is like the bad guy in all the Warhammer universes, right? You got to launch with some chaos action. Oh yeah, they killed Byzantium in the Trench Crusade. Oh yeah, well yeah, keeping it consistent. So vampire counts versus high elves in Warhammer 2, like friggin' 5 years ago, whatever it was. 3.5 years ago, give or take. Definitely was favored for high elves, but vampire count players have evolved. There's been tons of patches between then and now, so times are a little bit different. So we'll see what's cooking. Good luck, have fun to these mighty champions, and I want to thank you guys all for joining today. If Attack Speed Enjoyer wins this, then he will take the lead for the King of the Hill. And we will have a little bit more time. We'll probably have time for one more challenger to challenge him after this who hasn't played. And if that person can beat him, then they will get the chance to play up until they lose. So they can potentially pass him. So, yeah, even if you don't like Chaos, like I think like every Warhammer game should launch with Chaos. Like, it's just... Like, I think I understand where some of these companies come from. They're like, oh, well, we have Space Marines, and we launch with Chaos. It's going to be just too many Space Marines. But, like, you need it. It's just, you need it, Yeah, we could do some FFAs. Probably, I might even play some 1v1s myself. I'm getting the itch a little bit, guys. All right, so taking a look at this build. Very, very similar to the builds we've been seeing from Maximilian here, right? With the Master Necromancer from Pizu. And it's going to be using Gaze from Dagash for sniping and double summon, so you can raise 2 Pockets of the Dead on top of archers. We got Graveguard into the Sunset, zombies and skeletons with a little bit of a diving force. So we do have some Black Knights. These guys are designed for diving archers and shocking down light infantry. And we do have a Black Coach, which against High Elves is also decent against their armored infantry. So I like the build so far from Pizu. Again, a lot of it's going to come down to piloting. Is he going to be able to, avoid all the arrow fire and not get his stuff sniped by the elves? We'll see. Justin asks, Turin, any chance for the table? The tabletop channel is on hold for now because I just simply don't have anybody near me to play with consistently. I have one of my really good friends lives near me. He's the only person I play with, but we play every couple weeks and he's pretty busy. So it wouldn't be enough to get consistent stuff out. So it's just not really worth it to invest in all the camera equipment and like, you know, all that stuff when I can barely, you know, get a game in once every 3 weeks. All right. Turin, can I live in your crawl space like a gremlin and come out and get snacks? Oh my god. So looking at the high elf army here, it is going to be Shadow Warriors. So Shadow Warriors are one of the coolest elf units in the game. They are freaking awesome looking, and they're pretty good at killing the lightly armored vampire count units like Corpse Guards and Crypt Horrors and things like that. And they're going to have the Heralds of the Wind with them as well. The rest of the army here is going to be Rangers and Spearmen, so pretty much a chaff-centric line for the elves. And when I say chaff, they're still pretty good quality. And it's going to be the ultimate nerd of Warhammer Fantasy. It's going to be Teclis, and he's got the Flock of Doom. He's got the Net of Amnitok, and he does also have his Pocket Protector. So he's going to be able to protect his pens. Have you guys ever seen one of those in the wild? Because I actually, when I was in high school in like 2002, 2003, I had a classmate who had a Pocket Protector. Like one of those like stereotypical things from the 80s, so where you have like your pens and it's like a little pen protector thing that you put in your like your shirt. I've actually seen them in the wild. I'd be curious if you guys have. So skirmishing is on. The Heralds of the Wind are being chased by the doggies. This is really dangerous though for attack speed enjoyer. The undead can take an angle of pursuit and maybe head him off and drop some dead. And then if you lose the Heralds of the Wind, they're a very expensive unit. So, but they're currently being hunted by some of the vampiric forces here. We do see the Dire Pack on the hunt, and the Shadow Warriors are protecting in the woods as well. But yeah, Black Knights could be a big issue. If the Black Knights are able to close the distance and get a charge on the Shadow Warriors here, that'd be really bad. But Teclis has nets, so you could drop a net on those Black Knights before anything bad happens, most likely. For the rest of the fighting, Objective 2 goes to the High Elves, Objective 3 goes to the High Elves, and the home objective, the Vampire Counts, has been taken by them as well. I did my duty and beat that nerd up. Oh my god. Brutal. So Heralds of the Wind being harried by the Dire Pack. They're very quick, those little hounds, and a lot of the expensive High Elf Cavalry are going to be paying the Troll Toll. Silverhelms have been called out. Silverhelms, of course, will be okay against Black Knights. A bit of an even fight, to be honest, if they just duke it out here. Teclis does have Flock of Doom to help turn the tide of that fight, and it does look like there is going to be a Zombie Summit activated. So blocking the Zombie Summit, or using the Zombie Summit to block the Silverhelms here, is a really good play, because now the High Elf Cav are isolated. So he engaged the Heralds of the Wind against these doggies because he assumed the Silverhelms were going to be able to get through and provide support. But that was a really, really just God tier play by Pizu. Then he does make a little bit of a blunder by diving his doggies in here. So it's back and forth, but overall, very, very fun stuff indeed. So firepower going into the Black Knights. Black Knights are going to be on the run. So 110 armor here as we do see the cavalry moving in and going after the Shadow Warriors. Plague of Rust activated, so that's going to lower their armor down to 50, which means that the basic archers will do a lot more damage against them. In the meantime, in the middle, the Vampire Counts are threatening the objective. It's back and forth, but Rangers will do a pretty good job against like chaff units. They have anti-infantry and pretty good stat lines. So you can see the Skeleton Spears are losing that fight pretty bad, right? But really, the epicenter of combat is here in the woods, and the Plague of Rust play is pretty MLG. I love to see it. So the Black Knights do actually get killed by the archers and by the Silverhelms because of the Plague of Rust, and we do see the Dire Pack folding up as well. So suddenly it kind of looks like the elves actually win that fight in the woods. They were losing it in the beginning with their losing the Heralds of the Wind, but they actually rallied and still have some battlefield presence. And then we saw Black Knights and maybe 2 or 3 Hound units go down there. So yeah, pretty neat stuff. All right, guys, so the High Elves are pulling back, feeling as if they're a little bit out of position, which makes sense. A massive portion of their army's over here, so they're very outgunned on this aspect of the battlefield, right? The Black Coach is basically just going balls deep and running over whatever it can. And the Black Coach is a unit that gets much stronger the longer it fights. So as this thing moves through and gets kills. Oh, the blessed number, 69. That's what she said. But it's going to get some kills here. So, yep, as it gets stronger, it builds up charges, right? So you can see it gets more weapon damage. It gets more ward save. And it gets vigor. So it's actually a pretty good unit after some of the buffs that it's gotten, right? So very neat stuff. But the vampires are on the push. And we do see the elves being pushed back a little bit. You know, they have this mobile army that's kind of trying to isolate pockets of the vampiric force, but it's had some success in the woods. Value trading favors attack speed enjoyer, but with healing, it's a little bit more equal. Now, Plague of Rust on the Königstein Stalkers is going to put them down to 20 armor, and then the archers are going to try and get them. To me, that doesn't feel like a super impactful play. I mean, they'll take a little bit of damage here, but yeah, we'll have to see. So there comes Teclis with the Fiery Convocation. It's a spell that takes like 45 minutes to cast, but if he gets that timing, that's going to be impressive. And here comes the Phoenix. It's going to go through some of them. Is it? Oh, nice. So that actually did a hell of a lot of damage against the Sternsman. Damn, what a nice cast right there, dude. Beautiful stuff. Nailing the HP off those units. And now on the backside, we do see some Fireborn coming in. So the Elves are being pressured hard, so they're going to call it a counter-punching unit. Now, Fireborn are pretty bad against, not bad, but against infantry, they're okay. They want to be fighting Cryptors and enemy cavalry, but yeah, Skeleton Spears isn't really an ideal target for them. But we're going to see what kind of damage they can get. So the Vampire Counts are threatening to steal this objective. And for the Elves, they're really playing a style that's kind of like, I'm going to go for the late game victory. I'm going to let you have all the objectives earlier. Well, not let you, but they're going to yield the objectives earlier so that they can value trade and win later on. We'll have to see. So big charges coming in from the Fireborn. Fireborn get a beautiful charge into the Skeleton Spearmen right here. And the Vargeist are now coming across to try and intercept and dive on the Fireborn, which is okay. They would probably lose, but they would do good damage. Like, you would want to dive the Vargeist onto the Fireborn if you had some support, like bats or zombies or skeletons or something like that on the ground, right? So potentially an option. Now, looking around the battlefield and the fighting, we do see the Shadow Warriors down here putting some hurt down on the Master Necromancer. Going for a snipe, actually. So the Master Necromancer does get caught in a net. He responds by using the Net of Ammontok, but a very cunning, evil wizard. He hides behind the Elven units, which means the line of sight was a bit of a problem because the Elven archers do not want to shoot their homies. But now they're shooting, but he's already free now, so the timing of that was a little bit tough. A little bit tough indeed. So pulling down are the Silver Helms and the Fireborn, but the Vampire Counts are cackling all over the objectives right now. It looks like Attack Speed Enjoyer having some, excuse me, some serious problems getting in and getting his objectives back. The Corpse Guard being shot. This is a good, really, really good target priority. So get all your Shadow Warriors and all your Archers and focus down the Corpse Guards. Those are really the bastion of a lot of Vampire Count armies, like giving healing and stats, and yeah, it's nasty. So Fireborn folding up some of the zombies here, but now we get the Dire Pack coming in. This is what I'm talking about. This is when the Fireborn have a really bad time. But, you know, not Pizu, but Attack Speed Enjoyer could also get this. But look at that. Another flank coming from the high ground. And, dude, this is so bad for the Fireborn because they're being attacked by the anti-large dogs and by the Vargeist in the front. So this is a freaking disaster and a half, guys. It does look like the Vampire Counts are starting to take over the game. You know, getting a beautiful pick back here and just, like, wrecking these units is so freaking good. Because Fireborn are incredibly expensive. And this build of Attack Speed Enjoyer is not using any healing. Normally you would see, like, a regrowth or something like that to heal up the Elven units, but yeah, not looking super hot. The Black Coach is also going balls deep in the backfield, so running over a bunch of these Shadow Warriors and getting that bread. It's certainly not bad at all. So we're going to have to see where it goes next. Looks like it is going to be targeting the Mage, but yeah, maybe the Archers are going to be able to take that thing down. But yeah, Fireborn do get crushed. But, you know, honestly, a really good fight by them. They still almost killed the Vargeist unit, despite the fact that they were heavily outgunned there. A testament to how strong they are. They still get 800 value there. Fiery Convocation activated. Nice one right there. Look at that. Man, hits the zombies, hits the Konigstein Stalkers, and the Tithe. That was really good. Those casts have been very, very nice. Vargeist Dire Pack sandwich is juicy. It really is. So in the backfield, we see another net going down. So the Black Coach does get netted, and this would be a big win for the Elves because they certainly need a win. The Vampires have a ton of healing, and the Elves don't really have any healing in their build, even though they can bring it. But that means the value, which you see right now, which is very close, is going to massively favor the Vampire Counts because they've been healing too. So they're mitigating a lot of the Elven value. Back objective still in by the Counts. We do see a couple Rangers being called in. The Giga Chad Fireborn with their massive dongs still fighting here, but are going to be finished off by the Black Knights and dragged down by Legions of the Dead. So the Army of Darkness is here, and the Fireborn are going to meet their end at the hands of those undead. On this objective, we do have the Sternsmen as well as the Tithe, two of the more difficult units in the game to kill. Not the Tithe, but the Sternsmen are. Archers are still saturating in, getting a little bit of damage here, but it's not like Teclis is a really, really impactful combat character that's going to be able to pull the game back. It's, you know, for anyone coming from Warcraft 3, it's like a high-level Blade Master. You know, even if you're behind, can still carry you and win the game. Teclis is not able to do that. More of a supporting piece. All right, so the Corpse Guard is still going. Yeah, not too much damage being taken. And on the backfield, the Elves look really pushed back. Currently, we see Pizu is up hugely on points. Currently going to be sitting at 971 against 365. So very, very clean Vampire Count play, to be honest. Normally, I don't know what the meta is for Elves against Vampires. I think more monsters. I think you sometimes see Phoenixes and Dragons in this matchup, but yeah, we didn't see any of those big monsters, which could of course have been big bullies, like breath attacks on the Sternsmen, and the Black Coach and the Corpse Guards could be sniped very quickly too. But very fun. I love Shadow Warriors. I think they're really, really neat. But yeah, definitely want to get them on the Vargeist. Vargeist do get a big info. Teclis riding around on his nerdy horse, and over here we do see some Elven Spearmen being finished off by some Hounds and Zombies. More Cav coming in, so it's going to be Black Knights for the Vampire Counts, and looking over here at the Elves, we do see a Cullen in the back, and it is going to be some Heralds of the Wind, which really are not going to be able to get her done. It's not going to be nice. So diving in are the Vargeist. Vargeist able to rip and tear versus the Shadow Warriors, and ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to put Attack Speed Enjoyer not out of the running, but he's going to be tied for first now. So Pizu, the Vampire Count player, is now going to have the opportunity to grind until he potentially beats Attack Speed Enjoyer and Hobo Honkers. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to pull that off. The elves, I mean, are they getting any ground in the middle? We do see the Black Knights here. Yeah, they're actually killing Teclis. Teclis is very low. He does use a net to try and escape here, but he's at 1900 HP, definitely being drained very heavily. And the Vampire Count's still cackling on the back objective. The Stearnsmen this one infantry unit, the Stearnsmen could probably take down like 3 or 4 ranger units. They're one of the best anti-infantry units in the entire game. Their insane melee defense and anti-infantry and passive healing they have is just so foul. We have a couple golems coming in as well, so it's going to be the gremlin golems. So the golems are going to be trying to fight the high elves. And they will lose the rangers head-to-head, but with healing and support, they can actually win that. And it does look like the Master Necromancer is going to be there to support. And remember the Corpse Cart, this like little buff station, it gives big buffs. So it's going to be giving passive healing. And with that, Pizu is going to be taking over the King of the Hill spot. All right, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the 3-hour mark, which is the cutoff for the King of the Hill. So now Pizu can keep playing games until they either beat the score of one of the King of the Hill players or they lose, and then they're eliminated. So we're going to see how this goes. So we're going to update the King of the Hill. Somebody wanted black coach value. It is 1600, so pretty good, actually. All right. So Pizu is going to be the King of the Hill here, and that's with 1. Outstanding. And now we have a tie for... So we're gonna shorten it up. We're gonna do hobo / attack speed. Okay. There we go. Advanced graphic design skills. I'm sure you guys missed this. It's been a couple years since we've summoned my graphic design. Here we go. Okay, so Pizu is the current king, and yeah, he's gonna have a chance to get in there and win it all. So now we have the Shaper of Fate, another great player, and we're gonna do the Dunes of Cain. It's gonna be the map. And let's roll those factions. All right. Rolling, 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 rolling. All right. So we remove high elves. We need to remove high elves. And vampire counts. There we go. And let's spin the wheel. GG, well played. Okay. So Chaos Dwarves for player 1. Let's frickin' go. And player 2 is going to be Bretonnia. That's fun. That's a fun matchup. Definitely chore favored, but it's winnable for Bretonnia if you use the Green Knight. No, you got it. You got it. It's Bretonnia versus Chaos Dwarves versus Bretonnia. Okay. So, yeah, I don't have copy that. So Pizu is going to be Chorfs for you, and then his opponent is going to be Bretonnia. Shaper of Fate. Yeah, Shaper of Fate, you're Bretonnia, so hopefully you're listening to the stream. Yes, just bring the Green Knight. You'll be fine. There you go. You be all right. Let's get it. Hey, Tito, thank you so much for resubscribing on Twitch. Thank you so much. And a wild birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Puling. Happy birthday, Misha. Is it time? Yeah, oh shit, it is, yeah. Happy birthday. Just barely, though, right? Like, as of, 13 minutes ago? Happy birthday. I would sing it, but my voice is a little bit dead, so. All right. Yeah, the Green Knight is a problem. He's very, very strong. Happy birthday there. That's right. Let's freaking go. Hope it was a good one. 13 minutes ago. Ancient. No. Are you suffering vampiric crumbling right now? We've all been there. Anna and I talk about that all the time. Yeah. Well, mostly, I think I complain more about the aches and pains of aging than she does. She's more resilient there. How you feel it? Happy birthday. Happy birthday indeed. That's a big one. Have you tried No, I haven't tried that engine, so I have no idea what that is. Yeah. So Chorfs versus Bretonnia is definitely very good for... Shaper of Fate wants to just bring probably Green Knight with, Henri Le Massif and maybe Fey Enchantress, and just use Chalice of Potions to bombard the guns and the 2 characters to hunt the trains. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, again, happy birthday. We're here for you. And hopefully this will be an entertaining one. I blundered the Green Knight and he walks out with 2k value. Yeah, he's insane. It's not my birthday yet. Pretty soon, actually. A little bit less than 2 months. And there we go. I feel it's in the air. That reminds me, when you said, like, when I mentioned your birthday and you said I feel it, that reminds me of that scene from Lord of the Rings with Galadriel. She's like, I can feel it in the air. Remember the whole thing where she's like feeling the change in the world? Yeah, it's funny. Okay, so Chorfs. Hopefully we get some cool units. This map does have weird dunes, so direct fire shooting can be problematic here, so that is nice for Bretonia. Archers can function well. I actually don't know what the meta looks like here. On an open field map, like flat map, I would know how to do this. It would just be like mass Chorf warrior spam with like great weapons backed up by like fire glaives, and you're just cackling, you know? Bretonia really struggles. Yeah, they struggle. What's that, guys? All right. It's Chowie time. Is it going to be Astrogoth Zulahu, or is it going to be the Bale Taurus Lord? Probably the Bale Taurus Lord. He's so meta. And I like to go Bale Taurus Lord with the Final Transmutation. It's pretty disgusting. Because then if the Bretonia brings the Hero Blob, you just trash can them. Yeah. Uh-oh. You've been called out, Colin. You're in trouble. Okay, so it's Chaos Dwarves versus Bretonia here. And the match should be starting in the next 2 or 3 minutes. My back finally caved when I turned 40. Yeah. I feel pretty decent. You know, I'm 36. None of the aches and pains I have now are honestly that drastically different than my late 20s. Maybe a little bit. He says, hey, I heard about you from Grubby, and 40K always look cool, but where do I start? So this L7, this game is not 40K. This is the fantasy version of Warhammer. So it takes place in like a fantastical setting. If you're interested in that, I can definitely talk you up. Or are you, wait, oh, you're talking about 40K like tabletop. Oh, okay. So do you want to play tabletop 40K? Do you want to play this game? Like, which one do you specifically want me to answer? Because I can give you a lot of info on both of those topics. And if you're looking for 40K PC games, I can also give you recommendations as well. No, don't save him from tabletop, dude. He's coming to the dark side. It's too late. He's already embraced us. Nurgle's rot will spread soon. Yeah, give me a little more info, one of us. That's right. He'll move to Cali just to play tabletop with me. That's right. See? The Total War series. Okay, so are you interested in the fantasy setting, or are you just waiting for, you know, are you just waiting for a new like Dawn of War game? Or yeah, because they are different universes, but they're, you know, it has similar elements. You have like Nurgle and Tzeentch and Khorne and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, answer that, and then I'll get back to you. Yeah, we do have a tabletop section in our Discord. It's not super active, but you know, people hang there. Nurgle's rot will cause the bank to decay. Yeah. Yeah, 40K is just extreme sci-fi. It's like all the sci-fi tropes taken to the extreme. Yeah. Whereas this is all the fantasy tropes taken to the extreme. Are you a Kree enjoyer? Yeah, the Deathcore of Kree looks really cool. If I could choose any Imperial Guard army to make in tabletop, for me, number one, it would probably be the Kadishan Jungle Fighters, followed up by Kree, and then the Cadians would be like the order I would be interested in. The Kadishans are just so funny and ridiculous and awesome. Like, just, I would literally like 3D print little cigars for all their mouths and just like have squads of Arnolds running around, which was so great. Yeah. The best way to get into fantasy lore would probably be to read the Gotrek and Felix books. So Cratius, there's a lot of great YouTube channels that cover fantasy lore, so you can, you know, obviously look those up. I don't have any particular recommendations. I really like Book of Troyer. He's a great fun. Of course, Sotek does some great stuff too. But yeah, you could do the Gotrek and Felix books. Yeah, the Gotrek and Felix books. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, if you want to get into this game, are you getting into campaign or multiplayer? Because I'll tell you two very different things. If you want to play the multiplayer aspect of this game, which is what we do on this channel, I would tell you one thing. But if you want to do campaign, I would tell you completely something different. So I just need a little bit more direction, and I can give you your answers, brother. Okay. One sec here. Let's do this. Yeah, that's why. That's the only reason I haven't collected Imperial Guard in tabletop is because it's such an like they're so disgustingly expensive. Like all the tanks you need to fill out your army and all the kits you need. Oh, dude, these stupid desyncs today, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, so it's Pizu and Shaper Fate. Okay. It happens very sparsely, but it does happen from time to time. Rejoin, please. Same armies. All right. Yeah, the catechins would be really fun to paint. Although painting, like, my worst skill set in Warhammer in general, like hobbying, I'm a pretty good painter, like okay painter. I can do tabletop standard really well with a couple like basic details after that, like highlights and things like that. But I cannot for the life of me paint human eyes. Like chaos eyes are easy. You just do like glowing fire, you know, right? Shaper Fate, go ahead and rejoin. Your name doesn't match. Yeah, your name in game doesn't match your Discord name, so I'm trying to message you, but Shaper, let's get you back in there, boss. Yep, and the map we were going to do is the Kane, Dunes of Kane. Okay. So, isn't campaign better for noobs like me? Yeah. Yeah, but some people don't have interest in single player, right? So, I absolutely recommend campaign. What kind of style do you like? Do you like shooting? Like defensive gunline armies? Do you want to play like aggressive Unga Bunga? Do you want to play a faction that's really well rounded and kind of a jack of all trades? Like what's your favorite faction from Warcraft 3, for example? And I can give you directions, but regardless, yeah, campaign is a good starting spot. It teaches you the basics. It's extremely forgiving. So I would recommend campaign for beginners if you want to like enjoy just dying here all the aspects of the game, right? Yeah. But I think good beginner factions, I'm a huge fan of the Empire. I think the Empire is the best way to dive into the universe, but they're also very hard to play in multiplayer. So it depends on your like intent. But Empire is extremely fun and flavorful. I think they have one of the best campaigns in the entire game. So you would need game one for that. And yeah, I think the Empire campaign is so epic. It's like you're defending the Empire of Man against constant incursions of like vampires and orcs, and like it's so freaking good. Norska is also really good for beginners because they're extremely simplistic to play. Khorne is a very beginner-friendly faction. It's literally just kill, maim, and burn. You don't really need to use much tactics. It's just kind of like see an enemy, go steamroll them. It's like Khorne is a great one to play as well. Yeah. You have a platoon of catechins? Hell yeah, dude. I love painting minis, but my posture is so bad while doing it ends up killing your back. Yeah, my wife says the same thing because she kind of hunches over when she paints to really get in there, but yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Khorne is good for starters, Julian, but the problem with telling people to start on Khorne is it doesn't teach you how to use magic. Like, magic is a huge part of this game. Like, most factions except Dwarves and Khorne have it. But yeah, so much info, yeah. Yeah, in L7, join our Discord, and people will answer your questions all freaking day there. And on top of that, you can join the Discord, and you can shoot me a DM as well. And, you know, I'm going to probably go get food after the stream, but when I get back later, I can answer your questions. I'm more than happy to answer your questions directly. It'll be easier than here, you know, with all the chaos that's going on. So don't be shy, my friend. I use a standing desk for regular for gaming, but not for painting. Yeah. All right. Oh, is Hank Hill a Chaos Dwarf because of the propane accessories and the propane engines? Oh, maybe. Yeah, the Karl Franz campaign would be the one I would recommend to everybody. It's so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the battle. It is going to be the Chaos Dwarves, the Dowie Tsar, and they have an army of Chaos Dwarf warriors, so obviously going to be some rank and file. And against Bretonnia, you never want to leave home without Infernal Guard Fireglaves. These guys are so good against Bretonnia because they can shoot you from range, and if you get close to them with cavalry, they do have anti-large halberd attacks. The Chaos Dwarves are also a really good one to learn, but their campaign's slightly more complicated. But I recommend Chaos Dwarves for beginners too because they're stalwart, but also super flavorful and fun. Yep, Hobgoblins with Chaos Dwarves, and we do have a Death Freak rocket launcher, which is quite good against Bretonian single entity, so this thing's going to be sitting downtown. My tabletop army runs two of these, actually. I like them a lot. They're very fun. We got a Sorcerer Prophet of Metal, Final Transmutation to punish character blobs. What's not to love? Pizu does also have some skirmishers, so he's got Hobgoblin Wolf Riders with bows, and they're going to be, fighting on the points here. For the Bretonnian army, you do have mounted yeomen, so 2 light cavalry, and the only reason you bring this is to chase enemy skirmish cav and to grab the objectives quickly. So that's going to basically be it. And the rest of the Bretonians, which are basically fantasy French people, are going to be bringing foot squires. So foot squires are designed to cut through armored dwarves, and the rest in the front are going to be chaff-centric. A Grail Relique to keep the troops fighting. We have Felix and Rapunzel. Rapunzel is actually good in a couple matchups. She has a really brutal aura. Oh, please tell me you brought the banner. Okay, that's the best part about her, is the Fleur de Lis banner. So when she's fighting in combat, she's going to be giving plus 10 melee defense and plus 8 melee attack. It's really, really nice as well. So the battle is on, ladies and gentlemen, and they're going to be moving on up. Are there nukes in this game? Yes, there are. The Skaven in campaign literally have a nuclear bomb ability. And it's like, the radius of it is like this. So if you dropped it like here, it would hit like this whole area and just obliterate whatever is over there. Yeah. All right, guys. So Chaos Dwarves grab the outside objective with their mobility, so they're able to get that right out of the gates. And, the game plan for the Chaos Dwarves is very, very simpler. Simple. Jeez, brain needs to work. Unga bunga. First Deathstreak rocket launcher shot's going to be a swing and a miss, but basically you just line up your army like this. You fight for objective 3, you fight for objective 2, and you can even ignore the outside objective and just let Bretonnia have that, This is a total tavern map. All the maps we've used on stream are going to be maps that the community has made. Because they're very good. They're more designed for They're better. They're designed by people who play in tournaments, so they're better usually for multiplayer. Some of the CA maps are good, but in general, the CA maps look really nice, but they're not always balanced. Yeah, absolutely. Waka Waka has designed a lot of the maps, but we also have a lot of other map makers as well. All right, guys, the battle is now on, and it's going to be Hobgoblins versus Men-at-Arms here, and we do see the first rocket launcher shot dropping a fat, hot, steaming load on the face of the Foot Squires here. Only killing 2 models, but doing some good HP damage. The Bale Taurus character is in here. A little bit of a micro blunder by Shaper of Fate. He's just kind of standing here with these 3 characters. He needs to get them in. He's trying to get the capture weight and steal the objective, which I completely understand, but he needs to get those characters active and get them cutting through some armor. In the meantime, the Sorcerer Prophet is going to be causing big problems here. I have this exact model in tabletop. It looks so freaking cool. And he drops a fat bombardment there. Is going to be nailing some of the Foot Squires as well as the Men-at-Arms right there, so he is able to force them back. On the backside, the rocket launcher is shooting spray fire into the Foot Squires here, although honestly I'd probably use it to shoot at Felix. And now Rapunzel and Felix Jaeger, the heroes of Bretonnia, are going to be moving in, and these Hobgoblins are going to get absolutely annihilated. Yeah, they're going to be getting absolutely wrecked. So the Karate Chop going down to the Hobgoblins, they're going to be breaking in a moment, while the Bale Taurus character feeling as if he needs to go into the backfield here to shut down some of the archers. So Bretonnia does have an archer position here, and here, which are doing fine. The Chaos Dwarves do have their gun line shooting at the Foot Squires here, so these are one of the coolest looking units in the game. I also run a brick of 20 of these in tabletop, super fun. They're not like super good in tabletop, but they look rad. But yeah, Fireglaves, they can pound infantry and cavalry. Definitely you want them shooting at bigger targets, but you can see they are putting a lot of hurt down into the Foot Squires. Now Foot Squires would normally beat this unit. Like 1-to-1 a Dwarf Warrior would lose to a Foot Squire, but the guns and shooting them in the back was just too much damage. So having this like mobile gun station back here in the backfield is so freaking good. So collecting Chorfs in tabletop isn't hard, actually. There's a lot of good like files out there you can just 3D print and. Oh my God, the warfare! He's using World War I modern warfare tactics. Oh, the rockets, red glare coming down from the Deathstreakers right there, and those Men-at-Arms get absolutely crushed. Holy shit! All right, so objective number 3 belongs to the Chaos Dwarfs. Outside objective belongs to the Chorfs as well. Bretonnia has managed to wrestle the middle, and now we see one of the cooler units in the game coming in, the Iron Demon. So the Iron Demon is here, and it's rolling, blasting some Limp Bizkit as it goes, and the Bretonnian's going to be calling in Questing Knights, so these are mounted knights that have good armor-piercing values to try and hunt that thing down. And you can see they actually have almost killed it. The Iron Demon is at about half health, so the Bretonnian Knights and the Halberdiers were able to get some big, big damage there. That was the money shot right there, it was. So I love the Fireglaive as like a rotating platform. It's so nice. The Chaos Dwarves have a good hold on objective 3 with some Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Hobgoblins. And the Fireglaive's going to be rotating towards the middle to try and see what they can snipe. Bretonnia on the backside calling in Trebuchets. So calling in some... The Trebuchets are a good answer against Fireglaives. It takes a while to kill them, but it does give you pressure on them. So having the Bretonnian Trebuchets to launch, I think, is going to be incredibly nice. So we will see what they can do. All right, so on this side, we do see Uranan's Thunderbolt coming down. He's going to be trying to snipe the Deathstreaker. And I think he's using the wrong spell. Let me check. He's using Uranus Thunderbolt. I don't know why that missed. That looked like it was kind of a direct hit. Kind of a weird thing there, but regardless. The Fireglaves are going to start mowing down a lot of the Bretonnians on the middle objective, and on top of that, we do get these guys being called in. So these are Bull Centaur Renders. They're an anti-large specialist. They're designed to kill enemy cavalry and monsters. So most likely going to be able to head it off. He's bringing them in to protect the Iron Demon, because this Demon train for the Chaos Dwarves, which is really cool, it has a machine gun in the front, was getting wrecked by the cavalry. But now that the big bulls are on parade, they're going to be able to wreck these guys. Now the counter to these units for Bretonnia would be peasant spear, or basically men-at-arms with spears, or peasant archers just shooting them. They would get wrecked pretty bad by that over time, but that's usually what you would do. So the Companions of Quinelles are back. We do see a Chalice of Potions being used, so that was a Bretonnian bombardment right here. And the Mounted Yeomen trying to sneak back here and get the Deathstreak rocket launcher, but they're immediately intercepted by some defending Bull Centaur Renders back here. So that's going to be very, very rough. Oh, the bonks. The bonketing is happening. Yeah, Mounted Yeomen are literally like scout light cavalry, so it's going to be a bad time for them. But Pizu is definitely winning this game, but, you know, really well played to Shaper of Fate. He said he doesn't know how to play Bretonnia, so he's, you know, playing a very, very skilled opponent here on a faction he doesn't really know how to play, and is putting up quite an excellent fight, actually. But now it looks like the time of the Chorfs is upon us. In the backfield, we do see the Bull Centaurs getting back there and doing work. More Yeomen called out. Yeomen will be able to beat Hobgoblin Archers, that's for sure. And this Demon Train, though, is causing a lot of havoc. It doesn't seem like there's any great tools for the Bretonnians to deal with it. Rapunzel is in the middle. She's on foot, so she's like not really able to chase it down. This is where you need the Green Knight. You know, Bretonnia with the Green Knight would be able to kill that thing easy. Just chase it and kill it. And would be able to endure against a Sorcerer Prophet since they don't do magic damage, which is also a bit strange. But the Field Trebuchet is going to get attacked, and the Bull is on parade once again, going to be landing and crushing some of the crew and destroying one of the Trebuchets on impact. You know, this for all the problems this game has, it has some of the most beautiful animations and attacks. It looks so freaking good. And he's going to be conjuring up some Searing Doom as he continues to gore these peasants back here. The Demon Train coming in, and basically the entire backfield position for Bretonnia is going to be routed and killed. So these guys, when they reach the edge of the map, of course, are going to be gone in just a second. All right, so outside objective belongs to the Chaos Dwarves, and so does objective 1. The middle objective is owned by Bretonnia. But that's not going to be able to win them the game. You know, Bretonnia is going to need a couple more points, and I think that the Fireglaves being online is a big problem as well. Rapunzel is a beast, though. She's going to be able to wreck these dwarves. I mean, she's a great weapon fighter, really, really powerful, but I think she's just a little bit outmatched. And the problem is the Baeltor's character can come back and just kill her, probably. If he returns back to the battle, you know, he's cost like literally 3 times what she costs. He can come back there and give her the biz. Oh, another huge rocket right there, guys. Nasty stuff. The Swift Squires get roasted by a rocket, and then they get a breath attack from the Baeltor's. Baeltor's over there flying, looking like a happy little bull right there. And the rockets, yep, still dropping it like it's hot. Chaos Dwarf Warriors going to be clashing with Foot Squires. And like I said, normally this would favor the Foot Squires since they are a great weapon unit, but the Dwarf Warriors here, oh, the rockets, the Chaos Dwarves. So that's not quite lore accurate. The Chaos Dwarves wouldn't risk shooting their fellow Chaos Dwarves, maybe. They're extremely, you know, if it were like orcs or goblin laborers or unpaid interns as we call them, yes, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's out of their control, right? Like when you shoot a Deathstreak rocket launcher on tabletop, it scatters at a random direction, so yeah, it's tricky. But this game looks pretty over. Like we see Bretonnia is really stuffed back here. They're not even able to really escape their spawn zone. We do see some Questing Knights coming out, but you don't want Questing Knights here. What you want are Knights of the Realm. Knights of the Realm are anti-large fighters, and they would probably kill the Bull Centaurs or trade very effectively here, but overall, you're just kind of feeding the Bull Centaur something that they kind of counter, and there is going to be another Searing Doom right here. So there they go, right there. All right, nice little bombardment. Questing Knight's getting absolutely obliterated, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Shaper of Fate tap out here soon. He only really has a little bit of fight left on him in the middle with his characters and whatnot, but he has no answers for those big threats. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves do have a Slayer equivalent. They're called the Infernal Guard. So basically, these are Chaos Dwarf Warriors, but their more elite infantry are called the Infernal Guard, and they wear these masks that are like basically like, they're not like made of molten lava, but they're like extremely, it's like a furnace, and it like literally scars and mutilates the Chaos Dwarf's like faces, and they like kind of melds with their face a little bit. But the difference between the Chaos Dwarf Slayers or the equivalent of Slayers and the Infernal Guard is that with the Infernal Guard, you can be redeemed. So when you join the Infernal Guard, if you complete like acts of glory for the Chaos Dwarves and Hashut, their god, you can be brought back into society and not be a pariah anymore. So you can take the mask off eventually and be reintegrated into society. Whereas with Slayers, it's a permanent thing. It's like you have to, it's like to the end. So it's a different thing, actually, yeah. Kind of a fun juxtaposition between them, right? Like, who would have thought the Chaos Dwarves would be more progressive with reforming their people than the Dwarves, right? But they kind of are in a way. Both are heavy metal as hell, so super. I'll show you some Infernal Guard after this. All right, guys. So moving up are the Mounted Yeomen, but they're going to be okay. That's a lot of Hobgoblins. I mean, they'll get a nice charge and do some impact damage, but in sustained combat, the Hobgoblins will be able to prison shank them. So you can see it's just a numbers game. Yeomen are being cut to pieces here on this side, and they're going to be trying to pile in to help out their homies, but there's just too many Hobgoblins here, I think. Plus, there's Wolf Riders nearby who can kind of come around here and move in. Always fun. But ladies and gentlemen, this game's over. The Chaos Dwarves are just cackling. They're laughing and hashut. Chaos Dwarves are... My top 3 favorite factions are Empire, Nurgle, Chaos Dwarves. Not in that order. It's kind of hard to say. I love the Empire. They're probably my favorite faction, but Nurgle and Chaos Dwarves are also my... They're so freaking cool. This game is a little bit tricky to learn. You know what? When I'm feeling better, I'll record a video on like how to get into this game as a beginner. But it depends if you want to get into multiplayer or campaign. The campaign is really fun too. If you're more into like turn-based grand strategy that also has these battles, it's quite a bit of fun. So we do see the Lord of Bretonia. She's here. Rapunzel. She's going to be trying to duke it out. And she's going to be eating a lot of gunfire from downtown here. A little bit of collateral damage. See, this is lore accurate. The Chaos Dwarves shooting into their slave lines and not caring if it means killing the enemy lord is incredibly lore accurate. But Rapunzel is broken. She got shot pretty good. And oh man, she's running out of the ranks. What are the Chaos Dwarves shooting right now? Yep, they're going to get Rapunzel. You guys ready to see some Last Samurai shit? She's making one last glorious charge with her great sword. Will the lady protect her? Or the Chaos Dwarves actually are so unthreatened by her that they're just going to move away and shoot something else. I respect that. They should have gone for the kill on Rapunzel. That's when you kill an enemy lord in this game, it applies an army-wide penalty. So yeah, all 3 objectives belong to the Chaos Dwarves, and Bretonia is out of the game. But honestly, a really good performance by Shaper of Fate, the Bretonian player. This format of King of the Hill, random faction selection, people are playing factions they don't know how to play, right? They're having to learn the hard way. So that's very, very impressive here. Oh, it looks like they did get Rapunzel off camera. All right, guys, GG, well played. So Pizu is up to 2 wins now. So if he wins another one, he ties, and then we will have a deciding game somehow and see if he can pass their score. All right, so that's going to be Pizu going up to 2 wins. Yeah, the Bretonian faction is one of the hardest factions in the game to play, too. They're very difficult. They can win tournaments, as we've seen from Anticity, but they're very, very hard to play. All right. So, next up, anyone's welcome to join unless you already played, and if nobody joins after 5 minutes, we will open it back up to people who already played. Yeah, we needed Green Knight there. He would have been really good. He could have, like, fought the Baeltor's character and chased away the trains and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but the game can be tricky to get into because there's so many DLCs, but what I recommend is find a faction that you really like flavor-wise and just get the content for them and just focus on them. Because we have a ton of beginner tournaments that are designed to just play one faction the entire way through. You don't have to... Oh, Navi is really good. Okay, holy shit. So, if Navi wins this, that will eliminate Pizu from the running for the King of the Hill, and then we have a tie currently between Hobo Honkers and Attack Speed. So if those guys are here, we would have a final duel between them. But if not, we would just call it a tie, and those guys can hold hands into the sunset. So, all right. Let's roll the wheel, yeah? Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Ride. We've almost gotten through all the factions in the game today, which is super cool. Like, no matter what you're into, you're just about going to see every faction. So let's do this. Do the desktop capture here. And let's spin it to win it, baby. I don't know about the Uranus Thunderbolt. I'm going to have to look at that. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. So we have Nurgle for player 1 versus player 2 is going to be on Kislev. Oh, that's a really fun matchup. It's really fun. I could give them a build for it, but we'll let them figure it out themselves. So we're going to have... so you are Kislev. Yes. If you win, you just eliminate him as we're at the end. Okay, so you are going to be on Kislev, and then we have player 1, Pizu, is going to be Nurgle. My champion. Yes, the Plague Father calls. All right, and we're going to go ahead and do the... we will do one of the more classic maps. We'll do Borderlow Landing. One of the all-time greats. Yeah, Dark Age. I mean, as a Chaos Dwarf player, I'm happy to see that. But yeah, I don't know if it was intended. When does the new King of the Hill show come out? I know it's this month. I just read, but is it out already? Let me go on the Google. Let's see what the old Google says. King of the Hill show release date? No, the new one. Not 1997, which was a great year, by the way. I remember it well. Oh, it says now summer of 2025. Is there a set release date yet? I don't think there is. Sad times. So Kislev and Nurgle. Yeah, there's a couple ways you can go about this as the Plague Father. Yeah, it was a good match shaper. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the Uran's Thunderbolt. It seemed like your Lightning Strike didn't do the damage it used to. Maybe they changed it so it's not going to be as good against single entities or something. I have no idea. Grandfather versus the Babushka. Yeah, that's true. We could see her. We could see Mother Ostankya. But yeah, if any of you guys are interested in this game and you're new, I know there's a lot of new people on Twitch who've kind of found us and are join our Discord channel. And there's a lot of great people in there who will answer your questions. Tons of veterans of competitive and campaign, so we can answer your questions 100%. Yeah, it's been fun, man. Thank you guys all for joining. Always cool to see the Total Wars cooking. We got 2,700 strong on the old YouTube, and we got 300 on Twitch. The fire rises. Total War Warhammer's in a good spot, man. We need a little bit of sauce. We need some new stuff, you know. We need some new units and some new factions and all that. Slaughter Guard got a minor nerf, but they're still very good. But honestly, Khorne kind of fell out of the meta. Like, people were so rage boner for Khorne, and then they just like kind of stopped getting played, which was weird. I don't know why. Khorne still feels very good. They keep drip feeding us. Yeah, well, that's the way it is. Goblin bathwater. What a freaking name that is. Jesus. Yeah. We're gonna start our OnlyFans account soon. Would you guys subscribe to an OnlyFans if I just like laid in the yard with my potbelly and a Carl Franz helmet and ate hot dogs? Would you guys be into that? Yeah, we'll see. Wish I was home. I'm thinking of trying multiplayer out. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think about the best way I could do like a new player stream. Like maybe coaching would be good. Yeah, Joska, it's getting there. We have a pretty solid community though. It's definitely not bad. I would spend my university tuition money on that. Yeah. There you go. Oishi still plays Khorne, does he? The old Oishi still plays Khorne, eh? Yeah, well, that's good to know. I was going to make a Thermopylae. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, yes, the Brave 300. Yeah, fun times, man. I don't have a mullet right now, but I'm pretty close to it. I mean, I could have a mullet very easily. That was pretty funny. For Grubby's Invitational on Warcraft, they found a picture of me on Google, the one where I have a mullet, and they were like using that as my display picture. I love it. Yeah, this is pretty great. There's 301 people. Well, one of them can be Ephialtes. They can be like the gremlin, the traitor gremlin. You would be eligible. Like, here's the thing. We will have regular King of the Hill streams as well. So even if you only know how to play one faction, that's fine. It won't always be random factions. That's just kind of what we're doing today. You know, so don't stress it. We'll get everybody involved. I volunteer as tribute. What the hell is this Nurgle build? Oh my god, that's awesome. Triple Rot Knight? Oh yeah. My Warcraft 3 tournament's coming up soon. So today's the 15th. On the 17th is the cutoff date for the ELO. So on the 17th, we're going to know who are... I think I might extend it to top 8 because there's a lot of people putting in a lot of effort. And I would feel bad if for somebody who put in weeks of practice and got like number 5. So I think I'm going to extend it to top 8 players for the Warcraft tournament. And then we're going to have... I'm going to invite them all to a Discord and I'm going to schedule the event. So I need to see what everybody's schedule is working with here. All right. So let's do this, and here we go. Just fix this real quick, yeah. Let's get this on down to size here. Perfect, sorry guys. There, now that's way better. Okay, I'm not gonna have problems anymore. Perfect, perfect. Pizu says, don't judge me too much. He literally messaged me that in Discord. All right. So ladies and gentlemen of the old world, here we are. It is a triple Rot Knight build. Now Rot Knights are very good against Kislev cavalry and decent against their monsters, but will not want to be tar pitted by their infantry and shooting. So yeah, so we got triple Rot Knights coming out, which is hilarious. And then we got Kazak the Befouled, the really good assassin slash fighter, and he's going to be with the Sorcerer Lord as well. So yeah, this is about as off meta as you can possibly get. Now, looking at the Kislev army, it's going to be more standard. We do have a front line of armored Kossars in the back, and a single unit of Ice Guard, which is badass. Now, if you're going to go Ice Guard against Chaos, I really like the dual-wielding variant because they do magic damage and wreck Furies in combat. So I do like that. I think that's cool. Kossars in the front. It's going to be a Frost Maiden of Ice with the Death Frost and Ice Maiden's Kiss. Oh, Giga Chad Boris Ursus. Yeah, this guy's such a pimp. The Red Tsar himself. He's so cool, riding on a freaking war bear. I mean, what's not to love about that? So the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts is going to be moving up to the middle, and this thing is really good at killing infantry, but isn't so good against bigger targets. Like one of these cavalry units of Nurgle in isolated combat would actually beat this thing. No, we're just casting right now. Yeah, I'm not playing today. I'm just casting other people playing. Yeah, no, Kazak is good in multiplayer. He's actually good. He's used quite a bit by Nurgle players. He's a really good scalpel, so he's like a durable, regenerating character that's basically as strong as a Legendary Lord. And you can use them to really goon squad things, you know, get like a couple of these guys together and go hunting. So, all right, guys. So the objective 2 goes to Nurgle. Kislev is probably like, what the hell is this shit? We got some Nurglings on the back objective, and now Pestigor is being called out. So these are Beastmen with the Mark of Nurgle. They have great weapons, so they're quite good. And I'm just really curious how the Nurgle army is going to engage against this Kislev force. Kislev calling in things in the woods, which are not that good against cavalry units. They're more killing infantry, but they're okay. And Kislevite warriors are what you want, because these guys with their halberds will be able to drag down the cavalry units pretty effectively. So, all right. So what you probably do if you're a Nurgle is you wait for some infantry to get here before you engage. If you engage, just raw dog it with all these cav. I think you're gonna have some problems. Oh man, is this gonna work? I do not know. Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z. So he's gonna be gathering on up here, getting ready to charge in, and yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. It feels a little shady. There's a lot of gunfire here and archers. Some Pestigors are now on their way in. Nurgle needs to be careful. This is extremely off meta. Yeah, this is Nurgle mobility builds can work actually. I use them from time to time, like with Soul Grinders and stuff, but. Yeah, all right. So Kazak the Befouled going to be charging in. So he's eating the damage intentionally because he's very durable and can heal himself passively. Rot Knights, of course, do have the regeneration too, but probably a little bit more cost-effective there. So now comes the charge. Now, Rot Knights are designed to kill big stuff. They're okay against infantry, you can see, but they want to be fighting bigger targets. So he charges in and then retreats immediately because Kislev, the Red Tsar, is going to be moving in. So the Red Tsar, of course, is the leader of Kislev. Well, in tandem with Katarine's the leader of Kislev. He's kind of the homie. But we do see Kazak getting smashed up a little bit. Rot Knight's doing some good cycle charging, and now we see the infantry moving in as well. So Pestigors will trade very well in armored Kossars, but if they're being shot by pistols on the side and the flank, like they are from the Kislevite soldiers here, they're going to have a relatively bad time, right? Ice Guard shooting into Nurglings, pretty good choice there. And the Rot Knights are trying to overwhelm the flank, and we do have a duel of fates. It's going to be Kazak battling the Red Tsar. Now, this is a really bad fight for the Nurgle character. The Red Tsar, Boris, is an elite anti-large fighter. And he will just beat the brakes off Kazak. And Kazak is forced to retreat here as Boris Ursus rampages and continues hunting him down. We see Frostbite is active, so his speed was lowered. That's what's really cool about Kislev. They have a lot of Frostbite. So when they hit you, they can actually slow you down. But the Rot Knights are able to fold up one unit of armored Kossar, so one of them is going to be sweeping through the flanks here. Other one's going to be coming around and maybe looking to do a hammering engagement. Or going for the Ice Guard would be a really good play. Yeah, he sees the opening here. He's going to be moving in, and here comes the Knights of Nurgle. The Plague Father's Chosen will arrive. Oh, look at the little popcorn Nurglings here as well. You gotta love to see it. Awesome stuff. So Ice Guard gonna take a beating, but while Kazak also takes a beating as well. So he's trying to get away. He's at 1500 HP, but Boris Ursus is on the hunt and potentially gonna be able to kill him. We'll have to see. We do see Furies coming out for Nurgle. More Pestigors and Nurglings gonna be surging forward. Value trading is massively favoring the forces of Kislev. you know, you bring a bunch of cavalry, which are specialized at killing large units, and your opponent doesn't present any large targets. It's a tough one. You're maybe going to have a bad time. Stream of Corruption activated right there, down the Kossars and company. Nurgling's getting folded, and Rot Knights, even though they are Giga Chads, Boris is going to be able to methodically kill them. You can see one Rot Knight goes down here, and they're going to be frostbitten. So, oh, looks like my game maybe crashed there. Hopefully those guys are able to play it out. Oh, holy shit, my game just exploded. You know, to be fair, I think that game is mostly over. So we're going to see if those guys finish it here. Yeah. Let's check here. Whatever epicness was happening on the screen literally just exploded my game. Okay, so let's do this. Go back here. I wish there was like a way to see what caused the crash, like an error message that you could send. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Let's go ahead and see here. How are we looking? I can't rejoin. I could, you know what? I'll have them send me the replay afterwards. Yeah, so they're gonna finish the game. Okay, there looks like there is some sort of a message going down, and he was playing against Pizu was playing against Navigator. Okay, so they're gonna send me the replay, and then we will be able to just cast it. I don't even know what that is, so I backed it. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, the single entities are individually controlled. So now's a good time while we're waiting for the replay. I can show you guys like what this looks. So looks like here. So we're just going to load into a quick battle. So this is like something like when I was coming over to I played a lot of Warcraft 3 as a kid. You know, I played a lot. And I played intermittently over the years, like a couple games here and there, right? But I'm just going to grab some units to like showcase some stuff for you guys and show you how things work. Okay, we'll do this. Do that also. We could just do land battle because it's easier for demonstrating. Cool. And then we'll get some greenskin units over here. Do this, and outstanding. So we're going to just talk some of the basics here real quick while we wait for the replay. It shouldn't take more than like probably a couple minutes. That game was basically over. Who wins, Wrathmongers or Doomseekers? I think Wrathmongers win. The ROR ones will beat like almost anything. It's pretty nasty. Okay, so they're still playing the game. So it was just me that crashed, even though I have a super good computer. Yeah. Let us rise, champions. So a battle. This isn't a normal multiplayer battle. This is like an old school one from back. There are some people who still play this and enjoy it. Myself, I focus on domination mode, but this will give you an idea of like what it's like in the beginning when you deploy. And if you guys have any questions, now's a really good time while we're just chilling. So here you are. You have your army. This is the deployment phase of the game. So on every map, and even in the multiplayer maps of domination, you're going to have a big like deployment box. You'll notice that I can't deploy outside the box. Now there are going to be some units that have a special rule that allow them to deploy outside their box, right? So typically what you do in the beginning is you click a unit and then you right click and drag. When you do this, it will change the depth and width of the formation. For beginner players, I just recommend going wide, like because that gives you the most frontage, covers the most battlefield, does the most damage. So we get you guys, and you guys, and then you set them up. And what you can do, once you're like happy with the formation, okay, you can select that unit with the drag and drop, and you hit control and put them in a control group. Now, when I want to get to that unit, I can double tap 1 and it's going to take me to those. I can double tap 2, it's going to take me here. I can double tap 3 and it's going to take me here. So this is a really good way to get around the battlefield quickly, like in the heat of a battle, you know what I'm saying? And if you want a unit to move in formation, I'm going to show you a couple ways to do that, okay? So we're going to put our big scary lord. So this is the lord of our army, right? Here he is. This is Tamerkhan, the maggot lord. This is the equivalent of a hero in Warcraft 3. If he dies, your whole army takes a penalty. Very, very strong, but he's controlled individually and has activated abilities. So much like, you know, other RTS games that, you know, even Age of Empires has that too. But you have abilities you can activate, so you can read through those and see what they do, right? Next, we have our wizard. Now, wizards in this game, you can pick what spells you want to bring before a battle starts, but for the sake of this showcase, I just brought them all, basically. But you have 68 Winds of Magic in your pool, and you're going to be starting with, in this case, 12. So these spells have different costs. You might notice like, oh, this spell costs 18 Winds of Magic, but I only have 12 in my pool. Well, when the battle starts, you start getting Winds of Magic every couple seconds until you run out. So the maximum amount of spells you can cast is 80 Winds of Magic worth of Winds of Magic, right? And most of them are just like click and point, but some of them are more dynamic as well. All right. So we're here. So we're going to start this. So there's a couple ways to move your formation, okay? You can just select the formation by hitting 1, and then you can hit shift and they'll move in formation. You hit shift and just click and drag, and then you can spin them using the control button. So if you want to do that way, you can. It's a little bit like trickier, right? But yeah, if you want to use the control movements, you can. So you hit Alt and then hit Control, and that will allow you to like spin them and deploy them in a direction of your choosing. Now, I don't like that way personally. Some people do that, but I do this. So I'm going to reset the formation here. Okay, and to move units, you just like put the mouse, right click and drag, right? I like to hit them here, hit the lock button, which locks the group, and then when I move them, they'll stay in whatever formation I had them in. But when you do this, you need to turn it off before the fighting goes and give them individual orders, right? So yeah, single entities like heroes and monsters are controlled as individual units. So you're able to kind of move around and like juke them and like do movement. Some units turn faster than others, so you need to be careful about that. But if I wanted to shoot here, I could do this. You know, I can use his breath attack, which is really cool. And here I can also do a little bit of magic if I want, right? So I'm going to send my knights to fight these guys, but look at the dragon. So he's going to use the breath attack ability. Oh yeah, so he basically just threw up all over these guys' faces and is going to be melting a whole bunch of them. So you'll see casualties, and now my Giga Chad Chaos Knights are going to be charging in to fight them. So yeah, pretty cool stuff right there. Those guys get folded. We're going to bring the Sorcerer. So magic, if I want to cast like a big vortex or something, you know, a good way to do it is to move the infantry in. So you move them like this, and then you want to wait for like a blob. So I'm like, oh, they're kind of blobbing right here. You don't want to cast it on your guys. You want to cast it like just like this, right? So now you watch, the cast is going to be going down, and the vortex comes in and does a bunch of damage to them, right? That like purple vortex. Or you have direct damage spells as well, right? So you can do those. Anyways, we're going to get the dragon character to move in here. I'm going to right-click on you, and those are just standard attack orders. So now they'll just chase whatever unit you want them to go after, right? So there's a lot more like in-depth tactics, like, well, which unit should attack what? You know, like, where do I send this unit? That's getting more into the complexities of the tooltips and what they're good at and reading their stats and understanding all that. It's definitely a lot trickier, you know? Nathaniel, thank you for the 20 bucks. Big fan of the lovely streams. I watch YouTube broadcasts every day. Disappointed by the lack of, not sure why we waste. Oh, yeah. No, I hear you, man. Thank you, Nathaniel. Yeah, you can leave them in lock formation and click the enemy army. Yes, but there are issues with that, and I can explain those. But yeah, let's load out and do this. So I'm just going to get out. But basically, you just fight the battle from that point, and there's so many things to go over. But I'm going to teach you a very simplistic thing here. So we're going to do this, and we're going to get you guys on this, and we can just do the Amber Bow quest battles. Fine, Ash Plains. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So let's do that. Yeah, they're still in that battle, by the way. The Nurgle versus the Nurgle battle that I dropped out of. Those guys are still fighting that. So it must be very, very sweaty. Okay. So here we are. We have our army. We select them all. You can do that by hitting Control or clicking on you and hitting Shift and clicking across, and then just, we're going to deploy them. We're going to put them in Control Group 1, and we're going to click Lock. We're going to pop lock and drop it, okay? So then I can just hit right click and move them in a formation. See, I'm able to swing it like this. I can have them face any angle, any direction, whatever. So this is a very okay way for beginners. I don't recommend it for advanced players, but basically you move up and you're going to be giving a charge order. So basically I have my entire formation locked, and if I just right click here, they're going to be automatically targeting the closest unit that's like in range. So see, he's going here, he's going here, he's going here, and he's going here. But sometimes it can screw it up and they can take bad angles and miss their charges. But if I try it again, see, they're going to kind of charge, but it gets a little bit funky sometimes because the AI can struggle. So I like to do them individually. So I would just do this, this, and this, and that's going to be way more accurate in terms of the engagement. So then the battle lines are going to clash, and yeah, they'll fight it out. But you can do that first method. It honestly is fine. But at a higher level, sometimes the AI can struggle to target allocate like you want it to, because they might have like mixed infantry in the front lines, and you'll run into like weird situations there, and like you want to make sure the right unit fights the right unit, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we have the replay here. So we're going to jump in and do that real quick. So let's do this. Okay. And let's get that, do that. All right, so let's get into there. Hopefully that was helpful. I know most of you guys are veterans, so it's probably just annoying hearing me prattle on about the basics of the game, but yeah, hopefully that was reasonably helpful for some of you guys. Okay, so here's the game that we disconnected from. No, I'll do a tutorial video, Mike. I'll do one. I'll do like a proper one once my voice is feeling better. You're an AoE 2 player. I'm going to be doing some AoE soon. We will be doing some Age of Empires soon. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. Okay, so here we are. This is the battle we were in. We saw the Rot Knights with the Lord, and I'm going to fast forward through most of this since you guys already saw most of the battle. So the only issue here is most of these guys are anti-large fighters, right? Which is going to be tricky because most of the Kislev army is infantry. You can see this by looking at their tooltip and seeing they have this icon here, bonus versus large. It doesn't mean they're terrible against infantry. It just means that that's their specialty, right? So, yeah, let's do a little bit of fast forwarding. They continue fighting here. We see the infantry reserves coming in, and now the charges engage. Initially, not bad out of the gates. But the Red Tsar, Boris Ursus, is a hero character for Kislev. Really good anti-large fighter. Absolutely destroying freaking Kasich the Befouled in combat, right? Pestigors arrive, and they do trade pretty well. And we do see that was a nice dive play, right? When he came around there and got on top of the archers. But you have to remember, the halberds in sustained combat, plus the incarnate, and also Boris Ursus is just dominating the characters, right? This guy is an insanely good fighter, and Kasich is a good fighter, but not up to the task of taking on the Red Tsar, right? So he continues fighting. Griffin Legion coming out, which are elite cavalry. They do run over the hounds, and the Furies are, of course, on top of them as well. But Rot Knights will be very good against them if they can catch them. But the proper play for the Kislev player would be to continue just like running in this direction, right? Yeah, Total War is an RTS. It's like a hybrid RTS game. It's very much in the vein of like Company of Heroes and like the Relic style games where it doesn't have like the base building elements, but it has the battle elements of an RTS because it is a real-time strategy game. There's strategy, it's real-time, it's a real-time battle. It's a tricky one though. It's very much in its own category. It's like a hybrid RTS, I would say, if we're getting really into the nitty-gritty of things. All right, so yeah, I mean, that's a disgusting value lead. Kislev is absolutely crushing Nurgle in battle. You know, that's the problem if you go like too elite and too narrow and like this is what I would call a skew build, right? Like the Nurgle player is skewed into 3 very expensive cavalry units that are designed to kill big targets, and then his opponent doesn't present any big targets, right? Like normally in a more meta build, you would see like 1 of these units instead of 3 of them, right? Because they're so obscenely expensive. They cost a lot. They're very good at what they do, but like if there's no role for them to fulfill, they're typically going to have a bad time, right? So, yep, we see a Stream of Corruption going down here. A couple Pestigors going to be cruising over that direction. And overall, yeah, I can kind of see the writing on the wall. Nurgle does have some units here. Nice little assassination attempt there. But Boris and this huge Incarnate Elemental are a problem. Nurgle's going to be calling in some Battletoads now. The Battletoads will get wrecked by the heavy cavalry, but are good against infantry. Kislev attempting to steal the back objective using its Griffin Legion. And the Griffin Legion are now going to come across and just run these guys over. So these are elite shock cav for Kislev. They're really good when they charge you, and looks like they're going to run, which is a misplay, I think. I think just charging into the Toads there would have been like, well, maybe not with the throwing weapons nearby. Okay, I kind of understand that. But let's take a look here at this, guys. We do see the Boris. The Fury Verse inactivated. But man, oh man, Nurgle's looking pretty bare bones on the battlefield, right? Those 3 expensive cavalry units in the beginning, all dead. And yeah, there's still this huge monster that Kislev has. The Incarnate Elemental of Beasts. We have Boris Ursus, a lot of cavalry, a fair amount of halberds. You know, it's going to be tough. This is a good play. Using the Cossars to shoot the Marauder Horseman throwing axes is going to take a ton of pressure off the cavalry here. And now the cavalry can honestly just fight the Battletoads. Although they didn't get the charge, which is a little bit sloppy. So the Battletoads might trade okay here. We'll have to see. Yep, Ice Guard coming out. This is a great counter. These Ice Guard do magic damage, so against demonic units, which rely on their physical resistance, that's going to be very, very clean. So yeah, this game's just, it's over. You know, I've casted enough matches. This isn't my first rodeo. The Watchmen of the Night going to be fighting these guys off. We see the Nurgle infantry get bullied, and that's going to be GG. So that was a skew build that got punished, basically. You know, that was that. So, cool, guys. Now we're going to have our encore show. According to the King of the Hill, we have Attack Speed Enjoyer and Hobo. I don't know if they're still here. Let me see. And let's see if Attack Speed Enjoyer is still here. If they're both still here, we can have we can have a show match. Okay. To see who wins the King of the Hill. I don't know if Attack Speed Enjoyer is still here. Let me see if Attack Speed is still here. Let's see if he is. Oh, have I been muted? Holy shit. Have I just been talking to myself for like 5 minutes? Oh my god, I hate this. Okay, so we had two people tie in the King of the Hill. It's Hobo and Attack Speed Enjoyer. They're both still here, okay? So that means we're gonna have them play off for the win of today's stream. Who's gonna be the winner of today's King of the Hill stream? Only a minute? Okay, yeah, I muted the mic to cough, so yeah, now we need to roll the dice to see what factions we're gonna get these guys. So there's only a couple of factions left, to be honest. Okay. You thought you paused the video? That's pretty funny. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm terrible at this stuff. Okay, so Warriors of Chaos for player 1, and for player 2, we're going to have a Khorne. Oh, a nice bloody civil war to end this one. Two very aggressive factions. So player 1 is Walk, and player 2 is Khorne. Okay. So player 1 is going to be Hobo. So Hobo is going to be Warriors of Chaos for you, and for Attack Speed Enjoyer, it's going to be Khorne. Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. Khorne is so metal, man. So heavy metal. Who will be promoted to the assistant manager of Strickland Propane? That's right, man. You rob us of manly coughs. No, you don't want to hear this shit, trust me. All right. Let's get it, baby. We got through, so the only factions we didn't see today were the Tomb Kings, Norska, Empire, and Demons of Chaos. We almost got to see every faction of the game today. I know, sorry guys. Sigmar will be here next time, I can assure you. I can assure you. Let's get it, man. Thank you guys all for joining. An FFA with the last 4 factions, we could do that. Yeah, you know what? I'm down for that. That sounds fun. We could take the last 4 factions and do an FFA at the very end if you guys want to see what FFA looks like in this game. It's a meme format. It's not competitive at all, but it's very fun. Yeah, it's very fun. I sell corn and corn accessories. Yeah, well, that makes sense for America. You know, we're made of corn syrup, so yeah, the corn syrup rises. It does indeed. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Gonna refill my water for this last run. I'm not going to forget to unmute again. How dare you, dude? Doing me dirty like this? Yeah, so we got a minute here until we start. It's going to be 2 very melee-centric factions. Khorne, more so melee-focused. Warriors of Chaos have a little bit more diversity because they have some artillery. Although Khorne does too have skull cannons. Maybe they're kind of similar, actually. But yeah, magic on the Warriors of Chaos side. Khorne is the blood god, so he hates magic. His whole thing is literally like, screw magic, that's for nerds. Khorne is like the dumb jock in high school who beats up the nerds in this game. That's literally his lore. That's kind of his jam. But yeah, that's that. What's the ticket limit? You can change the amount of victory tickets if you're playing with your friends casually. The competitive standard is 1,500 victory tickets. But you can change it, like it completely changes the meta in the game when you do that. But yeah, 1,500 is the sweet spot right now. That's where we're at. So how's life treating you guys? You guys hanging in there? Enduring the hardships of the world? Hopefully you're all doing well, and I have 2 instances of that open. Should probably close that down. Perfect. And cool. So Warriors of Chaos are ready. Who is going to be the winner of today's stream? Who will be the boss hog of our first freaking King of the Hill we've done in years? Attack Speed Enjoyer versus Hobo. Now, this matchup I would probably say is Warriors of Chaos favored, but that's only if you play extreme meta like Hellstrider Abuse. Otherwise, I think Khorne can definitely win the melee fight. Wrathmongers are really brutal, like really hard to handle, so probably Wrathmongers would carry this. A full Chosen build be viable against Khorne? It can catch them off guard, but they'll get wrecked by Wrathmongers is the problem. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't invest in Chosen. I'd probably go like a Hell Cannon with like Hellstriders and Marauder Horsemen and just cheap infantry with like a really powerful Lord. Yeah, Jeff, that's right. It is the dreaded Womb of Sorrow. That is the map. It's a new one. I haven't seen this map, actually. Yeah. David, that's a good expression. Well, we're going to find out. We are going to find out who's going to be the big dog here. All right, perfect. Looking fine. And right on. We'll also look at the Warcraft 3 tournament, too. I'm curious to see how everybody's doing right now. Well, we have a little bit of a moment. We could look at that real quick and see. So it's either going to be top 4 or top 8 players. This is our community beginner tournament we're running. So in order to qualify for the tournament, you need to have at least 20 games played on Warcraft 3 Champions and theoretically reach top 8 or top 4 elo. So for example, Durank would be the number 1 ranked player right now. This individual has over 20 games and has a 1461 elo, so that's very good. Adventurer wouldn't be qualified yet. So number 1 would be Durank. Number 2 would be Davok. Davok at 1400 elo is Night Elves. Number 3 would be Anticity with Orc at 1338 elo. And then we have, next up it would be Silvers, would be number 4. Although I think Orange Pest, yeah, he's testing human, so we don't know his Orc. I think his Orc is around the same as Silver. So the 4th place spot is being fought over by this Undead player and by Orange Pest. And then from there, if we expanded it to top 8, it would come like all the way down to here, and we would get these gentlemen too, which we might do. 1461 with only 24 games. Yeah, it's pretty good. He might be a BattleNet player, but I'm going to be checking all the players' BattleNets too before the event. If we find somebody has a BattleNet account with like 1 million games played, then they won't be allowed to participate. If they have like 100 games or 200 games, whatever, that's fine. But if it's like heavy duty, yeah. Like we allowed some people in the event who have a lot of experience, like this player, Silvers, but he started the event at like 900 elo. Like his account was a 900 elo account, So we're making exceptions for that as well. But yeah, a lot of great players putting in work here. We got some champions of the pits as well, going hard. I love to see it. Fun to see a lot of new people jumping into Warcraft 3 as well. Professor Pone he would need to climb because he's currently, he hasn't played in a couple days and he's only 900 MMR, so yeah, he would need to climb quite a bit. It'll be very fun. I'm excited for it. I'm very excited. Yeah, Anticity is more or less qualified right now. Yeah, I mean, but that's not it's with a beginner tournament. Even with a beginner tournament, it's hard. There will be stomps from time to time because some people just get better at the game much quicker than others, Like, we had people in Grubby's tournament reaching 14, 15, even 1600 elo very quickly. Like, I don't know about like Sing Sing's example or history with Warcraft 3, but he was able to get over 1600 elo like super quick, right? Which some people would be like, oh, that can't be a beginner, but he was, right? All right, so let's get it. I hope Pone comes back from the ashes and rises like a phoenix, dude. I hope he does. So welcome to the grand finals of today's tournament. Oh, Scarbrand, let's go. All right, so we have Chaos Marauders for Hobo Honkers, Hellstriders, Marauder Horsemen with throwing weapons at the front, so they're going to be harassing and throwing javelins. And the Lord kit is going to be the Mutalith Vortex Beast, which is there designed to kill the Wrathmongers. And Kolek Suneater, the mountain god himself, has arose and is bringing his big hammer. Let's frickin' go, baby. On top of that, we do have an Urgle Sorcerer, so he's going to be bringing the Fleshy Abundance, which is a big healing spell to heal the big monsters of Chaos. Now, looking at the build of Attack Speed Enjoyer, it's going to be, what the hell is this? We have Scylla Angfingrim, the Monkey of Khorne, so it does have the Rampage. We have Karanak, which is the Hound of Khorne. And, yeah, of course, this creature can snare down enemy heroes and lords, and also does have a silence ability. So if you're near the dog, you can actually cast spells. And then it's going to be Scarbrand the Exiled. Oh, my God. This is getting a little bit too hyped, guys. We've seen some of the most fun games we've had, because like this format is cool because it's competitive, but it's also like leaves room for memeing about because it's not like, there's no stakes to this event. It's just for fun. So yeah, that's that. Objective number 1 going to be going to the Warriors of Chaos, and the Forces of the Blood God are going to be advancing up. So we do see Forsaken arriving, and Karanak and Scarbrand are coming over. Talk about a monster mash fight. I mean, Scarbrand and Kolek is a pretty even fight. Kolek might be able to edge it out because of the bonus versus large. 8.9k against 9.4, so pretty similar HP pools. I don't know, Scarbrand might actually win that too. This is really, really fun. But the fighting will begin soon. I mean, Khorne needs to advance up or call out some troops, maybe to harass. We'll have to see. Because as it currently stands, the Warriors of Chaos do have objectives 1 and objectives 2. So they'll just win the game if the status quo remains. So it's going to be on the Warriors of Chaos to advance up and push. Yeah. Now, this monkey has a cool ability called Kill for Khorne, which if they activate it near you, it rampages your character and makes you lose control of it. We do see some Marauders getting taken to Pound Town by the Mutilate Vortex Beast. So literally the Lovecraftian monster are going to be emerging out and attacking into the Marauders. They're like, screw this shit, I'm going home. Does look like the Forces of Chaos going to pull back because they see the enveloping Khorne characters coming in. So we do see the triple attack. He's going to get rampaged. Oh, man, Wounded Prey and Prey of the Blood God. Okay, so all the abilities are being used to snipe Kolek. And now Kolek is being rampaged too by the Khorne abilities. Oh, man, that's a lot. In response, Nurgle's going to be using Miasma and Pestilence, but Kolek's kind of getting whooped on a little bit. Here we have a response. Hellstriders of Slaanesh going to be called into buffer. And Kolek is getting brought down, but so too is Scarbrand. Scarbrand is surrounded, and the Mountain God is no joke. This mighty behemoth of chaos with his hammer is going to hit very, very hard. It's going to hit incredibly hard. There he goes. Scarbrand getting clubbed in the face, and it looks like the Alpha Strike from Khorne probably not going to be working out super well. Scarbrand is going to be forced back, and we do see Sila Angfingrim as well as the doggy still fighting nearby. Scarbrand going to be turning around again and attacking the Mutilate Vortex Beast. And knowing it's going to be a big anti-large fight, we do see the Minotaurs of Khorne coming out with their great weapons. These guys are really good against big targets, so they'll be good against Kolek as well as this other big Mutilith Beast as well. Yeah, the Chaos Mosh Pit continues, and the Mutilith Vortex Beast here is taking a lot of damage. Scarbrand's coming with his pet dog, so Karanak and the doggy going to be going after the Mutilith Beast. And if this thing gets picked off and isolated, that's going to be a freaking disaster and a half. In response, Kolek's going to be moving in and going after Sila Angfingrim. So the Lord of the Warriors of Chaos is going to be trying to take down the monkey, and we're going to see if it can connect and actually get some damage there. But man, Scarbrand getting it done! The Lord of the Blood God able to beat down the Mutilith Vortex Beast, which makes a lot of sense, obviously. The Vortex Beast is at 1,000 HP. Most likely going to be finished and or escorted off the battlefield. Another attack, 400 HP. Man, Scarbrand is taking this giant skull. Oh, down it goes. The Blood God's champion showing Tzeentch who's boss. That was freaking awesome. Now, in the meantime, Kolek retreats back, and that ends up being a bit of a win for the Blood God. 5,300 value for Attack Speed Enjoyer. Granted, a lot of healing here. Breath attack from Scarbrand, but he's got to watch out. The Mountain God's coming in fully erect. Tempest, Rage, and Star Crusher activated. This man's weapon strength is over 1,000. It's over 9,000. But, yeah, at this point, Scarbrand needs to be a coward and run, because you don't want to be fighting him while all his buffs are active. So he escapes, but really good play using the Minotaurs of Khorne as an intercept. So he uses these guys to block the enemy lord. And then Scarbrand's coming back in. Dude, it's the reverse Uno. So getting so good. All right, so we got a battle here. The Horn of Khorne is activated. Scarbrand charges in, but stays kind of safely behind his Minotaurs during this entire fight. Back in the middle, Khorne is definitely winning on some of these exchanges. We do see the Warriors of Chaos kind of getting folded up here a little bit, while the Furies and Khornate Infantry are screening out the Marauder Horsemen. But yeah, really good usage of Attack Speed Enjoyers, Marauder Horsemen here as well. And it does look like the Mountain God is going to get snared. The Prey of the Blood God activated. That's an ability coming in from the Hound. And he's having a bad time. 1,500 HP. This is another potential skull for him here. We're going to see. 700. And Kolek is broken and running. The Minotaurs were just too much for him, especially unsupported. They're probably going to be able to chase him off the battlefield, and that's probably going to be GG. I mean, a lot of it was going to come down to the monster fight. And Scarbrand was just too Chad. Healing ability activated, so the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle going to be trying to ride up and cast the healing ability on Kolek, which will do a lot of heals. But the thing is, if a unit is broken and running for the edge of the battlefield, it can't come back unless it creates some separation from the units that are chasing it. So what Hobo does here is he sacrifices his Chaos Sorcerer. He gets in and he blocks him up to try and create some separation to allow Kolek to come back. He might come back. It's going to be very close, but even if he does, he's most likely going to get hunted down here. And now Scarbrand trying to take down another nerd here. He's going to be going after the Nurgle Sorcerer, so trying to hunt that bad boy down. We'll see if he can get it. The objective situation looking very good for Khorne. We do see objective 2 belongs to Khorne. Objective 1 belongs to the Warriors of Chaos, and the far side belongs to Khorne as well. Khorne is pretty well ahead in this game, I would say. All right, guys, so we do see the chasing continuing here as the old Scarbrand hunt continues. And Kolek being escorted off the battlefield basically seals the deal. So he's gone now. The monkey was able to chase it off. And ladies and gentlemen, What are we going to see going down here? Uh-oh, is there a rampage? Oh, he has the rampage. The rage embodied. Okay, so now this Nurgle Sorcerer is probably going to be dead. So it's very much like a snare for anybody who's newer to the game. But yeah, that Nurgle Wizard is going to get taken to Pound Town. He's a Pound Stretcher. Whatever you're into, it's going to happen. Yeah, he's probably going to break here, honestly. Yep, he's broken. And Khorne, once again, not having any of that magic or witchcraft on the battlefield. And that's just over. This game's just done. You know, the Warriors of Chaos might be able to get some fight going here, but they just don't have enough units. And Khorne is actually winning on the other aspects of the battle, too. Aside from their Lords and Heroes doing really well, they're just winning on all fronts. It's currently 10.5k value against 6,000 for Hobo here, and that's going to be all she wrote. It's all Dragon Ogre now, that's right. It really is. A couple Hellstriders and maybe some Chaos Warriors with great opens, but as cool as these Chaos Warriors are, they're going to have a really bad time once. You see in the distance, do you guys see Dad coming over here? Dad is coming home, you know. He went out for cigarettes, and now he's coming back, and he's actually coming back, and he's quite angry, so... he's going to be able to just obliterate these guys in combat, especially with the Silent Angfingrim. Looking at objective 1, yeah, held by the Warriors of Chaos, but now Khorne is going to start pressuring the outside objective by calling in a couple infantry here to try and steal that point, and there's no way. Yeah, I'm surprised Hobo hasn't left yet. I mean, this game is so freaking over. Oh, that's one of the best animations in the game, the kick, by the way. Let's just admire the beauty of this game real quick. Oh, yeah. So freaking cool. Skarbrand is so badass. Of all the greater demons, I think he might be one of the coolest. Like, Kugath is cool and all, but this guy's just so heavy metal, you know? He's so many heavy metal. All right. So that is going to be that. Well, Khorne makes sense for rampaging because the idea of Khorne is he literally drives his followers and his enemies' followers into, like, a blood frenzy. And, like, he makes people just bloodlust, basically. Slaanesh, the same thing. Slaanesh can drive people insane with, like, Rapture. Tzeentch should not have any rampages. They should more have, like, snares, which they do have. Nurgle wouldn't have any rampages. Yeah, maybe, like, a poison, but their poison's more about, like, entropy and slowing things down than it is, like, insanity. Yep, GG. There's nothing else to do. Just need to close it on out here. The Khornate infantry are a little bit superior to the generic Marauders. These Khorne Marauders have dual weapons, so they have anti-infantry bonus, so they'll actually be able to cut through the Marauders here. There's a second one coming around the outside, which will decisively defeat these Marauders. And what is he doing? Okay, he calls out the Mutilate Vortex Beast again. That thing is not going to do super well. I mean, Skarbrand, even in his beat-up state, he could probably win this fight. And he has his monkey with him, too. Oh, the WWE attack right there. All right. So Rage Embodied activated. That's going to be rampaging this thing. So what that does is Hobo actually loses control of this unit. He can't micro it. It just kind of randomly attacks whatever's near it. It's like a Walmart snare ability, basically. And, yeah, Karanak's also in here. How many times must we teach you this lesson? We'll find out. A couple Marauder Horsemen called in for the Warriors of Chaos. They are going to be throwing javelins in. Maybe Skarbrand dies here, but even if he dies, Khorne is still so far ahead. You know, Skarbrand's, he's doing the best he can. So outside objective's going to be taken. That's going to give a triple cap to the forces of the Blood God. And Khorne now calling in some Bloodletters. Bloodletters are elite anti-infantry. Not elite, they're kind of like mid-tier, but they're very good at killing infantry. They're like demonic troopers, so they can do some good work. Skarbrand looks like he's finally going to go down, but not before he almost kills like this whole like hero situation again. So the Blood God champion, he's going to go back to Daddy. He's going to go back to Khorne and... oh, he gets one last attack before he goes. Oh, look at that Relentless Rage used. The army ability. So Skarbrand cannot be killed for a period of time. That's so heavy metal. He's literally at 1 HP fighting to the bitter end. So freaking metal. And as he uses the Relentless Rage, Skarbrand actually is able to rout the Mutilate Vortex Beast. What a Giga Chad play. Super fun. So we still have the Doggy of Khorne. This guy is literally designed to kill wizards. So probably going to be seeing the Chaos Sorcerer be killed by Karanak here. Look at that. He's got like the hounds running circles around him and trapping him in place. It's super freaking cool. But Karanak needs to be given the proper attack order to finish this guy off. 58 HP, and is the Harry Potter going to get taken out by the Blood God's Hound? Yes, it is! The Wizard of Nurgle has gone down. And, yeah, like I've been saying for a couple minutes, it's literally over. Yeah, because you see this objective belongs to Khorne. Tons of extra units. Like, Khorne has a lot of units that aren't even involved in the fighting. Like, he could just easily defend all three of these objectives. There's no way. I mean, there's a Mutilith Beast, which is very good against infantry. But there's 3 victory tickets per second in the favor of Khorne. So that's going to be it. GG, well played. The Blood God claims victory here today. And with that, Attack Speed Enjoyer is going to be winning our King of the Hill stream. Shout out to him. Really fun format. We got a lot of cool off-meta builds today, which I think were very, very cool indeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. GG, well to the played. I think I'm going to call it for now. I know we were going to do an FFA, but my voice is getting a little bit rough, so I'm going to chill out. I want to do some recording tonight. Pone, if you're around later, like in the next couple hours, we can play some. Yeah. How's that? Army Losses doesn't exist in the multiplayer. It does in the old one, like Land Battle, but it does not exist in Domination mode. All right, guys. GG, well played. We will see you guys on the other side. And if you enjoyed the stream, please consider dropping a like on old YouTube. It helps kind of keep the old engine going. It helps keep the old man going strong. And for all of you guys on Twitch as well, consider subscribing if you enjoyed what you saw. But that's going to be it. Take care of yourselves. That was a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow with another stream. I don't know what. Probably Warcraft 3 tomorrow. So if you guys are itching and pining for some Warcraft 3, we will probably do that tomorrow. All right, folks. Adios, do widzenia, and we will see you all on the other side. Take care of yourselves.